Okay, I believe we are now live on, I think we're live on YouTube. Now let's just get the TikTok going and we can get started. Okay, I think we are now live on TikTok. Just 1 second. Okay. Where's my phone? Hold on. What's up, Jaden on YouTube chat? Hold on. Well, let me just announce real quick in my Discord. I hope we can get some debates today. We'll see how much luck we have with that. I do have some new debate prompts I want to chat about. Okay. Slimed. I'm before the announcement. That's how you know I'm an OG. Exactly. Okay. I'm hoping we can get some debates today. I have some new debate prompts that I think are a little bit more in line with the times right now. I did want to talk about the big Stein. I don't even know if I can say his name, but I don't know if that's going to get my TikTok taken down, so it's not in the prompts up here, but hopefully we can talk about that as well. There's a few things we know for sure, and I guess before we get started with debates, I'll just do like a quick yap session, talk about some of the recent stuff that we've been seeing. First of all, Kash Patel lied. He lied under oath. Who is Jeff Freak? Kash Patel lied under oath. He said that they had no evidence to make the claim that there was co-conspirators with Epstein when we literally know there were co-conspirators, including U.S. citizens who were co-conspirators. On top of that, you had Howard Lutnick, I think he's a Commerce Secretary, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, who had been making the rounds claiming like, I met that disgusting man, Jeffrey Epstein, once, and I looked at my wife and I said, we will never meet this disgusting man again. And then he met the disgusting man again multiple times, literally went to his island. So it should just give everyone pause for a second that, number one, these people have lied since day one about the extent of the network in these files. So even if someone wants to make the claim like, oh, I don't think Trump did anything here, which is, even if you want to make that claim, why is he protecting these other people? Why is he protecting the Lutnicks and the Musks and the Bill Gates and all the foreign nationals who were involved as well? Lutnick admitted, I don't know if he outright admitted to lying, but he still downplayed it. Lutnick testified today and he was like, well, like I only met him 2 more times 6 years later. But bear in mind, when Lutnick met him again in 2012, Epstein was already a convicted, P3DO. He was already convicted of that. It was already known. This is, 6 or 7 years after? I didn't mean to do 6, 7 there. But this was like years after it was known. And our Commerce Secretary is like, hey, man, can I pull up to your island for a party? And again, this is just the stuff that they've been willing to release thus far after having their fucking arm twisted for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they still refuse to do it. Has Trump crashed out on Truth Social yet? I'm sure he will. He already has multiple times. I mean, this has been a blatantly obvious thing since before a single file came out, because you had Trump saying decades ago that it said that Jeffrey likes beautiful women just as much as I do, and many are on the younger side. You see these Trump supporters now parading around. We found an FBI interview with some guy who claims that in 2006, Trump called the police and said, oh, Ghislaine and Epstein are so evil. You have to get them. You have to get them. Yeah, that was after the investigation was made public, and all that proves is that Trump knew what Epstein was doing the whole time he knew, which we already knew that Trump knew, right? Because who says my friend Epstein's really into the young ones? Like, Why was there ever any debate after that? Where I guess best case scenario for MAGA is that Trump wasn't participating, but he still knew what was happening, and he just kind of sat idly by. Johnny Rebel. Hey, how old are you?
18.
And do you see the 3 prompts on the screen?
Yeah, how is he a threat?
He's a threat to our Constitution, to our rule of law, to our economy, our norms. I mean, a whole host of things. But I think the main things are his threats to our Constitution.
How?
He's violated multiple amendments and articles of the Constitution, Articles 1 and 3, Amendments 1, 4, I believe 6, 8, 10, and 14 as well.
Okay, well, the average person doesn't even know what those mean, so can you
Does that
explain that?
I mean, sure. The First Amendment, I think most people know, is probably the one that's most popular, is the ability to have free expression in this country. And
Oh, you talking about ICE?
what?
You talking about ICE?
What about ICE?
Like people impeding on their investigations.
I'm talking about Mahmoud Khalil, who was detained, put in handcuffs, and dragged away from his wife for expressing an opinion. That's a free speech violation.
He's probably a terrorist.
He wasn't. The court ruled that the Trump administration conspired to violate his free speech rights.
Sure sounds like a terrorist based off his name.
Okay, so that's the extent of your thought process. Arab sounding name must be a Terry. That's your.
Yeah, Muslims are responsible for more terrorist attacks.
So that just means anyone with an Arabic sounding name
No,
should have
what it
their free
means is-
speech rights
no.
violated.
But I mean, it's more likely if he was following the rules.
No, but he wasn't, right? The burden's on you to prove that he was a terrorist.
If he was following the rules, if he didn't create a high profile for himself, Trump wouldn't have framed him or whatever.
What do you mean he didn't create a high profile? You can't create a high profile for yourself in a free country?
You shouldn't.
Why not?
You shouldn't want to go against the state because it puts a target on your back.
Oh, okay, so I'm guessing you don't even care about the First Amendment then. So you're like, yeah, he violated it, but who cares, right?
Well, I think we should change the Constitution. I'm not a believer
So then
that,
can you just say it with your chest like you don't really care about the First Amendment and free expression?
Well, you still haven't told me how he violated it for this guy. I'm just kind of believing what you're saying, but I
mean,
still don't
a
know.
Ronald Reagan appointed conservative judge ruled this as well, so you don't have to take my word for it. The judge's name is Bill Young, who said that Trump, Marco Rubio, and Kristi Noem conspired to purposefully chill anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian speech by going after people like Mahmoud Khalil, Ramesa Ozturk. Khalil was handcuffed and dragged away from his pregnant wife. He missed the birth of his first child because he was sitting in a detention center. The only reason he was sent there is because he expressed an opinion critical of Israel.
What do you say?
I just told you what he said.
Yeah, how is he critical of Israel? Did he say Israel should not exist?
Even if he did, that's protected by free speech, right?
Well, that to me, that's kind of like treason, honestly, if you think about it.
To say the words that Israel should not exist is treason?
In America, because we're an ally of Israel.
So you can't express opinions about American foreign policy that you don't like? That's illegal now?
You can, but there's a point where it becomes treason.
What's that
There's a
point?
When you're trying to convince other people that we should just get rid of this nation state and let
You mean like
the
political
Arabs take it over.
advocacy for a foreign policy belief that you hold? I mean, if the First Amendment doesn't cover political speech, then what's even the point? Shouldn't I be allowed to say I don't like the American foreign policy?
There's nothing wrong with political speech and freedom of speech. But there is something wrong with treason. And when you're trying to convince young
How is it
people that
treason to say that you don't like Israel?
well, again, I don't know if you're telling the truth about this, but
You can look it up. I gave you the name.
it sounded like, because when you said, did he say that Israel should not exist, you didn't even fight back. So I'm assuming he said Israel
No,
should
I'm
not
not
exist.
fighting back because I'm not going to debate you on what he said. It doesn't matter what he said as long as it was legally protected speech.
Well, treason
So
is
as
not
soon as we
legal.
start
That's my
debating
point.
is what he said acceptable or not, that's implying that if it was unacceptable, it should also be illegal.
treason is not legal.
Okay, can you
That's
explain
my
how this
point.
meets the statutory definition of treason? I can pull up the U.S. Code if you want, and we can read what exactly qualifies as treason.
If you're an American citizen, if you live in America, you
Under 18 U.S.C. 2381, treason against the U.S. is defined as levying war against the U.S. or adhering to their enemies, giving them aid or comfort. Violators face penalties including death or imprisonment for at least 5 years and a fine of at least $10,000. How would this be treason?
he sounds like he wants to give aid to the terrorists who wanted to destroy Israel. That's what I'm getting at. He wants to give aid to the to the Houthis.
Can you prove that he wants to give aid to terrorists? It's a pretty big claim.
Well, I don't know enough about this person. Like,
So you're
I'm
just
now
kind of
learning about
making
this
the
person.
assumption that he's pro-terrorism because he has an Arabic-sounding name, right?
No, oh my gosh,
It's what you
putting
did
words
earlier.
in my mouth. You're putting, yeah, because statistically you'd be more likely to. But that's not my point. My point is, yeah, if he wants to help the terrorists who want to destroy Israel, that is.
Couldn't someone
treason.
argue that Israel is a terrorist state? Even if you disagree, how is that not at least an argument someone ought to be able to make in our public discourse, considering that what's happening in Gaza and what's been happening there for decades?
anyone can make that argument, and you're not gonna get.
And it shouldn't be illegal, right, to make that argument?
It's not illegal.
Exactly. So if the government tries to imprison you for saying that, they're violating your free speech rights because you haven't broken any law.
Sure, but again, I don't know
Okay, so
enough.
that's
of
why
this person.
going back to Trump is a threat. I think when people's constitutional rights are being attacked like that, that's a threat to our country.
I don't know. I don't even know if you're telling the truth. Like, I listen to Hassan Piker every single day say that Israel's committing a genocide, and the administration is not going after him. So I'm really skeptical that he's being arrested for just being negative of Israel. Tons of people were negative of
Wait,
Israel.
because
in the past few
everyone's
years.
rights aren't being violated, that means that if it happens to one guy or two guys, it like doesn't count anymore?
I just don't know enough for this person to take your word for it. But
Do you think I'm lying?
I certainly think you're being
hold on.
deceptive. You've
I can
already
read,
put words
sure.
in my mouth.
Okay, sure. So I can just read verbatim what this judge said in the actual ruling, and I'm going to read word for word. For all these reasons, this court finds as fact and concludes as a matter of law that Secretaries Noem and Rubio and their several agents and subordinates acted in concert to misuse their sweeping powers of their respective offices to target non-citizen pro-Palestinians for deportation, primarily on account of their First Amendment protected political speech.
so
Let me finish. They did so in order to strike fear into similarly situated non-citizen pro-Palestinian individuals, proactively curbing lawful pro-Palestinian speech and intentionally denying such individuals the freedom of speech that is their right. Moreover, the effect of these targeted deportation proceedings continues unconstitutionally to chill freedom of speech to this day.
Okay, so it didn't even go through. So Trump didn't even have enough power to.
No,
get
Khalil
that
sat in a detention center and missed the birth of his first child.
Well, he's
He
still
was released
around.
later. Doesn't mean his rights were violated in the moment.
Okay, well, Trump didn't win, so he doesn't have as much power in this instance as you want other people to believe.
He violated
The
someone's
judge-
basic constitutional rights, which is why a judge had to order the release, right?
Sure, but he didn't win, so he doesn't. He clearly does not have enough
This logic
power.
makes no sense. Your Honor, it was just attempted murder. Let my client go. Like, what are you saying here?
I'm saying that you guys are lying. You guys are over exaggerating the kind of power that Trump has. He's not a king. He's not a
Someone was
dictator.
put in handcuffs for expressing an opinion and kept in a concrete cage for weeks. This is not normal stuff. I don't know why you're downplaying it.
Well, that's over now. Okay, we can just move on from that.
Why can we just move on from the U.S. government violating our basic constitutional rights?
Because
People
you're in
people
line
dwell
with
on
the
much
state-
less. I still hear people talking about Hunter Biden Burisma like 10 years later, so they can dwell on
If
that,
you-
but I can't dwell
because,
on our
listen,
government violating our rights?
if you're in line with the state, nothing bad is going to happen to you. The state is not going to come after you.
Say that again?
If you're in line with the state, nothing bad will happen to you.
Okay, so
not gonna be-
you believe in authoritarianism.
I believe
As long as you obey what the
I
people
believe
tell you
that-
to do, you're
listen,
going to be fine.
listen, for the most part, yeah, I believe that as an American citizen, you should be
You
in
should be
line. with
spineless. You shouldn't
America.
stand up for your rights. You shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. You say, yes, sir, yes, Trump, whatever you say, daddy. Is that what you want us to do?
If you're an American
That's
citizen,
un-American.
why would you not want to be in line
What
with
you're
American
advocating is
values?
un-American. Not just un-American, it's anti-American.
Okay, maybe whatever.
Which is
I'm
why I
still
say
right.
that Trump is a threat to this country. So if you just say, yeah, he is, but that's kind of based, fuck the Constitution, at least you're being honest then.
I'm right in this instance. Like you should not be pro-terrorist. You should not be pro-treason. You
That's
should not.
not what we're talking about, not a claim that
It
I made or
is.
anyone else made.
because that guy.
I also think that racism is bad, but just saying something racist isn't illegal because we have a First Amendment, right?
that guy Mahmoud you were talking about. He was probably advocating for a terrorist group, for the
You have to
Houthis,
actually
or
prove that.
you know more about this guy than I do. You can
Then
just
what?
tell
You
me
can
if
just
I'm
say
right or
he's
wrong.
probably doing something. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like you're making excuses for the Trump administration. You think to yourself, "There's no way the Trump administration could do something bad, so it must be the other guy's fault." Right? You can't even
I don't.
compute that maybe they did something
The
wrong.
Trump administration is not going after people in line with American values. That's my point. If you
And
had,
they get to decide what American values are based on their own politics, right?
well, they're
So
the
next
ones
time
who
a
got-
Democrat
they're the
wins, I'm
ones who
going to
won
say
the election.
next time a Democrat wins,
They
I'm going to say
won.
that this guy that was just on my live, he's not in line with American values. Let's get him.
Yeah, if a Democrat won, then you would be able to do that. But Trump won. He was elected fairly and democratically. He's the president. So yeah, that's
Being
how it
elected
works.
fairly and democratically doesn't mean you get to violate the U.S. Constitution.
Well, he didn't. He didn't get to violate the U.S. Constitution. It didn't go through.
No,
He
he violated
lost.
it, and then a judge ruled, "Hey, you violated it."
Well, that's over with now. He didn't get the outcome he wanted to. I'm sure he wanted a much harsher outcome for this guy, man, and he didn't get it. So he won. He won
So
the
that
election.
means the rights
Obviously,
were never violated in the first place, or what?
I don't know enough
Do
about this
you think
case.
that like
to
attempted
determine that.
murder shouldn't be a crime because the guy didn't succeed, he just tried? That's the same logic.
Again, I don't know enough about this specific case, but we should move on past the First Amendment.
Okay, then we can also talk about the 10th Amendment, which is another amendment Trump has violated, states' rights. Another
You
reason
have-
I think he's a threat.
How?
Because states' rights are a bedrock principle of our country where the federal government has limits on what it can actually legislate about.
Okay, they still have to listen to and obey federal officers, including ICE agents.
That just doesn't address what I said, though. It's non sequitur.
Well, I'm assuming you're talking about ICE.
I'm talking about the National Guard being attempted to be federalized by the federal government despite there being no legitimate basis to do so. Right,
There
because
was no
National Guard are
basis.
supposed to be under
People
the
were getting
authority of the
killed.
state governors.
People were getting killed in Minnesota because of the state's negligence, not because of the federal government's negligence.
Are you one of these
There's-
people that believes the propaganda that the local police is just leaving ICE and there's all these savage, dangerous protesters who are like eating ICE for dinner?
I know. I think they're outnumbering them. I think they're outnumbering the
Because
local
you know the
police.
Trump administration has actually been proven to be lying about that, right? In the Portland case where they tried to deploy the Oregon National Guard, a Trump-appointed judge, again, picked by Trump, not a radical left judge, ruled that they were making stuff up to try to justify the National Guard federalization. One of the examples they submitted to court of the situation on the ground being too dangerous is that a protester shined a flashlight in an ICE officer's eyes, and this was so grave that we have to bring in the National Guard against the consent of the governor. How does that make sense?
Yeah, that instance is extreme, but they're the
Doesn't
people
that
getting
speak
killed
to a
in
broader
Minnesota.
trend of these guys are just coming up with lies and excuses to send out the National Guard?
No, because there's still people being killed in Minnesota.
The question
where
isn't
it's-
are people being killed. The question is can the president take over the National Guard of a state and bypass the state's governor? This is again why I'm talking about a threat to this country. Our Constitution is meant to put checks on the federal government,
The federal government supersedes the state.
not on
This-
everything.
I'm,
The 10th Amendment literally says the stuff that is not left to the federal government is left to the states. On those matters, the federal government can't overreach. It's the entire point of the 10th Amendment.
I'm okay. Well, then is the National Guard part of the federal or state government?
The National Guard is under the authority of state governors.
But
It can
so
only
the-
be federalized under extreme circumstances, which there were no circumstances that would justify the federalization,
so
which is what the issue
so
was.
it's up to you guys to just define. Oh, this is not extreme.
Who's you guys?
Well-
We have judges, we have a court system, and what we've seen is that the Trump administration constantly
Yes.
lies about the situation on the ground to try to justify using force.
And you guys are always voting against it because you don't like ICE. You don't like what Trump is doing. It's not
You're
about
not
whether
addressing
he's
what I'm
right or-
saying.
It's not about whether he's right or wrong about it being
I'm
justified.
going to take a wild guess and say people would have much less of an issue with ICE if they didn't do what they've been doing and if they weren't being hired haphazardly and based on political beliefs and not being given sufficient training. And I'm not even talking about ICE here. I'm talking about the National Guard, where, again, the Trump administration wants troops in our streets, especially in blue cities. Trump has given speeches to our generals saying we have to turn blue cities into training grounds and wage war on the enemy from within, who are the Democrats. So when our president is giving speeches to our top generals saying we have to declare war on my political enemies and then trying to deploy National Guard in blue states and blue cities against the consent of their governors, we can't just plug our ears and say, la, 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 I love ICE. You have to actually engage with the fact that these people are undermining our Constitution. Now, you can be honest and say, you know what? I don't really like our Constitution. At least then you're being honest.
He's playing a character, and you guys are falling for it.
Say it again?
He's playing a character, and all of you are falling for it.
He's playing a character when he breaks the law?
When he
That's
tries
like,
to
like a
act
prank or something?
like a dictator.
Huh?
When he tries to act like a dictator, talking about using blue states as battlegrounds, he's obviously memeing, and you guys are just
So it's a
taking
meme when he says something and then he acts on what he said. It's still just a meme.
He's actually doing the opposite because he's pulling ICE agents out of Minnesota right now.
And why did he do that? What happened before that?
Multiple people.
You did the same thing with the Mahmoud Khalil thing where you act like, oh, if he stopped eventually, then the initial rights violation doesn't matter. If he stopped breaking the law eventually, then it means it didn't matter when he broke it before. That logic wouldn't apply anywhere else.
Okay. Whatever. He might lose, and then he might lose his son might lose the midterms, and then you guys.
That's why he's trying to interfere with the midterms. Another reason he's a threat to the country is he's a threat to democracy.
Okay, well, vote in the ballots. Go to the ballot box.
I agree. Everyone should go to the ballot box. But what happens if Trump tries to interfere with the elections, as he's saying he wants to do, and as he's been trying to do? Then what? Is that also a prank or a meme?
What? How is he can't just? What are you talking about?
The fact that he wants to seize voting machines. They might stop people from being sworn in if they think the election results were illegitimate. The fact that they've broken the chain of custody on Georgia ballots, where he's put his DHS and his CIA people behind basically rigging the next election.
If he gets rid of voter like digital voting, people can still vote in person if they want to.
What is digital voting?
You talk about voting boxes.
What?
Like, isn't a voting box where you vote online?
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe some states have something like that. I'm talking about Donald Trump trying to change election results.
I don't know how you could even prove that.
We have an executive order draft written up by the Trump administration, which instructs the Secretary of Defense to send in the National Guard to seize our voting machines and bring them back to Washington, D.C., so that Trump's people can count the votes and tell us who really won behind closed doors, breaking the chain of custody. Isn't that kind of fishy?
Okay, well, we talked about Mahood.
Wait, are you okay with that?
Hold on, I'm getting to it. We talked about that guy, and Trump lost the case, so he'll probably lose this one, especially since you guys know.
And what if this time he chooses to violate the court order? Because Trump has violated some judges' rulings, right? He picks and chooses when he wants to obey the courts. Same thing with Congress, right? We have three branches of government: executive, legislative, judicial. When the executive branch picks and chooses when the other two branches matter, the system of government kind of breaks down there.
Well, can he do that as president?
Absolutely, he's done it before. He's violated Congress and the courts multiple times.
Then that's how it works. He won that. He won fair and square, and that's just how it works.
No, you can win an election doesn't mean the Constitution no longer exists.
If the president can violate court orders, then that's just how it is, and you guys have to accept that.
If honest question, if you were living in Germany when Mustache Man was rising up and he started doing stuff similar to this, would you just say like, it's fair and square, guys, you can just do it? Just because someone is able to do something doesn't make it okay, right?
There's a reason he won, right? Mustache Man.
He didn't win. I'm pretty sure he was appointed chancellor by the existing government.
He didn't just come out of a vacuum. There's a
No,
reason
he
people
had
want
political power, but I don't think he had ever even secured anything close to a
There's a-
majority. He had I think maybe a plurality.
whatever. It's all.
But he was
the
appointed as
past.
chancellor by like the more establishment government. The point that I'm making here is you're saying, oh, if Trump's able to defy courts, that means it's okay to defy courts.
If you just admitted yourself that he can, as president, he can violate court orders. And so if he can do that, that's just how it is. And you guys have to learn to accept
As president,
that.
he could also commit crimes and unalive people for no reason. Would that make it okay just because he's able to do it?
I don't think that's true. I don't think you can just get away with anything when you're president.
I mean,
But
the president literally has criminal immunity thanks to Trump and the Supreme Court. So
okay.
his own
Well-
lawyer has argued in court that he could send SEAL Team 6 to unalive a political opponent and it wouldn't be illegal.
That's just how it is. He got elected, and you guys got to do something about that in the next
So you
election.
believe might makes right. If the bad guys win, then that's awesome, I guess. Just because the
That's
fact that
how-
they won
that's-
justifies it.
That's the way of the world. Yeah, might makes right.
So you think that in Germany, a mustache man's might made right? He was undeniably powerful.
Yeah, he won. He became chancellor. That's
Passed
how it
the
happened.
Enabling Act, started concentration camps and extermination camps.
That's
So
how it
when
happened.
these people were being sent to the extermination camps, would you be like, guys, listen, he's able to do it, so he's gonna do it?
Yeah.
That's unironically what you'd say to those people.
Well, I don't think a lot of Germans had disliked Hitler.
That's just not a response to what I said. Do you disagree that certain people were oppressed and unalived thanks to let's say Mustache Man? I don't want to get the live taken down.
Yeah, 271,000.
Okay, now I see what you are. Okay, that explains a lot.
There are records of this.
You're talking about the concentration camp numbers, not the extermination camp numbers. You know the difference between those two things?
I don't think anyone knows the real number. I don't
It's
know.
in the millions.
Sure,
The
whatever.
270,000 thing is like a Groyper anti-Semitic meme.
No, it's not a meme. It's
And that number refers to people that died because of poor conditions at concentration camps. The
not a
concentration
meme.
camps were forced labor camps. It was the extermination camps that were designed to be mass death chambers.
It's not a meme. It comes from a document.
Bye-bye. If you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you double tap the screen. Pay links are in my bio, Cash App, and PayPal. And if you want to see a better layout in 16:9 rather than 9:16, you can head on over to YouTube. Azrael says, LMAO, you just kick people. Yes, I will kick people as I see fit because it's my live. So, yes, this is correct.
Want to debate with you. I'm just here to say thank you for kicking that guy off. That guy was, I don't want to curse because I don't
Yeah.
know how your thing works here, but
Sure.
thank you for that.
Yeah,
I appreciate what you're doing and keep it up.
thank
man.
you. I
Good job.
appreciate you for watching. Appreciate you for watching. Okay, let's see if we can get some more debates going here. Hopefully something substantive and respectful. Hey, how old are you?
Hey, what's up? 29.
And do you see the three prompts on the screen right now?
Yeah.
Do you disagree with any of them?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Most corrupt president in modern history.
Okay. Why do you disagree?
Well, I really just wanted to bring up some things. What do you think about California gerrymandering the state?
I
you think
think
that was okay?
it makes sense in response to what Texas is doing. If you guys are, I mean, I don't know if you support it, but
It's
if
okay.
Republicans are going to play dirty, then so are we.
So it's okay to play dirty? Is that what you're saying, to openly gerrymander your state? You're saying that it's okay?
If other
It's
states
fine,
are doing
it's
it,
fine
then yes.
when you guys do it?
Well,
it's fine when
Democrats,
you
hold
guys
on.
do it?
Democrats were the ones that were trying to get rid of political gerrymandering.
I'm just asking. You're saying it's fine when you
Yeah,
guys
I don't
do
believe
it,
in
though.
one side disarming unilaterally while the other side doesn't do that, right?
Well, it sounds like yeah, right. But what you're also agreeing to is that it's fine that they're gerrymandering in state.
In
That
this
you're
specific
fine with
context,
that.
it's fine.
So you're fine with them. You're fine with them going against the Constitution, even though
It's
you're
unconstitutional.
you're
The Supreme
arguing-
Court literally just upheld the map.
No, but yeah, but what I'm saying is, but gerrymandering the state is unconstitutional. You're taking the
Wait,
rights away
according
from
to
people
who is it
live in less
unconstitutional? The
populated areas of
gerrymandering
the
is held up
state.
in court.
You're taking the right to vote away from the people who live in the less populated
Wait,
areas of the state.
when did the Supreme
So-
Court
so
say this
ba-
is
you're taking-
unconstitutional? You're making a big claim here. And by the way, I oppose gerrymandering in a vacuum, but I also understand that if Republicans are going to
It
play
doesn't
dirty,
sound like it.
why
It
would we do
sounds
the
like
same?
You're okay with gerrymandering as long as the Democrats are doing it, right?
That's actually not what I said. I'd
That's-
appreciate if you
that's
could actually
exactly
debate
what
me
you
honestly
said.
instead of making up my position, right?
That's exactly what you just said, though. You said
Everyone
it's okay
watching
if
on
we
YouTube
do
can
it.
rewind. I said that if the Republicans do it, then we should do it as well.
Yes, right. You're saying it's okay.
And do you know
guys
why
can do it.
California did it?
It's not okay if Republicans do it, but if you guys do it, it's okay.
Do you know why California did it?
So they could win.
Can you just be honest? Why
wanted
did they
to
do
take
it?
they wanted to take rights away from people who were in the less populated areas of the state because they
You're
were
just
turning
going to
more
ignore the
Republican.
fact that Texas did this first at the behest of Trump, and only because Texas did it did California do it to cancel out what Texas was
I'm
doing.
focusing on one thing right now. I
Yeah,
know
you're
you wanna-
focusing on the
I know you wanna
Democrats,
go
ignoring the
post. I know
Republicans. That's
wanna
what you're
go
doing.
post. I know you want to go post. I get that. But
You know I
I'm
what?
focusing on them gerrymandering the state.
I didn't
and
catch
you're
that. You know I
agreeing
what?
That's okay. You're saying that that's okay.
What were you saying earlier? You know I what? I didn't catch what you said.
I know you want to. I know you want to goalpost. I know you want to jump to a
I
different
want to
topic.
goalpost? You mean
You-
shift
you
the
wa- you wanna
goalpost?
Yeah. I know you want to shift the goalpost, right?
It's the same goalpost. You just only
can
want to
we-
look
can
at
we
one
just
side of
focus,
it.
Can we focus on California, right? You're
With no
fine
context.
with that, though, right? No, yeah. I gave you context, like gerrymandering.
No, but
the
you
state,
want to
they're
ignore the surrounding
redrawing state
context of
lines.
why they did it, which you're just being dishonest at that point.
It's
which is
just so
fine.
that they could win. So that they could win. Obviously,
Would
that's the only
California
reason you
have
would
done that if
gerrymander
Texas didn't do
the
it
state,
first?
Right? Why
Would
would you
California have done
gerrymander
that if
any
Texas
state?
didn't do it first?
Why would any
Would
state
California have
gerrymander
done
a
that if
state?
Texas didn't do it first?
Hold on, one at a time. Why
Sure, it's the
would-
same
why would
question. I'm
any
only going
country
one at a time.
gerrymander-
Would California have
any
done that if
state wanna
Texas
do
didn't
that?
do it first?
Can you answer my question?
No, you can answer mine first because you haven't answered any of my questions. You've been dishonest.
I think they would have.
Why would
I
they have
don't
done
know
it
if
if
they would
Texas
have done
didn't
it.
do
It's
it? When
openly-
Gavin Newsom supported
Because there's a track record.
the track record is that they passed apolitical
There's
districting.
track records of them trying to move the line politically. Yes, I mean this
Hold on,
has
you're just
gone on
lying.
with
What,
both sides.
what was the case in California before this? It was
I didn't
apolitical
say
districts.
California specifically.
You
I
specifically
can
did
bring
say
up-
California,
I didn't say in the past. I didn't say specifically.
but you
California.
brought up the
YouTube,
example
you
of
can rewind it.
California's gerrymandering. So now let's actually stay
Yeah,
on
yes.
California.
I'm bringing up this.
I thought you didn't
example,
want
the
a
one taking
goalpost
place
shift.
from 2025.
I thought you didn't want a goalpost shift. Why are we now leaving
You're
California?
the one. You're the one who shifted it to Texas, right?
No, I'm saying
so I'm
California.
bringing
And
up-
we can
I'm
stay
br-
on
you're
California if
asking-
we include the context
You're
from
asking
Texas.
why I don't think it was okay. Or I don't even remember what you asked anymore, to be honest.
I asked you if you thought California would still do it if Texas didn't do it first. When we know
Oh
that
yes,
before.
yes. I do think that they
Okay,
would
what's your
because
evidence
there's a
for that?
track record of Democratic cities doing.
No, but California.
Like I said Democratic cities. So,
No, but
so
we
that's
started
what
on
I'm saying.
California. So my question to you is, if Texas never did that, would California also have done it?
I don't know. I can't speak for California.
I can speak for California because before
I
Texas,
assume that they
before
would, though,
Texas
yes.
did it,
I
you
do
know what
assume-
California's
I
system
assume
was,
that
right?
They would.
You know what the
Okay,
system
I
in
see- I
California
see
was
where-
before
I
this,
see
right?
where- What?
They had apolitical districting, right? They didn't draw districts based on political partisanship or political advantage, right? Before
Yes,
Newsom
and
has
now
changed it.
they've politically drawn an advantage, right? And you're
Yes,
fine with that.
and why'd they do that?
So they could win in the state. Obviously, why would any
They
state
did it
want
to
to
cancel
gerrymander?
out what Texas did.
Listen, why would any state want to do it though? I answered your question. Can you answer mine?
What do you mean?
Why
would
would
any state want to do
want
it?
to gerrymander?
To win?
Yes, exactly. That at the end of the day, that's the main reason they did it. They want
So
to
you
win.
believe
You're
if we're
fine
playing a
with them-
game and one
you're
side
fine with
cheats,
them redrawing.
you're saying if we're
saying
playing a
that you're
game,
fine with them redrawing the districts because you think that Texas did it.
I think
right?
if the other side's going to do it, then why would we stop ourselves from doing
Okay,
it
that's
too?
where that's where I think we can end our conversation. You're fine.
You
if
disagree
they-
with that? You
it's
think only
okay if
Republicans should be allowed
Democrats
to do it?
No, but you're saying that it's
Can you just
fine
answer
if-
that? Should only Texas be
Yes,
allowed
I
to do
said
it?
no. No, I don't think.
So you think we should have like non-political districting everywhere, right?
potentially?
But it's a yes or no. Do you want to get rid of gerrymandering for political reasons?
I'm not sure what the most efficient way would be. In
that an
every state.
apolitical
I don't
committee
know if
that
it
has
would
nothing
work.
to do with politics, they draw the lines. Isn't that better than politicians doing it?
I would say we wait. What?
Isn't it better that people that are not politically motivated draw those lines instead of people that have political motivations?
Potentially.
And which political party in the United States has pushed that legislation time and time again?
Democrats.
Right. And California had that exact thing in place before Texas did it. And then Donald Trump called up Texas and said, listen, I want to win I don't want to lose the majority in the House come midterms. So now, even though it's not a census year, I want you guys to redistrict to create more red seats. And California said, if these guys are going to cheat and add 5 seats in the middle of the cycle, then we're going to do the same thing.
I've heard your argument. You've repeated it like 5 times, right? But my argument is that you're fine with California doing it. You're fine with California gerrymandering the state.
If the other side is doing
that's
it.
where I want to end my argument, is if you're fine with it, then I guess it's okay for
I'm
both
fine
sides
with
to
it
do
if
whatever,
what?
right?
I'm fine with it if what?
You're fine with them gerrymandering the state so they can win.
If what?
So they can win. That's all.
No.
That's all.
No, that's
No,
not my
you're not
position.
fine with that. So you think that they shouldn't have done it.
I'm going to ask you again, if what?
But you're okay with them doing it because you
If
think
what?
that Texas did it.
It's a simple,
You're
straightforward
okay.
question.
You're-
I'm okay
but
with
you-
I'm okay with gerrymandering
You're okay
if
with
what?
it because you think that Texas did it.
I think
You're okay with it because you assume that Texas did it, right?
it didn't do it. What do you mean assume?
That's what I'm saying. You were assuming
Okay,
you're saying
you're
that
assuming
Texas
that
did it.
California did it also.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Texas was sued into drawing whatever lines they ended up getting. I'm not exactly sure.
Texas did do it. They went through with it.
Yeah. So yeah, they had to go through things to get the line. I'm not
So
exactly
did
sure how it
California. The
ended up
people
happening.
voted for that.
Yes, but the majority of the people were living in these cities, and now these people who don't live in these like mostly populated cities don't get a vote. It's like they basically don't get to choose anymore.
But you agree the
That's what I'm
majority of
saying.
Californians
And
voted for this
and
redistricting.
you saying that you're okay with Democrats doing it?
Only if
that's all I
Republicans
needed
do
to
it
hear.
first.
That's all I needed to hear.
Okay. And he left. Is there anyone in my guest box who's just wants to be honest? I know maybe I'm asking too much of these people. The most honest ones are the ones who hop on and just say the hard R and say they hate minorities. At least they're saying it with their chest. They say they love fascism. They say they love authoritarianism. Those people, as gross as they are, they don't have this weird cognitive dissonance and this weird, like, one side's amazing. They at least admit, I'm a bigot. I hate the Constitution. I hate American values and rights. Fair enough. You at least say it with your chest. A lot of these people just don't want to admit what is the truth here. But you support Trump?
I just wanna kiss my fish, drive my truck, drink my beer.
Wow, you were great at the TPUSA halftime show. Great
Hey man, I
performance.
just wanna cut my grass, feed my dog.
Yeah, I was at the
Go,
Super Bowl party.
Brandon.
I went and sat in the bathroom and watched the TPUSA thing on the toilet because none of my other friends wanted to see it with me.
I did the
Fucking
same
commies.
thing. Amen. Amen to that, brother. That last guy, I hope he's still here. I want to let him know that I don't give a fuck if Republicans are doing it. I want to win because if we don't win, we're not going to have a country
True.
anymore, pal, okay?
As Trump
So-
said, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Exactly. We need to fight,
Yep.
or we're gonna lose our country. And that's what's
Peacefully
gonna
and
happen. And that's what's happening. So listen.
Oh my God.
Republicans-
Avengers assemble. What's up, Dan?
Holy shit.
I just came up. The guest was so disingenuous
Yeah.
that just we all got the signal.
He had a talking point in his head and he just didn't know how to deviate from it.
Yeah, I have two quick comments on that. One, it's the paradox of tolerance, kind of here, where ideally, we wouldn't do some fuck shit like that, but if they do it, then we will continue to lose the ability to not do it in the future. We'll continue to lose the ability to do anything in the future.
And we need to do more of this, if anything. Like, this is an issue Democrats run into is like, we're showing up to a tennis match and we're like, oh my God, I have this new AI-powered tennis racket that can sense the ball. And the other guy shows up with a machine gun. It's like, okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then the second thing I was going to say was his inability to like process the if part of your statement. I mean, you could apply this to like fucking
Contingent.
anything. It's like just imagine I'm you show up to the bad faith competition, right? And person says, "Oh, so you're okay with arresting people?" Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with arresting people if they commit crimes. No. You said, listen, you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, you're okay with arresting people. I understand. And then he leaves. Like, that's
Smartest
how
right-wing
his
argument.
argument was.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's
You guys are welcome to stick around for some debates if you want. It's up to you.
I'm down, brother. I'm doing my pre-workout ritual right now. We
Oh,
can do
yeah.
a couple debates. Same here.
Nothing like debating some maggots for your pre-workout.
Sounds amazing, but honestly, this 3v1 would be not fair for any.
It would be
for any
potentially like a
maggot.
war crime of some kind to be doing this to people. Yeah.
But you know what? I will stick. We'll see what the next debate.
Let's see what we're dealing with. We got Dandy Detergent. Hey, how old are you?
26.
And you see the 3 prompts on the screen above me?
Yes, I do. I was actually going to ask you about that.
Yeah, which ones, if any, do you disagree with?
Do not disagree with any of them. However, I just wanted to ask you a question, though.
Okay.
So I've just stumbled upon your live, and I'm curious to know, do you cover any other topics other than specifically like left versus right issues?
My area of expertise is more so economics and law, but I try to cover as much as I can whatever's in the news. But
You said law?
yeah, like the legal violations of the Trump administration.
Okay. Well, I'm curious. I don't know. I mean, technically, I would think it's within the legal realm of things, but I don't know if you've been keeping up with the latest batch of, like, for example, the Epstein files, which dropped, I think, last month on the 30th.
Right, and we now know that Kash Patel and Howard Lutnick and countless others in the administration lied, right?
Yeah, no surprise there. I mean, it's no surprise that this administration is, well, like I said, I completely agree with what you're saying.
Okay, I appreciate you. I'm looking for debates.
Bro thought we're not about the money. Boy, you better get going somewhere else.
Hey, how old are you?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. How old are you?
38.
And do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen right now?
I would say probably with some conditionals, I disagree with all 3, yeah.
You disagree with the first one?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I guess I would ask you what you mean by threat. Is this kind of like a
threat to our
feelings
Constitution,
thing?
our institutions,
How so?
rule of law? I mean, that he's violated people's constitutional rights on purpose multiple times.
Who? Can we do something specific instead of the generalities?
Sure,
or-
Mahmoud Khalil, his First Amendment rights were violated.
You be the guy here on a visa, right?
He was a green card
The free
holder.
yeah. Well, when you're in the country as a guest, you can't violate the law.
He was a permanent resident.
Okay, but again, you are a guest.
And he
It doesn't
didn't
matter if
violate the
you're a
law.
permanent resident or not. He sure did.
What law did he
Well,
violate?
the agreement. He had violated the agreement of his stay here in the country. You cannot
You're just wrong. You can't exercise your First
fundraise,
Amendment
I
rights if
believe,
you have
for
a green
anyone
card?
designated as a terrorist organization.
Who was he
And he
fundraising
fundraised for
for?
Hamas.
Where are the criminal charges here?
There are no criminal charges.
You're
It's not
accusing him of
criminal.
a
It's
crime
just-
with no real substance.
Yeah, I
behind it.
misspoke. Yeah, I'll concede that. I misspoke.
That's not criminal,
It's-
buddy. He
it's-
didn't commit a crime.
Okay, we can keep harping on it, or I can take the L there, right? So I misspoke. So it's not a
I'm
crime
sorry.
per se, but as far as being in the country, visa, green card, permanent resident,
They have
whatever it
First
may be. If you're not
Amendment
okay, it's not about First Amendment rights. He
It is.
fundraised for Hamas. Plain and simple.
He was arrested for expressing
like-
his opinion.
Oh, he was deported.
I evidence that he fundraised for Hamas, by the way.
He was deported.
No?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If we have an American citizen here, you know what? Let's use Camille as the example. If we have a
Camille.
permanent resident here who despises the culture, despises the country, speaks against the democracy that we have here, do you think that country has the right to remove that person?
Hey, man, let's support Trump. Woo!
Depends. Are they acting in a criminal way, or they're just expressing opinions that you personally deem to be antithetical to this country?
What if they're violating the terms and conditions of them being here, but it not being criminal? What if there's
What
there's
terms and
actual
conditions
clauses?
would those be?
Don't make me look it up. That's bad faith. You know.
No,
you
I'm
know full
genuinely
well
asking
that in
because
order-
my
yeah.
understanding is these
He
people have
was-
constitutional rights as well.
Yeah. Well,
The court ruled that.
debatable, but yeah, well, he does specifically. I agree. But with that being said, he was accused of supporting a terrorist organization and therefore deported.
No,
Very
he was
simple.
targeted on the basis of his speech, as a judge has ruled.
No. He was deported for
He
fundraising.
wasn't deported.
For a
He's been
terrorist
released
organization.
because his detainment was illegal.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If that
Can you just engage with
hypothetically
that?
were true, should he be
Sure.
removed
Should
No.
he be removed for what?
for supporting a terrorist
If he
organization?
committed a crime, he can be indicted and he can face jail time like anyone else in this country would who's legally here.
Right, but that's not a crime, right? We've established that.
Right. So then what's the issue?
He violated the terms and conditions of being in this country as
No,
a
he didn't.
non-citizen. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
I'm
he did.
curious. I want to ask the question: where in your application for your LPR status does it say you hereby waive your right to exercise you cannot support
But you have
anything?
to understand.
You have no First
understand,
Amendment rights.
supporting-
What does it say that?
Supporting financially a terrorist organization is not free speech.
That's not
What's
even
your
what
evidence
he
that he
was
raised
doing.
money for?
Let me conflate it to another
Where's your
point of
evidence, though?
contention we're going to have.
Where's your
The Trump
I
admin
don't
didn't even
Accusation is not a
accuse him of
conviction,
that
sir.
when they detained him.
I don't believe
They accused
that
him of
people
nothing, by the way.
impeding- I don't
They
believe
admitted
that people.
the Trump administration admitted they detained him on the basis of his speech. That they didn't hide that fact.
Yes. What he said and what he supported. Yes, he was supporting a terrorist organization. Yes.
Verbally,
Oh, so now it's
That
no
is-
longer
he
raising
wasn't even
funds.
supporting them. First of all,
No, he raised funds as well. Absolutely.
For
That-
the
that-
H
that's,
group?
that's proven. That's proven.
That's
Can you show
proven.
me
I
that?
think it was the
Law?
Palestinian Liberation, I believe.
oh, okay.
Other loosely tied.
Was he trying to help get
organizations
food to poor Palestinians, or were you trying to get guns
When
to
was
the H?
Fringe.
Well, when was the last time money that was sent to Gaza? So you're obviously anti-Israel. I
We
can
all
take
heard
that,
loosely
right?
tied, right? We're just I'm not going to.
Is that a fair assumption?
He said
No, I didn't.
loosely tied.
Yes.
I'm asking. Is that a fair assumption? You're like anti-Israel and such.
I'm anti-genocide.
Okay, so explain to me the last time a war was fought that we'll call him the aggressor for the sake of semantics, had to feed the person they were at war with. When did that happen last? Can you tell me?
I don't know what you're arguing as a straw
What do you
man.
need to do then?
Well, it is not super relevant to what we were just talking about, but we did get derailed, to be fair.
Sure. Can you
Um,
just concede real quick then that guy's First Amendment rights were violated? And that's probably a
No,
threat to our country?
I don't think he had citizen constitutional rights with regards to speech
He was a green card holder.
and
He was a
and
lawful
funding
permanent
and
what?
funding
According to
and
what
funding
precedent?
prescribed terrorist organizations. The end.
According to
simple.
what precedent, sir?
What do you mean? What precedent? The green card
What do you
application.
mean? What do you mean? Who determines that? Who interprets the law and who?
Yeah,
who's, like,
have
actually
you
subject to law?
just be good faith here, right? Have you ever read the small print when applying?
You're asking me to be good faith, and when I ask you for precedent, you say what precedent? I mean, just like green card policy.
I mean-
How is that?
Okay, so have you read the small print of the visa applications, green cards, permanent residence, etc.? Have you read through all that?
It says you have no First Amendment rights.
No, but it definitely says you shouldn't be
thank you.
speaking out
It
against
wouldn't
the
matter
country.
what was in the fine print
Do you know
because
what-
the
do you
U.S.
know what
Constitution. Hold on,
reserves
the
the right
U.S.
means?
The U.S. Constitution is supreme over all law and regulation.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and again,
That's
you can disagree with the judge who said this was a First Amendment violation, but then you have to substantiate why you disagree.
Well, it's not about substantiating why.
Because
I
the judge
disagree.
has ruled this was a violation of the First Amendment on purpose. To
You're
chill
straw
speech.
manning me now by saying I'm against his freedom of speech. What I'm saying, it has nothing to do with his freedom of speech.
what?
It has to do with what he did. It was a violation of terms and conditions.
It was a
You understand
violation of his
what
free
reserve the
speech
right
rights
means.
as
It
determined by a
reserved the
court.
right.
Can we disagree on the descriptive reality that a court ruled that the Trump administration purposefully violated his free speech to create a chilling effect and scare people?
If you agree that we have judges that are partisan, I will agree to that.
Do we have Yeah, there's Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito. Yeah, judges can be partisan.
Well, these are Supreme Court judges. This is not what happened.
But
These are
thankfully,
struck
this
down by
judge,
local
Bill
and
Young,
federal
was
judges.
appointed by Ronald Reagan.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with the Supreme Court. You understand? You just cited Supreme Court names. You're not citing local judges.
I
that have
cited
partisan
judges who
views
are
and
partisan.
No, these are
Because I'm
Supreme-
agreeing with
so
you.
you're
Judges
saying-
can be partisan. Doesn't
Right.
mean the courts don't matter
So you're
anymore.
saying.
Can
Okay, so are
can
you saying that?
Hold on. You said you
for
want to be good
example-
faith. Can you then address what
Yeah,
I
yeah, sure,
said?
go ahead.
A judge appointed by Ronald Reagan ruled that the Trump administration purposefully suppressed people's free speech rights to create a chilling effect and to silence pro-Palestinian speech.
No, I disagree.
That's a descriptive fact. I can read you the conclusion from the PDF. This exists.
Well, it's also a descriptive fact that this gentleman was supporting Hamas, and you refuse to
Oh
believe
wait,
that.
no, I'm
Where's
going
the
to jump in
evidence?
right there. Okay, so this is now what you're not going to
His,
do.
I mean, his social media posts, his whole personality,
let
all of
Dan
that.
go ahead.
You're not going to go back. This is a common strategy. You got debunked on the H thing. You said, "Oh well, he was supporting charities that are loosely tied." Okay, so just stop. You need to stop.
Yes. I have no problem saying it again.
You would never, from now on, for the rest of this conversation, and for the rest of the time you ever speak to someone, you won't say he was supporting Hamas, right?
I will. I believe he supports
Okay,
Hamas.
there-
I believe he wants the unaliving of all Jews, and he wants the destruction of Israel.
You have evidence for that
I
claim?
believe that. Well, his social media posts. All right. So here's the problem, right?
Just give
I
me
try
some
to just
evidence.
kinda
I
lean-
can read you what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
judge
fair
said
enough.
here.
Fair enough. So I try to lean back in my chair and just kind of have logical debates. If I have to lean forward and start Googling things that I know exist, we can
I'm
do
not
that.
asking you to give me
is that what we're
something
doing?
verbatim, word for word, but if you have such a strong opinion that this guy was definitely funding terrorism, can you at least
can you spell
allude
his
to
name?
whatever you saw that made you think this, even if you can't quote it verbatim? I'm not asking
Yeah,
you for
God
a
forbid,
link right
right?
now.
God forbid you got to produce evidence, brother, on God. Amen. These liberals.
Oh, no, I'm pulling it up right now,
clearly
brother.
you
Amen.
saw
Don't worry about it.
something.
Amen, brother.
Clearly you saw something that made you think this guy supports terrorism. Can you just describe to us what that was, even vaguely?
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'll find it for you.
No, I'm not even asking you to find me the link. Just what did you see here? Was this like you saw a receipt or you saw a post where he's like, yes, I love Hamas. Hell yeah. Like, what did you see here?
So what I was led to understand was his whole protest for Free Palestine ended up raising funds for prescribed terrorist organizations. Also, he had social media posts.
His protest?
that
Did he
called
own?
for
What do you mean his
destruction.
protest?
Well, the protest he was involved in.
He
was
was at a
he was a leader
protest
of
where
this
people
protest,
happened
no?
to raise money, and some of that money happened to end up in the hands of Hamas.
He wasn't the negotiator and spokesperson for the Gaza Solidarity encampments.
What's the issue with that?
Nothing. You're saying he was just at the protest. I'm saying no, he led it.
Negotiating
He was a part
between
of the protest,
protesters
and he
and
led it.
faculty doesn't mean you're funding Hamas. I don't know what. Am I
Well,
missing a connection
negotiator
there?
and spokesperson gives me some sort of piece of authority within the protest, right? We can agree to that.
In terms of negotiation,
In terms of he speaks for the collective, no?
insofar as negotiation with faculty,
You see how hard it is for you just to give an easy
No, I just like to
answer?
have
Yeah,
context
he was a
here.
negotiator and spokesperson.
because you want to
Okay,
speak in
so if he's-
generalities, so you
if
have
he's
the
the
margin
leader,
to be
if
able to
he- if
imply
he is-
things you can't substantiate.
Yeah, if he's in some sort of position of authority for a group that raises funds for a prescribed terrorist organization, this is in
Hold on.
violation of the green
Are
card
they
application.
when they raise these funds? Do you think that they want to fund Hamas or give food to poor Palestinian people?
I think intent matters. I agree. I believe maybe part of his heart really does believe that they're being starved and maybe he needs to get them some money. But at the end of the day, his ignorance is an excuse for committing a crime. Or, excuse me, in this
criminality
case,
requires
Yeah, yeah,
criminal
yeah.
intent,
Yeah,
and
in
there's
this
no
case-
indictment here. So you're alleging a crime. You need to give me some kind of probable
No,
cause
no,
or
no, no.
something.
Crime is the wrong word. Crime is the wrong word. You're right. He violated the terms and conditions of his stay here in the United States.
What does that
of
even
America.
mean?
How about that? Well, he raised funds for a prescribed terrorist organization and made comments about the destruction of people's genocidal calls.
You're characterizing
don't like that
something
here.
in a hyper-partisan way where you're doing motivated reasoning, and then you're saying that there was some kind of term on his green card application that prevented him from doing this. Which, if that was the case,
Yes,
then
you should
explain
not
why you
raise funds
disagree
for
with the
terrorist
judge's ruling here.
organizations while you're here.
Why do you disagree with the
While you're
judge's
here.
ruling here? What did the judge miss? And
Well, first
why
of all,
did
I
the
don't think-
Trump
I don't
administration
think-
even claim what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think personally that the judge should have any bearing on these kinds of things, and I do believe that there's so many. And I know what you did. You did it on purpose, right? Appointed by Ronald Reagan, like it's supposed to mean
No,
some kind of,
you
this is a
you did
conservative
something on
judge,
purpose where
therefore-
you said do partisan judges exist? You didn't even accuse this
Yes, I
specific
wanted to-
judge.
I wanted to see.
You didn't even accuse this specific judge of being a partisan hack. You're just trying to poison the well by saying, "Hey, man, some judges not so trustworthy." And then I'm pointing out, okay, but if you're trying to imply that there's something wrong with this judge's credibility, he was appointed by Ronald Reagan, probably not the prime suspect of like radical leftism, right?
Yeah. Okay. So at the end of the day, because I think we're going in circles here. At the end of the day, I don't think, and let me just grant it to you, right? So we can move on. Even if what you're saying is correct,
It
do
is.
you think Donald Trump is the one who mandated this? Do you think he was the one who ordered this deportation?
Yeah, that was proven in the judge's ruling.
So just to be clear, you think Donald Trump is at the, first of all, I also hear arguments all the time. He does nothing. He never works. So you think that he's at the desk dealing with this situation?
No, the
personally
enforcement action was
and-
taken in
and
accordance
ordering
with
it?
an executive order that he passed. And when he heard about the action, he publicly praised it. I can pull up quotes for you if you'd like.
No, I think that you and I just fundamentally disagree on what happened, and that means we're never going to come to a conclusion here. But I think you saying Trump is a threat.
Well, do
to
you
this
have any
country
evidence to support
is
the
incorrect.
contrary, bro? Holy crap.
Yeah, tons. I just gave it to you. You just don't like it.
Okay,
You just
really
are
quick,
alluding
really
to
quick.
vague terms and conditions.
The idea that Trump wasn't involved would mean that Trump wasn't involved in his own policy platform. I don't know if you read it. It's very short. It's only 20 bullet points, one of which was end inflation. But one of his 20 bullet points on his website before the election was to deport I think they used anti-Semitic, obviously, but what they were referring to was anti-Israeli protesters or more importantly, anti-G-side protesters in this case. And that was promised before the election. This is one of his 20 bullet points.
Yeah, you can't just frame it like that. That's incredibly dishonest.
Okay, we can take we can take Trump's
It's
own
anti-Israel. Be brave and say it.
We can take
You hate
Trump's own
Zionists.
word
Very
for it.
simple.
The reason Noam and Rubio did this was in accordance with Executive Order 14161, which outlined the Trump
Yeah.
administration's policy, which wants to crack down on non-citizens who believe hateful ideology or have hostile attitudes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so I guess that's
Who gets to
probably where
define
we
that?
Disagree.
Who gets to define that?
What do you mean? I guess this is where we fundamentally disagree. If you're a guest in this country, you get kicked out for doing stupid shit. Very
Hey,
simple.
I guess
Who gets
this
to
is where
define
we
that?
fundamentally disagree. I believe that
I mean,
people
he's
should
not a
be
U.S.
protected
citizen, right?
from
So he
violations
doesn't have the
of
full,
their
the
constitutional
full beauty
entitlements.
of the
JC.
Constitution. Say it again.
According to what precedent?
What precedent for what? What was precedent for what? What do you ask?
Okay, who interprets like an individual's claim to constitutional protection? Who does that? The president or the Supreme Court of the United States?
Well, never. I would say never the executive branch, but
Oh
probably
well,
Supreme
okay.
Court,
Are you
judges,
now
legislative.
are you now allowing the executive branch to interpret who is protected and who isn't?
No, I'm not understanding where you're going with this.
Didn't you just say you fully agree with that executive order?
I fully agree that if somebody is causing commotion and they're not a U.S. citizen, that we reserve the right to.
not
deport
even what
them.
I
That's
said.
what I'm saying.
Okay, so you see how that
That's
like
what I'm saying.
so you see how now you are referring to the
Right, but if
executive to interpret
if the
the
executive order said if they're causing hate, commotion, whatever it may be,
Ooh, the hate
I agree
standard.
with the
Wow,
executive
the
order.
hate
What's your
standard.
question?
Interesting.
Who
Throw
gets
Trump
to
in jail.
define
Holy shit.
who gets to define hateful ideology and hostile attitude? Seems like it's pretty subjective.
I absolutely agree, 100%.
So it could be abused by bad faith actors who want to deport people on the basis of their beliefs, right?
Yes, agreed. Yeah.
And that's what happened here.
Well, that's what you think happened here.
Well, no, we have plenty of evidence to substantiate that claim.
Do you remember that judge that got arrested for sneaking the illegal immigrant out? Do you remember
Completely
that?
unrelated to this.
What?
Yeah,
You
but I'm
remember that
asking
judge
questions. Do you
that
remember
unalived an
happening?
entire family, Adam? You remember that?
True.
You want
Do
to
you remember
trust
that
the
happening?
judiciary so goddamn
It's a
much?
non sequitur.
It's dude. Look, I get your whole vibe, your whole gist, right? But at the end of the day, Trump is no more of a threat to the country than any other president that's come before.
It's
You
not
made
true.
claims that he's a threat
Bruh.
to
He
democracy, the
Consistently undermines
Constitution.
our Constitution and
But
rule
then,
of law.
but then you turn it back on the other cheek and you say he is literally doing these things specifically himself. That's untrue.
He's giving the
based on
order.
what
There's a
you're
chain of command.
perpetrating-
Hold on.
No,
There's
he's
a
not.
chain.
No, he's not.
There's a chain of
Marco
command.
Rubio, if anyone
There's a
did it.
chain of command. If Trump's giving illegal orders and then they carry those out, both parties are at fault there.
Okay, so who ordered the deportation? Who had hands-on this?
The
Was it
deportation was
Trump?
done in accordance with Executive Order 14161.
Okay, and who did it?
Yeah,
Who
but was
ordered it?
Donald Trump the agent that put him in cuffs, bro?
Is that your argument? If Trump like physically didn't handcuff him, it doesn't matter?
No, I'm not talking about handcuffing. I'm making the affirmative that he is not involved in day-to-day actions of
So
deportation.
Donald Trump is Joe Biden.
No, God,
Hold on,
dude.
that's
So if
not
you're
the
gonna call me
claim.
out, if you're gonna call me out for
JC,
non
JC,
sequiturs,
did he
that's
sign
out
the
of
executive
control.
order?
That's out of control. That's out of control. Look, Trump is a threat to the country.
Answer Dan's
because
question,
you-
sir.
because
Did he
you
sign
have
the
Dan
executive
said-
order?
What was the question? I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Did he sign the executive order?
Yes, and I agree with the executive order. Yeah.
Bro.
And then the judge said that this executive order is blatantly unconstitutional and violates the First
And
Amendment.
judges are wrong all the time.
Sure, and you'd have to explain why you think the judge is wrong.
Because being in this country as a non-U.S. citizen, which is any of the alien classifications,
No,
right?
what is the
Permanent-
issue with the judge's reasoning in that case, right? Like, for example, I think the Supreme Court was wrong on presidential immunity. I don't just say that because of vibes. I have actual reasoning behind that. What's your reasoning behind opposing this decision?
Are
You
you
know
going to
there's a
make
judge
me
in
look
Missouri
up?
that
Are
blew
you
up a
going to
house,
make
right?
me look up the small print of where it's in when they sign for visas and green
God
cards?
forbid, man.
Because I
God
will.
forbid.
I will. I will. I will pull up the terms and
It
conditions.
wouldn't
God
even
forbid
matter
this-
what you pull up because we have a First Amendment that supersedes everything else. The Constitution
If
is
you're a
the
US
supreme law of
citizen,
the
yeah.
land. Well, no.
Yes, yes, I
Bro,
agree.
what
If you're a
precedent
US
do you
citizen.
have that shows that immigrants are not
Can
also
you yell
protected by
fire in
those
a crowded
amendments?
theater? Can you yell fire in a crowded theater?
No, because you're calling people to imminent action, right? There's actually, is it called the Brandon? There's some kind of test about
Yeah,
speech.
Brandenburg Standard. Yeah,
Brandenburg
yeah,
Standard,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's very
So there
strict
are
standards on
limits
when
to
you can
speech, right?
regulate speech, and there's very high threshold the government has to meet there.
So if someone in the administration interpreted what he was doing as inciting violence
They
by
didn't.
calling for the river
They didn't.
from the river to the
of,
sea.
Part of what the judge said is if you look at their internal memos, he was specifically targeted on the basis of their speech. They didn't even believe he committed a crime when they did this to him.
If somebody yells fire in a crowded theater,
Can you address
and
what
they
I
get
said?
arrested for doing that, and they get arrested for doing that, are they technically
The
detained or
Secretary of
arrested
State and the
because of their
DHS
speech?
didn't even believe he committed a crime. They didn't even believe this
If
internally. Can you address
if
that?
I had to bring it down, if I had to bring it down a little bit, I will agree that there's a lot of partisan decision making here.
Holy fuck.
As far as
Authoritarian
appealing to a
decision-making.
certain, well, you can call it what you want, but it was partisan, right? Appealing to certain groups, appealing to certain voters, trying to get things to look good.
That sounds pretty
Definitely
bad.
a part of it. Well, not pretty bad. I mean, for you to, but again, going back to your claim, Trump is a threat to this country. Can you name an administration that's never done that?
Wow. What a fucking
Arrested someone
abs-
for expressing an opinion? Biden didn't do that.
Well,
Obama
no,
didn't
that's
do
not
that.
come on, that's not what I said. Don't say that.
Well, that's what
not
I said, right? You asked me why is Trump a threat to this country? I said he's violating people's constitutional rights.
Right, but can we name another administration that didn't make partisan decisions in a legislative way?
Everyone makes partisan
For example,
decisions.
for example,
in a
here's
that's
one
how
that
you
you're
pass
gonna disagree
legislation.
with.
What's the issue with that?
Right. Here's one that you're going to disagree.
You're just
with.
changing
He
the
has a
topic.
dictionary
Fundamentally,
in front of him. He's just
But
saying.
here's
a
one
bunch
you're
of
going to
fucking
disagree
words.
with. During the Biden administration, when they reclassified gender into the Constitution, I disagree with that.
What the hell are you even
I
talking
think he
about?
did that for partisan
What?
reasons. I think he did that for partisan
What's
reasons.
the
Did Biden
executive order
violate
for-
anyone's constitutional rights?
I believe he is. Yeah.
Can you point to a judge
Oh.
adjudicating that?
By
and saying,
making it so I think you're doing what's called, I'm sure you know, but appeal to authority.
Appeal to
Only
expertise.
a judge. Well, see, I heard you earlier too. I expertise in law, expertise in this.
Hold on,
Look,
you understand?
Appeal to authority
appeal
is a
to
sad way to do
authority
it, dude.
is if you appeal to an improper authority that doesn't actually have expertise here. If you're appealing to an actual
No.
subject,
I think
hold on.
you're doing. I think you're doing.
If I
appeal to
take
authority.
medication because my doctor told me, I'm not appealing to authority there. I'm not going to fucking go do randomized control trials on the medication.
No, but if you say I will only listen to that doctor and nobody else because they have,
I will
30
only
years
listen to
experience
people
and I won't
with
accept anything
education
less,
in the
that's appeal
medical
to authority.
field.
Yeah, that's not a. I mean, that's conflating, dude. You're talking about medical decisions.
No, you're
versus
conflating
authority in a
appeal to
political
authority and
debate.
appeal to expertise, which is a legitimate authority, which actually is subject matter expertise.
No, not at all. Okay. So again,
Appealing to a
fundamentally,
court on the interpretation of the law is just appeal to authority.
isn't that what law is? Interpretation.
What is the purpose of the court?
Who interprets it? Wait, just
To interpret the law. Yeah, to interpret the law.
Who
Why are
does
you
it?
appealing to authority, bro?
Do you agree? Do you agree that a judge in California will interpret something different than a judge in
Holy
Florida?
shit.
Not necessarily, actually. It depends on the judge.
Agreed. So it could happen, is what you're saying.
JC,
Yeah,
I know.
for
I know. a Really easy way to get around.
You see
all
how
of
you
this.
just can't answer
Wait,
that
wait,
question?
wait, wait,
It could happen.
Yes, it
I know
could.
an easy way to get around this. I know an easy way to
Okay.
get around this. None of those
Yeah.
courts have binding precedent. There's only one that does. And you're making a claim that everybody, regardless of whatever district you are, some people who are immigrants do not have the same constitutional protections as their native born counterpart. What SCOTUS ruling makes that determination?
Again, we're going back to.
It's a
the
very
terms and
simple question.
conditions.
Yeah, that's typically
The terms and conditions of being. I don't know. I mean, look, I'll just be good faith and answer flat out. I don't know the small
Okay,
print
so
at the
then you
bottom
are
of the
referring
visa,
to the
but I
executive
do
branch to
know. But I
interpret the
do
law.
know that in that application,
Okay.
you are told that America reserves the right to revoke this for just about any reason we choose. I mean,
Better
that's
yet,
you don't
where
have
does
to
it say
agree
the
with
word?
that, but that's what's
Where does
agreed
it
to.
say the word citizen in the First Amendment? Because other places in the Constitution specifically denote citizenship. For example, to run for president or
Feels like a
something
pivot.
else. So where does it say citizen in the First
God
Amendment?
forbid.
Feels pivety. So are
Directly
you
addressing the
disagreeing
point
with
we've been
me? Are
discussing.
you disagreeing with me that there's terms and conditions to being a guest here?
Say it again.
Are you disagreeing that there's terms and conditions to being a guest here?
Yes, but they can't be violating the Constitution.
Okay, but if in that thing it says we can remove you for any reason,
That's
I mean,
not
what does it
true.
really matter, right?
That's not true. They can't just rescind your permanent status for no reason.
They sure can. They sure can.
No, they
For
can't.
unconstitutional
They sure
reasons.
can.
No, they can't.
They sure can.
You're
No, they
saying
can't.
For any
regulation
reason.
of immigration
Can
law
you fire-
supersedes our
can you fire
Constitution?
someone for being? Can you fire someone for being black? No. But can you fire
Can you
someone
answer my
for
question?
any reason at
Oh,
all
that's a
and
great-
not give them a reason?
Can you
Oh,
answer
Yes.
my question, dude?
What was your question?
The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, right? If it conflicts with a law or
Correct.
regulation, the Constitution wins out every single time.
Yes, for U.S. citizens, correct.
No, just in general. The
Bro.
Constitution does not only refer to U.S. citizens.
It's not about only referring to U.S. citizens.
The
It's about
Constitution
there's
is
a
very
qualifier.
specific with this language. Either
If I may
persons or
finish,
citizens,
if I
these
may
are
finish.
used differently.
Yeah, so there's a qualifier that, of course, the Constitution applies to everyone, permanent or otherwise, or U.S. citizen. However, there is a qualifier to permanent residents that if you do this X, Y, Z for any reason, we're going to let you go.
The reason
Very
can't
simple.
be a violation of the Constitution.
Yes.
But it's not a violation of the Constitution
Why not?
because he raised funds for a prescribed
He
terrorist
was
organization.
targeted
That's what
on
charge
the
was.
basis of his opinion on Israel, which is what the State
Do you
Department,
think-
which is what the State Department memo said. Again, I'm going to tell you, the Trump administration didn't even believe this guy was dangerous, didn't even believe he was a threat. Their own internal memo
Yeah, I
showed
agree.
that they tried to find a crime here. They couldn't find anything. They wanted to deport him on the basis of his opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think what he
You
was
can't
doing
agree
though,
and
was
then
not free
disagree.
speech.
What do you want about?
Viewpoint-based,
because
viewpoint-based
that's called
discrimination,
nuance.
viewpoint-based discrimination
fucking
by the
nuance.
government, viewpoint-based discrimination by the government is unconstitutional.
Okay, so if he was in any way, shape, or form
Jesus
violating
Christ.
the terms and conditions, he's deported.
Okay, no,
Now,
wait. He made a
do you
concession earlier.
believe?
He
Do
made a
you
concession
believe?
earlier.
Do you
He
believe
literally
that
made a
what he
concession
was-
earlier. You said that, I can't just fire somebody on the basis of them being black. That's
Correct.
the same reason you can't just revoke a visa on the basis of
Well,
First
I love how you
Amendment
skipped that
protected
second
speech.
part of what I said. You skipped that second part, right?
Well,
Where
what
I
was the
said
second part?
If somebody wanted to be racist and fire someone for being black, all they would simply have to do is fire them for no reason at all.
You can't
That's a
revoke a
possibility.
visa for no reason.
Yes, you can. That's
Also,
the,
you're
that's the
talking about the
qualifier of
Civil
being here on
Rights
a
Act
visa.
affecting private businesses. I'm talking about the Constitution affecting our government. Those are different.
Right,
They're not
and there's a
analogous, really.
qualifier on people who join our country as a guest, whether permanent or otherwise. If they're an alien, they have to abide by a stricter set of rules while they're here.
The
It's very simple.
qualifier on every single thing the United States government does, period, is the United States Constitution.
Do you
Full
believe
stop.
his
Full
protests
stop.
at Columbia?
Full
do you
stop.
believe his protesting
There,
at
hold
Columbia
on.
was strictly
There
free
are no
speech?
if, ands, or buts. Every single thing done by the United States government has to comply with the United States Constitution. Full stop.
For
period.
US citizens, yes,
Nothing-
agreed.
No. Just the U.S. Constitution.
Oh my God, he keeps on saying that bullshit.
All right, I'm
According to
gonna
what
look it up.
precedent does the Constitution only protect U.S. citizens?
Okay, it's not about precedent.
It
There
is
no
about
because
precedent.
it's.
What are you talking about?
Listen, let me explain, if I may, for 1 second before
No.
you spurt. There is no precedent because it doesn't need precedent. He's 100% right.
Wow.
The Constitution is the
So
supreme
since
law of the
the-
land
since the-
and
oh, fuck.
cannot be
Since
violated
the
by
creation-
any state or
Since the
otherwise
creation
entity.
of the
Very
Supreme
simple.
Court, there has never been one controversy raised about who the Constitution applies to. Never. Is that what you're saying? Are you
Okay.
sure about that?
What I'm saying is,
Are you sure about
first of
that?
all, big straw man here. Big straw
Oh,
man.
yeah, for sure,
What
bro.
I'm saying is he was not acting in a free speech capacity. What he was doing, what he was deported for, was not the speech. It was not
was.
Free Palestine. It
Wait,
wasn't
so you're
saying
disagreeing
Free
with
Palestine.
Adam.
Who else
Yeah.
has been deported for saying
He's
Free
making up
Palestine? Anyone
policy,
else?
apparently, yeah.
Anyone else?
You agree
Anyone else
with all
deported?
of Adam's everything Adam just said about the emails, about the investigation. You agreed with all of that, but then you're disagreeing with the conclusion. It's like the Man Ray meme with Patrick.
Right,
and
but
Walt.
my question is very simple. Has anyone else been deported for saying Free Palestine?
Yes.
Ramesa Ostchurch was
Who?
targeted. There was multiple students. The reason
Has
I bring up
anyone else
Khalil,
been
the reason I bring up
deported?
Khalil is because he had an actual green card. The rest were student visa holders, and even for the student visa holders, it was illegal.
No, not true. Actually,
Yes,
even,
true.
even less
the,
of an
the court
argument
has
with the
ruled
student
this.
visa
What do you
holders.
mean not true?
Okay, their visa was revoked. They're no longer a citizen. Does the Constitution
They weren't.
apply?
What do you mean? Visa doesn't give you
If the
citizenship.
student visa is revoked, do they still have constitutional protections?
If they're deported,
If their
as long as
student
they're
visa
still on
is
U.S.
revoked-
soil, yes. Even undocumented people have constitutional protection.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Hold on.
So
you
on their way
fundamentally.
out of the
let
country,
me just
we
finish this
can't- we
point.
can't arrest
Let me
them
just
for
finish this
speech. Yeah,
point.
fair enough.
You fundamentally misunderstand what the U.S. Constitution is. The U.S. Constitution
Agreed.
does not apply to any group of people. It applies to how the United States government conducts itself.
Yeah, okay.
And it
I
can
get behind
conduct
that,
itself
sure.
towards citizens, non-citizens, other countries, right? There's rules in the Constitution about declaring war as well. Has nothing to do with citizens. The Constitution is a binding document which constrains what the federal government can do. You can't start drawing distinctions. Oh, it doesn't count for citizens or non-citizens. It's not about the subject. It's about the government that does that to the subject. And the entire purpose is to restrain the power of the government.
Yeah, I found what you were looking for. So part of the, and
Can you
again, you
address
don't have
that?
to agree. You don't have to agree
Can you
with
address
the terms
that?
and conditions. The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. I am not contesting that.
And it has
I do
nothing to do
agree
with
that it
citizen,
applies to
non-citizen,
every
or anything
US
else
citizen.
like that. It has to do with how
It
the
applies
government
to
conducts
every
itself.
U.S. citizen okay, you know what? Let me grant it to
It
you.
applies
It
to the
applies to
government's
every US
behavior.
It applies. Well, it's actually protections. It doesn't apply to the government. It
It
applies to
restricts
the
government
outcomes
behavior
of
to
the government.
afford. It restricts government
Sure.
behavior to afford
Sure,
rights
sure,
to people.
sure. Sure. I'll concede that. So with that being said, you don't have to like this. Are we good? Do you understand that I understand what you're saying? Are we good there on the Constitution?
No.
It applies to U.S. citizens, aliens, whether permanent or not. Fair?
You're framing this in the wrong way. It applies to how the
It's
government
not about framing. Why don't you just answer the question?
because you're wrong. It applies to how the government conducts itself. Period.
Okay, but it's applicable. It's applicable to everyone on U.S.
It's
soil, is what
applicable
you're
to
saying, right?
any human being the government interacts with, depending on how they're interacting, right? Who are the American
Even
citizens
even
involved
outside?
in war powers, right? If Congress has to declare war, like are the citizens of foreign countries American citizens as well? The Constitution is just regulating how the government can behave.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm glad we agree now on the Constitution.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll concede all of that.
Okay.
Criminal activity is common grounds for revocation of green card and visas alike.
Not of constitutional rights.
Conviction,
We're looping.
if I may, crimes of moral turpitude.
We are
Okay,
looping
I
here.
have two things. I have two things.
No, but this is what you asked for, right? You asked for precedent.
Just give me 30
It's
seconds.
not precedent because
Give me
that's not the definition of
I swear it'll
precedent.
be
But
quick.
here's the terms and conditions. It's
Okay.
it's on here. It's right here on the
So,
lawful
real-
permanent
really
resident
quick.
status.
I have two quick things. Okay, and then you know what? I'm gonna drop because it's too many cooks in the kitchen. Okay, and someone's getting cooked. Let me tell you. Okay, so
Oh yeah. So
two
bad.
things. One, I am not going to gloss over the admission that you just made a few minutes ago, where you said, okay, so it's you're not allowed to fire somebody for being black, but if you wanted to be racist and fire somebody, you could just fire them for nothing. What you just
Correct.
admitted there is that the Trump administration knew that what they were doing was illegal, so they tried to come up with a reason to do it that wasn't illegal. So you already proved their intent there, or you admitted to their intent. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Just want to point that out. Good.
Yeah, I did. Sure.
Second thing.
At least I'm consistent though.
I
So the conversation is over? I'm confused. It's over.
No. It's not over. What you just conceded that what he did at the end of the day wasn't legal. He wanted to do something that was incorrect, and he found a correct way to do it. Right?
No, he didn't actually.
No,
Because as you see,
that's what you just said.
as you see, no. They were trying to find a way to do it. They didn't find a correct way to do it. It was illegal still. That's why the judge ruled in Khalil's favor.
But we've already agreed that judges are partisan and they can make mistakes.
Okay, but you need to. While that might be true, that judges can be partisan, you need to point out what part of the judge's ruling you disagree with. Adam asked this like 40 minutes ago.
I just did. I tried to answer. You cut me off. Crimes of moral turpitude. Absolutely. I believe saying from the river to the sea is a crime of morality.
I
wants
believe
to- he wants
supporting
to do a
Donald
G-side.
Trump is punishable by what's the punishment for sedition? I'm joking. My bad. Sorry.
Well, I'm not a green card holder, so that wouldn't apply to me. But
You're now
any green
ignoring
card
again that
holder
the
or
U.S.
permanent
Constitution
resident-
takes precedent over literally anything else you could refer to.
So, but what are these terms and conditions on the green card permanent resident status? Is that
Whatever
just
they
not
are,
right?
whatever
Should
they are,
remove
they
that?
have to comply with our Constitution.
So they're illegal. So
By definition.
what I'm reading right here on the website here is illegal. What you're saying?
Some of it might
Saying
be.
to the
I don't even
river,
know what you're
saying from
reading.
the river to the sea and getting punished for that is that's illegal. It's not.
Well, that's
allowed.
why you and I fundamentally disagree.
If
because
your
I think that's the call for
interpretation of a
G-side.
legal statute or executive regulation violates the Constitution, then your interpretation and the way you act upon that law is going to be struck down by a court, rightly so.
Can we both agree that part of the reason no one's seeing anything that the other person is saying is because we fundamentally disagree that from the river to the sea is a call for G-side?
You're ignoring the main point here. You're trying to pivot to the
I'm not.
substance of
I'm
what
not.
he said.
Doesn't even meet the
I don't even
standard.
want
That
to
is what he
debate
said.
you. I don't
But
even
that
want
is
to
what he
cede
said.
to you that we're going to debate the substance of what he said, because that implies that if you don't like what he said for political reasons, it would justify deporting him.
But no one was.
I don't
deported for
care if
saying
he said,
free
I love
Palestine.
Hamas, which he didn't say. Even if he did say that, it's protected speech.
protected. Yeah.
It's not when you're a
It
green
is.
card holder, and that's what you keep looking over.
Where is that written? Like, where are you getting that from?
This is
Right here,
Romani
a
right
crime
now.
of moral turpitude, as interpreted by a judge or
And
anyone
as
who's interpreting
constrained
law
by
at
the
that point.
U.S. Constitution. Your
So if
interpretation
there's-
of
so
moral
if there's-
turpitude.
I mentioned-
Your interpretation of moral turpitude cannot conflict with the U.S. Constitution.
Okay, let's just play. I'll play devil's advocate. So let's say
Wait.
everything you're saying is right,
want
right?
to. I want
Are
to
you
really
saying that a
point out-
judge
I really,
corrected everything, right?
I really want to point out that you said crimes of moral turpitude as determined by a judge. Correct? What did the judge determine?
Right. So that's my point that I was just making.
Oh, it
you're
doesn't matter
saying-
because the judge is full of shit. Like, it's
Well, no, I
ridiculous.
disagree with the judge, but the law is the law. I'm not going to go protest, right?
You haven't even explained
what
why
you're
you
saying
disagree
is-
with the judge.
What you're saying is, yeah. So what you're saying is because I believe that from the river to the sea is a call for genocide.
You recognize
believe
it doesn't
that
meet the
sending-
call.
I feel like sending money to Hamas is bad stuff.
Saying from the river to the sea is protected speech. Saying something inherently violent is not automatically a
Depending how
call
you
for imminent
interpret-
lawless action.
Depending on how you interpret the saying.
Bro.
Unless you
what
are
is-
calling to imminent action where you're giving an exact timeline and specific things to do,
Yes.
that's not an illegal call to violence.
Well, that would be an actual crime. We're not talking about moral
No,
turpitude.
wait,
now.
hold on. What
So
would
he's
be-
not committing
Oh
a
shit! I hit
crime?
that so hard. Sorry. No, I hit the joint so fucking hard. I'm sorry. So we're not talking about actual statutes and crimes, right? Because that is another part of it. Can I read it to you? Let me just read the whole thing.
It
to you.
doesn't matter what you're about to read. The First Amendment takes
No, it doesn't matter
precedent
what's on
over
the green card
everything
application.
else.
It doesn't matter what's on the green. So again, your affirmative is that what's on the government website for applying for a visa or permanent resident status is illegal. Is that what you're implying?
You're not even citing the correct justification they used to deport him. They cited the Immigration and
Common
Nationality.
grounds for revocation,
They cited
fraud or
they did-
misrepresentation.
They cited the Immigration and Nationality Act, and the provision they cited is widely
Sure.
believed to be unconstitutional. Yes, as
Sure.
ruled,
Okay.
as ruled
So-
by Trump's own sister, who's a judge, by the way.
Okay, so granting all of this to you, because that was what I wanted to do, right? So we can just move on. Granting all of this to you, you're saying Trump did something illegal. A judge
Hold on,
stopped
AJ
it.
and Dan, can you guys take over? I gotta let my dog out real quick.
Yes, sir. I got you. Keep going, brother. Keep going. Come on.
Well, I asked a question.
Did you?
What was your question?
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't think you asked a question, Big Dog.
Yeah, you hit that shit way too hard. Holy fuck.
Was super hard. Dude. It's
Short-term
ridiculous.
memories fried, liberal.
Yeah, I'm turning into a lib now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Very funny. I'm a comedian, believe it or not.
All right, you can stop
Stop what?
being so unserious. No one's laughing. Please, sir, listen, lock in.
I didn't do any
you,
jokes.
you made all the concessions. What were you going to say?
Yeah, so all the concessions are Trump did something illegal. A judge stopped it. Doesn't that mean democracy worked?
I'm curious. Do you not recognize the harm in the president of the United States engaging in illegal activity, regardless of whether or not it was prevented?
I think all presidents over time try
That's not
to
an answer to my
expand
question.
a little bit.
That's not an answer to my question. I'm not asking for
Okay,
all
well-
presidents. Oh, no, I'm just talking about Donald Trump right now. Prior
Yeah.
instances of bad behavior does not excuse future bad behavior. That's not how that works. So
No,
is it
but I
harmful
disagree that it's bad behavior. I think it's normal.
to violate the law? It's normal to violate the law?
No, I think it's normal for a partisan president to push their policy as far as possible until the Supreme Court pushes back.
In violation of law.
It's not in violation of law. It's interpreted as violation of law by you. I interpret it
I-
as
I'm
from
not-
the
no, I'm
river
not
to
the
sea
judge.
as a
It
call
was a
for mass
judge.
murder. Okay, and democracy works. So how is Trump a threat? The threat would be if he undermined the judge.
We
right?
just came in a circle all the way back to the initial question.
Yeah, agree. 'Cause
He's
that's the
undermined
original
judges all the
question.
time. So if I provide you with an example of him undermining judges, would that be enough?
I mean, I'd love to hear the rationale. Yeah, let's hear it.
In the case of Kilmer Garcia,
Which one is that?
they
Say
ignore
that
the
again?
Supreme Court. They ignore the Supreme Court's order to facilitate his return to America.
Is this the guy who was? Oh, that one. Yes. So you equate dragging your feet or working slow in bureaucracy to ignoring an order?
Yeah. So
Did he end up getting brought back?
after months
Where
of
is he now?
delay,
Delay or bureaucracy? You can call it.
no,
whatever you want.
it was
isn't here right
intentional.
now.
They brought Bukele. They like
So
forced
it wasn't.
Bukele.
So it sounds like it wasn't.
Okay, well,
fast
that was a
enough
nice
for you.
interruption. Thank you, sir. So you're going to deny all the
Wasn't
context, that
fast
being
enough.
that they photoshopped MS-13 into his knuckles as a means to justify not returning him back to America. You recognize that, right?
That's the Minnesota man.
They poisoned the Minnesota man. What are you talking about?
That's the guy that you're talking about. The guy with the
Kilmer
MS-13
Garcia.
knuckle
So
tattoo.
they poisoned the well by saying that, oh, well, he's like a domestic abuser. He's a really bad person. He's a criminal. He engaged in human trafficking to further justify not bringing him back to America. So, yeah, that's not bureaucracy. Is that how bureaucracy works? Is that like the process of trying to negotiate with Bukele for his release?
I'm sorry. So where is he now?
Are you just ignore everything I just said?
Well, I think at the end of the day, you're making a false claim.
I'm not making a false claim. Do you recognize anything that just came out of my mouth? Did you listen?
No, I think everything you said is wrong. I think he is actually a proven gang member. I don't think he's incredibly violent.
Okay, so
but he certainly did some DV.
Donald Trump didn't Photoshop MS-13 onto his knuckles and then say it wasn't Photoshopped.
So Donald Trump is signing deportation orders and Photoshopping at his desk. That's what he's doing?
He presented a Photoshopped image in his 100 days interview and said that it was not Photoshopped.
Part of it was Photoshopped.
What?
Part of it was Photoshopped.
The fucking Arial 12-point font MS-13 across his knuckles?
So if I remember that story correctly, and I probably will have to look it up to really make sure I'm correct here, but if I remember that story correctly, the graphic on the screen was what the Photoshop was. The knuckles were actually completely untouched as far as any kind of alteration of the photo.
No, there was MS-13 on his
also,
knuckles,
the gentleman was MS-13. That's
no, he wasn't. That's not true.
Point.
That has not been proven.
And he also did domestic violence, which is irrefutable at this point. Do I think he was a domestic terrorist or a horrible person that should be put to what?
Well, all that information is
not.
irrelevant, seeing as the Supreme Court ordered for his return back to America.
Okay, and
where they did not call for inactivity
and
thoughts and prayers.
And where
they
is
called
he
for them
now?
to facilitate his return.
So where is he now?
Oh yeah, just ignore it, man.
Okay.
Fuck it up. Yeah, go for it.
You know what?
He's here. He's here. They brought him back. It just wasn't quick enough for you. It's a ridiculous point to make.
Hold on. He's asking a question, which is perfect because it brings us right back to the question that AG asked you, that you danced around and pivoted around because you refused to answer it, which is, is it bad for a president to constantly push the limits of the law and undermine judges' rulings to push their partisan policy? Is that bad? You refuse to answer that.
If a judge's ruling was undermined, yes, absolutely. But he is here in the United States. It just
after how long? Talking about Abrego Garcia.
Yes, because he asked for. Yeah. He said that it's totally okay for the president to push the limits in order to pass his policy.
No, that's not what I said. That's not
what
you
said. No, you said that.
You
said that. Yes, that's exactly what you said.
Exactly.
And then he said,
I didn't say it was okay. I said all presidents do it,
bro,
and democracy pushes back.
Quiet, piggy. Quiet, piggy. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Look at this guy. He's going to sit here. He's going to talk shit. Unbelievable.
So I said, no, sorry. He said, oh, well, if they violated it, if they're ignoring court orders, then, it's fine. And I said, okay, Trump's done that. And he said, when? And I said, kill Abrego Garcia. And then he said, well, he ended up here, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 months. Okay.
No, but they still violated the order.
In the mail?
They still violated.
He didn't violate the order.
Yes, they did.
Was there a time limit on the order?
Yeah. What is your understanding of what the ruling even was here?
Well, I think at the end of the day, without getting into the
minutiae, can you just answer that? What do you think the ruling was when the Supreme Court ruled on this?
What I'm arguing here.
Can you just answer that question?
Did not violate? No, because it's
in order to determine whether or not they violated it, we have to know what the ruling would be, which we're using as the standard.
Okay, the ruling was, I guess, in layman's terms, was for him to be returned. Correct?
That's very vague.
Fair enough.
I can give you the specific
point that I need to make.
I can give you the specific wording that was used. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Either way, did the wording say it must be done within 1 month? It must be done within 2 months. It must be done within 6 months. Did it say anything like that?
The Supreme Court of the United States said the Trump administration had to obey the district court's order to, quote, facilitate his return.
Interesting.
Can I just finish?
Sure.
The Supreme Court ruled the Trump administration had to obey the lower district court's order to, quote, facilitate his return, and the district court had to clarify what it meant by effectuate to ensure it didn't step on foreign policy. Judge Zinnes then clarified what the administration had to do, which is, quote, take all available steps to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia to the United States. And then Trump did an interview shortly after and said, I could bring him back. I am not going to bring him back.
So I think at the end of the day, you're making.
How about now in the day? How about like right now?
Yeah, he brought him back. The end. Now, I think it's very
Did Trump
small-minded of you to
publicly
think
say,
that,
"I will
listen,
not comply
come
with
on,
this
dude,
order"?
I let you get the whole point out. I
Yeah,
think
but
it's
then you
very
dodged it.
dishonest
So what
of
was
you.
even the point of getting the
I
point
think
out?
it's no.
We're
I think
gonna have
it's
to
very
get the most
dishonest for you.
basic, like fucking
This is how
elementary
conversations
shit
work.
ever.
I can frame.
You don't understand the
questions
English
to get my
language, bro.
answer. You can frame questions. to
Okay,
get
I'm
your
curious.
answer.
Wait, I'm curious. Is
He
facilitate
violated
a verb?
the
Sir,
judge's
excuse
order.
me.
That's what your
Excuse
affirmative
me.
is.
Is facilitate a verb?
Is facilitate a verb? I think it can be
It can be. It is. What is a verb, sir?
an action word. I learned that in preschool.
Thank you so much. So when in
To-
your
to
response to this,
facilitate, one who facilitates.
when your response to this order is that calls for you to facilitate his return to America, right?
Yep.
And it's met with inactivity. That's kind of like not an action, right? That's the opposite of an action. That means doing fucking
So
nothing.
how long should it have taken? What would be an acceptable?
Okay,
time
wait. Do you
frame?
understand what I'm
Time frame
saying?
isn't the question.
It is the question.
No, it's not.
It is the question.
No, it's not.
Do you understand the intricacies
Okay,
of,
okay,
of
let me-
legit
I'm gonna-
inter-country workings?
Bro, this is the most
You don't.
like,
you don't.
this is the most
International dealings.
basic
You don't.
shit
Yeah.
ever. It's basic English language. It's
no,
calling
I think
for
you're mistaken.
activity at the bare
Sure.
minimum. There is no
Sure.
activity. There was delay. There was poisoning the well. There was making like fraudulent accusations about this man in his personal life that no judges ruled on. So I'd like for you to tell me, in what fucking world is that abiding by the ruling?
Because they abided by it. Very simple. There was
Let
no
me just
time
give
frame.
you let me just give you the order of events here, and let's test how bad faith you are. Okay, so first,
Okay.
we can agree the judge said, quote, take all available steps to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia to the United States as soon as possible.
Sure.
Right? That's what it
Sure.
says. The first thing that happens
Sure.
after that is Stephen Miller lies and said, we won the Supreme Court decision. Then what happens next is Donald Trump says, I could return Garcia if I want, but I don't want to do that. The next day, Pam Bondi says, we're unable to return Abrego Garcia. This seems like they're lying to the public and changing their justification and dragging their feet
Seems.
because they do not want to comply with the court.
Seems like, but it sounds like you have no.
I guess if you want to
evidence of
plug
that,
your
right?
ears and stick your head in the sand and think, oh, I love Trump so much, then I guess you won't draw this
No,
connection.
I'm actually not a huge fan. I did my
No
job.
way,
and voted against him in the primary.
yeah, for sure. Fucking hell,
Okay,
man.
bro.
Jesus Christ, you are shredding the Constitution in order to defend it. Well, what does it seem like? What is it? What does it mean? What do those three statements mean?
What do what three statements mean?
The ones he just told you.
About facilitating the return? Is that what
And
you're
then what
asking
the
about?
administration did in response.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think Trump is full of
no,
inappropriate
Court
and
said,
childish rhetoric.
return him. Trump said, I
And he
could
did.
return him.
And
I
he
don't
did.
want to.
Okay, so you have expertise in law and such, right? So explain to me.
You don't
what
need
the
expertise in
process
shit
is.
to just process the
Explain
words that
to
came
me
out of
what
Donald
you do,
Trump's
because
mouth.
obviously I don't
Just
understand.
process the
So-
words that came out of Donald Trump's mouth. You have to return
Yes.
him. I could do that. I don't want to do that. And when he was returned,
Okay, he doesn't want to,
When
but
he
did
was
he?
returned months later, it was not in compliance with the Supreme Court order. It was done to indict him on a different
Why?
charge.
Why was it? Why was it?
It was done
against
to
the
indict him
Supreme
on a
Court order?
different charge, not to comply with the court
Did
order.
he come? Did he come back to the states?
It doesn't matter if he came back. It matters if he came back in compliance with the court. Because the court said
Okay.
as soon as possible.
Okay. And I guess my question to you would be, what is the process for getting him back? Do you know the process?
Calling up
Because I
Bukele
don't.
and saying, hey, bring him back.
So you're that small-minded and ignorant that you think
no, they
that's
did
the
it with
No,
process?
Trump said
They brought
that.
him back
Trump's
after,
the one
like,
that said that. Trump said, I could pick
No,
up
it
that
sounds like
phone.
you're saying that.
Terry
And
Moran,
by the-
Terry Moran interviewed Trump, and Trump
Well,
said,
he
I
also
could pick
said-
up.
he
Let me
also said
finish,
he was
bro.
gonna-
Let me finish.
Yeah.
Terry Moran interviewed Trump, and Trump said, I could pick up that phone right now and call Bukele and say, send back Abrego Garcia, but I don't want to do that. He's not a great guy. So I guess
And
Trump is
I- I-
small-minded.
I-
We
Trump is
agree.
wanna
full
add-
of childish,
I'm pretty sure
childish
Bukele
rhetoric
during
that I
their
wish
joint
he
presser-
didn't do.
I'm pretty sure
But
Bukele
he-
during their joint presser even said that, I mean, Donald Trump isn't asking me to do this. I mean, why would I smuggle a terrorist back into the United States? Alluding,
Okay.
essentially saying that if Donald Trump would ask, he'd do it. And guess what? When they asked, they followed through with maximum fucking efficiency, bro.
Okay, so what is the process? You actually
Holy
authentically
shit, yeah,
believe that
fucking
you
hell.
just pick up the phone and they return him. That's what you're saying?
Trump said that.
Bro,
That's what Trump said.
Right, but
Yeah.
Trump also said that he was going to stop the war in Ukraine on day one. Did you believe that was actually going to happen?
Those are
So
not
is the
similar
president a
statements at
liar?
all.
Wait, I'm
But
sorry.
you,
just
so
so we're
you
clear.
believe that? So you believe him at face value is what you're saying? That seems blissfully ignorant to me.
Do I believe
wanna-
that Trump could bring back a prisoner that's being held in a prison where Trump is paying the government to hold him there? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's processes, and you're just ignoring them.
Okay, what's the
There's no
process?
due process here.
You don't care what they are. You just want it quicker,
Sorry,
right?
go
That's
ahead,
all
Dan.
it is.
Okay, you don't care about the
Fast
process. I agree.
I'm going to test this here. Okay.
No, you guys don't care about the
Are
process
you-
because you
are
don't know what
you-
it is. You think he just
are
picks
you
up a phone and in he
suggesting-
comes.
JC, are you suggesting? Donald,
Oh shit! Sorry, they got me, guys. My bad.
are you suggesting that Donald Trump was publicly saying he's not going to bring him back? If he could, if he wanted to, but he's not going to. And then, but behind
doesn't
the
want
scenes,
to.
He was working,
Doesn't
but
want
behind the
to.
scenes, JC. But behind the scenes, he was working tirelessly to get him back. Is that what you're saying?
Again, I think you actually think that Donald Trump is hands-on with all of these
I mean,
things.
I
No, I
actually-
don't think he was working on this at all. I think there were. I think he had people in his administration
Holy crap,
working on
man.
it. Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you think that he had people in his administration working tirelessly to bring Kilmar back, but publicly-
Probably not the moment the ruling came out, and my justification for that. Hang on, don't laugh. Justification for that is all rulings have the right to appeal. No.
And they did appeal, and the Supreme Court said you have to listen to the court below me.
So how long did that appeal take after the initial ruling?
I don't know how long it was after, but we're talking about happened after the appeal was already heard and the Supreme Court gave their verdict on this. I think it was on the shadow docket.
No, I don't believe that to be.
Also,
that to be
really,
true.
really quick,
It
really
is.
quick. I am going to drop after this. I'm gonna drop-
I think fundamentally we disagree on things
No,
that
come on. I need him to
add context to the debate, and that's probably why you guys will always forever.
You have
bend
Trump
over
devotion
back-
syndrome is all I've learned.
No,
Wait, I'm curious, did-
I can't wait for how
Did he
I'm so
say
glad
that
he's a
the
lame duck. You don't have to
administration
believe me,
appealed
that's
the
fine, but I'm
Supreme
super
Court's
happy
ruling? I'm
about it.
so confused. What is he talking about?
Hold on.
What do you mean,
Let's
what am I
give
talking
Dan the
about?
floor if he's about to leave. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Dan.
no,
Oh, yeah,
really
for
quick. I want to go back really quick to another one of the lies he told. Okay, so earlier,
Okay.
AG asked you if
The faster you talk, the better you sound. By the way.
Apologies.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know what he said. AG asked
I heard
you
him and I still
if
don't
it-
know.
Okay. AG asked you if it was a bad thing for the president to constantly push policies to the very edge of law and hope that it doesn't get pushed back by the courts, and then also undermine rulings. And your response was, "Well,
No.
all other presidents do it." Okay.
Well, no.
That is what you said.
A lot of
That is what you
different. You're
said.
complaining a lot of different sentences that
No.
were said during that discussion.
No.
I did say a lot of other presidents do it, but I also said I don't know
Is
if
it-
you're talking over
Is
me
it
when I
good or
said
is it
it.
bad?
I think it's immoral.
Bruh. So bad.
Thank you. That's bad.
Yeah, I think it's bad. Is that what you want to hear? I think it's bad.
Yeah, no,
I think
I
it's
wanted to
bad
answer
that we have
that.
presidents
I wanted to
pushing
answer
the
that
line.
15 minutes ago.
But what
All
I
right, bye, everybody.
expect to
Have
see out of an executive, what I expect to see out of an executive, is to follow the rulings of the courts, whether you agree or not.
Okay, so he didn't.
And he did, and he returned.
Oh,
He
okay.
returned Garcia.
Yeah, he didn't.
Do you know
So he didn't violate it. He returned
ICE
it. It just wasn't fast enough for you.
ICE in the month of January has violated more court orders than some agencies have in their entire existence?
What do you mean violated court orders? What do you
There were
refer
court
know they have a
orders
right to
given to
appeal.
them,
Orders-
and they
orders to remove?
violated those orders.
What orders?
These were on the use of force against protesters, primarily. There's also other things.
Use of force against protesters. So again, if we can't agree that a duck is a duck, then we can't debate a duck.
If we
Those
can't
people aren't
agree that
protesting.
federal
Those people
agents
aren't
can just
protesting.
fucking mace
They're
you
assaulting
whenever they
law
want, then
enforcement.
god damn it, liberal, we can never get
You just
on
said they have to
if
comply
I-
with court orders, but as soon as I give you examples of them
Yeah.
not doing that, all of a sudden you have an excuse.
Okay, so use of force against protesters is bad, right? We agree there?
If the protesters aren't breaking the law, then yeah.
Okay. So what instance of use of force was done against a protester that wasn't creating any sort of violence or commotion?
You'd have to read what the judge
Rioting,
said
for
there.
example. Oh, so you don't know?
I didn't
got everything
memorize
else
every
ready. Why
single
not this
instance,
one?
and I can guarantee you, even if I did,
Wait,
like with the Abrego Garcia case, you still
Can you
wouldn't
give me
concede
one? Can
because
we look one
no
up?
matter how many details you're given, you always find a way to slither into something else.
No,
Wait,
no, no.
JC,
If
wait,
ICE-
wait,
if
JC,
ICE-
JC,
listen, if
JC.
ICE walked up to a protester
What was your question,
protesting
sir?
and exercising their First Amendment, I would absolutely say that person should be prosecuted. Absolutely.
You just
what's
said they have
your-
to
wait,
obey
wait,
court
that person's
orders,
rights.
and now you're saying something different. So
Well, I
Wait,
think
what
that
was
you
your
and I
question with
fundamentally
regards to the
disagree on
ruling?
what protesting and free speech is. I don't think throwing
You're
a
changing
water
the
bottle at an
subject
ICE
now.
vehicle is free speech. No, I think they're
Wow.
using force on
Holy-
aggressors.
A water bottle at an ICE vehicle.
Yes,
Holy
that's assault.
shit.
Whether you want it to be or not, that's yes. There's laws against that. You can shake your head all you want.
as you
You can't
said
throw
yourself, if you don't like a court's ruling, you can appeal it. You can't just not comply with it.
Agreed. So what did the court
And
rule?
the Trump administration,
Not to use force on
the Trump
protesters.
administration has violated multiple court orders.
Okay, are we talking about Trump or are we talking about ICE?
The Trump administration has violated multiple court orders.
Okay, are we going on the ICE court orders, or are we going back to the deportation?
The what?
The deportation?
Yeah, I definitely fucked that up. Deportation. The point is, look, dude. Honestly, it's incredibly bad faith to to talk about any kind of speech or anything like that. Just relax, dude. Just relax.
You're just contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm trying.
You said that they have to comply with court orders,
questions.
and now you're saying
Yeah.
something different.
Okay, what court order? As far as, because you brought up ICE, right? You're the one who brought this up. What court order?
It essentially
is not being
established.
followed?
It essentially established when and how they should use like crowd control methods.
And when was that violated?
Month of
When
January.
they just there you go.
But where? Who? Can you give me one example?
Let me
one
ask you, if
instance,
we
one-
give you names
one
and locations,
ruling?
will you all of a sudden concede? Because it hasn't really been happening so far. No matter how many details
Well,
we
not
give you,
just-
no matter how many details we give you, you always find some other way to squeeze out of it. So
Yeah,
why would
fair,
it even matter?
fair. So no, so not just a name and a location, but I will look it up and I'll read into it and I'll make my determination. Sure. But again, I think you and I fundamentally disagree on what free speech is. I don't think the people
Neither of
impeding
us
law
gets to
enforcement
decide
are exercising
constitutionally.
free speech.
The courts get to
Agreed.
decide that.
Agreed. And throwing a
The
water
courts get to
bottle is
decide that.
not protected speech. True or false?
What are you talking about, bro?
What are you, yeah, what?
Is assaulting a law enforcement officer
Assault
free
is not
speech?
free speech. Full stop.
Okay, agreed. Is touching an ICE agent considered assault if they want to be petty?
If they what?
That's no.
Yes,
No.
making unwanted contact with law
No.
enforcement.
This has
it can
nothing
be
to do with
considered assault
anything. If
battery.
a judge has made a ruling, why are they
What
not
ruling was made?
complying with the ruling?
They are complying. You just don't think that.
Yeah, when they
that
fucking
rioting- you
murdered
think
Alex
rioting is
Preddy,
free
that was in
speech.
compliance with fucking court orders, bro, for
No,
sure.
January 6th with a violent riot. To whoever's in the chat saying
Insurrection.
that, I think it's a great. It wasn't an insurrection, but it was
true.
a very
Well,
violent
I have a question
riot.
because you keep on making you want to ensure that we know the difference between ICE or Trump. Who prosecuted
Sure.
Donald Trump?
Wait, say
Who
prosecute
was
Donald Trump?
Donald Trump politically persecuted?
Debatable.
I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm
I
not
would
a fan.
say. I would say. I
I'm
would
not a
say,
fan of Trump. By the way,
justifiably.
I'm a real partial guy.
If you could just shut the fuck up for 6 seconds, I'll answer your question.
Pero
So
calma,
I think
papi.
Trump. All right, you either want me here or you don't, friend. So I think Trump was unfairly prosecuted with petty just charges.
By who?
I think that these
Petty
things were
just charges?
violated.
Yeah, fuck.
They didn't have to be brought, as they normally wouldn't be against people if they weren't, such a political figure.
Obstruction
I
of
do think
justice
that the
charges
charges
wouldn't
were
be brought
valid.
against other people?
No, I don't think
Wow.
any other, even a billionaire class. I don't think the billionaire class. Do you believe the billionaire class is being assessed on their taxes like that? Do
They
you
sh-
think property
They
values
should
are
be.
being
Let's
assessed?
expand the IRS. Let's
I
vote
agree.
for some
Oh,
Democrats.
100%.
Let's vote for some Democrats.
100%.
Didn't Joe
Agreed.
Biden do
Totally
that via
agreed.
the? What
It was
it?
a just charge, unjustly brought with political motivation.
Why would it be unjust to prosecute a former president for obstructing justice on classified documents and conspiring
We
against the
want to
right
talk about precedent
and
because we don't
conspiring
do
against
that.
the right to vote?
So again, talk about precedent. We don't do that in this country.
Yeah, we don't attempt
find
coups on the.
petty-
You're right. We
we
don't
don't-
attempt coups. When someone does it, we have to
that's a
prosecute
big
them.
pivot. That's a huge
That's not a
pivot.
literally
pivot.
what we've
That's
been
what he was
talking
being
about.
indicted for. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Okay. So again, I think that there is political persecution, but the charges were just. Meaning, they did prove that these things happened. I believe them to be petty. They mean very little.
Oh yeah, it's
and-
petty. Fuck,
You
Over
have
half
to
the
prove
country
that it
didn't
was
care about it.
political.
What do you mean I have to prove that it was politically?
Trump
Open
was
your eyes and
given
look at it.
Trump was given special treatment that no other person would be given, and how much they
Letitia
delayed,
James
and how
ran.
much
She
they
campaigned on
in
getting
how-
Trump.
Oh, I remember
and how much they
Letitia
delayed
James.
indicting him. He was given special treatment.
You guys remember
Letitia
when Merrick Garland
James
appointed Letitia
campaigned-
James to
Oh, yeah.
investigate
Campaigned
fucking
on getting Trump. You want to use Trump's words? I'm using Letitia
You've
James.
now
the-
pivoted
the
away
AG.
from the federal charges to New York.
Well, I'm just bringing it. You asked for charges in general. I'm
Special
just giving you-
counsel
I didn't know
Letitia
we were
What
talking
we've been
about something
talking about
specific.
thus far is the classified documents case and the January 6th case, which are the most serious charges possibly brought in the history of the United States against the president.
Amen.
So first of all, okay. So if you want to completely skip the New York case, which is fair because
That's
I
what
think
we've-
it's very
this is what we've
partisan,
been talking about
and that's
since the
my petty
beginning,
point.
so.
I don't think there was an insurrection, and if there was,
that what he was
then
charged with?
was what happened in Seattle an insurrection?
He wasn't
During the
charged with
summer of love.
insurrection, so you're fighting demons here. I didn't even use that word.
Well, I know AG said it was an insurrection. He corrected me about 80,000
He's saying that, I'm
times,
guessing, colloquially, not statutorily.
Well, AG, why don't you speak for yourself? How are you saying it?
I don't give a fuck. It's an insurrection.
You see? Well, there you go. He thinks it's an actual insurrection, which is a bad faith position because it
No,
was
it's
a
not.
violent riot.
No.
What was
with
Trump
that
charged
said,
with there? Do you
think-
know?
Wait, what is it? Wait, I'm curious. Wait, JC, what's an insurrection?
I guess for layman's terms, probably a
Not
violent
layman's.
coup.
No, no. We're not speaking colloquially. We're talking.
Well, I mean, I
True.
can sit here and
Formal
Google
right
it and give you the Oxford definition.
So
or I
what's
can
your
give you what
what's
I
the
interpret
formal
it to be.
definition?
All right, well, let me Google it, right? Because it's bad faith to assume everyone's got these shits memorized.
Didn't you just do that to him? Okay.
No, I agree with you. We shouldn't have it memorized. I've been
And by the
trying
way,
to look
I didn't
stuff
say
up.
Donald Trump committed insurrection. He called for individuals to engage in one, but I was referring to January 6th as an event because I asked you if you thought it was an insurrection. You said no, it's not an insurrection. It was a riot.
Violent riot. The Oxford definition is a violent uprising against an authority or government.
Interesting.
Sounds
so when
like
you
what
stormed the
happened on
Capitol with the
January 6th.
intention of fucking killing the vice president, what's that?
There is also
Okay, got
a
it.
statute. Hang on. There's a federal statute here for delaying official business. Which one do you think is more appropriate?
Holy shit! All the boxes are checked off. God damn. Looks like they passed the test with flying colors, don't you think?
Intentional disruption or delay of federal business is prohibited under 18 USC Section 1752A2, which outlaws impeding government business at restricted offices or residences. That's what actually applied criminally, I think.
That's
I don't
only
think
one
an
of the
insurrection
charges. It was
actually took
also
place.
defrauding the United States, conspiracy against rights.
Well, I do think he was very childish in his elector scheme. But again, I think democracy.
Yeah, so
I think
childish,
What is this
democracy
new
is bad.
trend where we call authoritarianism like childish or like it's just a prank, bro? Like, what is this?
What do you mean, just a prank?
Like
I mean,
you
it wasn't a prank. He actually
downplay
tried to do it.
authoritarianism constantly and try to make excuses for
That's
it.
not authoritarianism. That's literally
To try
me
to
saying
overturn
earlier,
the
he's-
result of a free
he's
and fair
pushing the
election
limits.
illegally is not
He's pushing
authoritarian.
the limits. He's pushing the
To
limits.
break the
and
law
kind of-
in order to
you
change
know.
election results is not authoritarian to you.
Yeah. So was he charged with a crime?
Was he charged with a crime?
And then
Yes.
what happened with that charge? What happened with that charge? Was he convicted?
It's
What happened
still
in court?
there. He just won the election.
Wait. Didn't he concede to
okay.
them? Wait, no. You
So
said
the charges
you
are
believed.
still
no,
open?
wait. You said you believed all the indictments.
Okay. Are the charges still
Oh,
open?
yeah. Let's just ignore that
They were
one.
dismissed, I believe, without prejudice, so they can be brought
Yeah.
back once he's out of office
Okay. So they are dropped, is what you're saying.
with prejudice.
No,
With prejudice. Okay.
Is it with
but
or
they
without?
are dropped, right?
They can be brought back.
it's without prejudice.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But they are dropped, correct?
What is the point in bringing that up? Are you implying it's based on the merits that they were dropped? Or is it because he won the
Well,
election?
yeah, I do believe, for example, the documents case that was
You're
dropped
just
on merit. No?
objectively wrong.
Holy shit!
Trump
that was the
won the
strongest
documents case.
one.
No, he didn't. No, what is your
Yes, he
understanding
did.
of the documents case? What did Eileen Cannon say there?
Oh boy. So I will concede to you here that I'm not as caught up per se.
Then why do you
can
have
tell
such
that you
strong
do this.
opinions on these matters? You could just say, I don't
Am I
really
not
know.
allowed to have strong opinions? Is that an appeal from authority?
No, it's just hard to take someone seriously who has such strong opinions and you push them one layer deeper and they're like, I don't know, man.
All right.
It's an appeal to basic intelligence, I'd say, like the bare minimum.
think so?
Appeal to the bare minimum. Is that an appeal to the bare
Okay.
minimum, Adam?
I don't even know.
So I just
don't know
googled
what
it.
this is.
Yes, a federal classified documents case against Donald Trump was dismissed in July
Why?
by a judge, Eileen
Eileen
Cannon.
Cannon, and
who
why'd she
ruled
dismiss
that
it?
Who ruled that special counsel Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional?
And why'd she say that?
Well, because it was unconstitutional.
How would it be
Bruh.
unconstitutional? What's a special counsel?
So the purpose of Jack Smith was to compile the investigation.
What is a
correct?
special counsel? What is the point of a special
Special counsel is someone that's appointed to try to be as nonpartisan and disconnected from
And
the
she
from
said
the parties as
the
possible.
issue was that the counsel wasn't appointed by Joe Biden.
Okay, so is it fair to say that the counsel was probably not a good?
And by the way,
special
this
counsel
was
to have for
appealed,
this?
and she was about to get cooked in the appeal because that's not an argument any judge has made ever in any other situation. It wasn't
But
made
did
with
she get
Mueller.
cooked?
It wasn't
Or was
made
she
with
about to
her.
get
It wasn't
cooked?
made with what was his name? Jeffrey something. Jeff Sessions under Trump. Multiple times it has been upheld that the attorney general can appoint a special counsel when he wants to recuse himself from these investigations. You'd think that MAGA would be happy that Merrick Garland wanted to recuse himself and appointed someone in Jack Smith who has a history of prosecuting both Republicans and Democrats and working for both the right and the left across time.
Yeah, you could cope it all the way, but the reality is
Cringe,
the
that's
case
so-
was
Okay,
dropped.
so
Can
you're
you
being bad-
engage with
super
the
bad
single
faith.
thing he
It's,
just
it's
said?
not.
No,
It
he's
wasn't.
being
It
super
wasn't
bad
dropped
faith.
with prejudice, with or without. It's not able to be brought back. You're wrong about that.
JC,
plain and
bro.
simple.
JC, bro. That's like so fucking bad faith, bro. Like,
You
you
think
didn't
so,
even
bro?
engage with what he just. Like, bro, can we just like engage with basic fucking English language, bro?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing. I mean,
Yeah, by
you
all
telling
means, you
me
can't
that
just
the
be
case
like,
was
"Oh, bro,
dropped
whatever,
without prejudice or
cringe,
with
code."
prejudice. Either way, it can't be brought again. It was dropped.
Yes, it can. What?
So he won. He won the case.
No, you're
It's
just
over.
wrong. They were appealing what Eileen Cannon said, and they for sure would have
appeal
won
was dropped
because
too.
what she said is not backed by any case law anywhere.
Appeal was formally dismissed in early 2025. That's over too.
No, there was still an appeal process that they could have done. You're acting
there's
like the
more
case
appeals?
couldn't
How
have
many
been
more
brought back.
appeals? But how many more appeals does he get? It was dropped.
Ask Trump, who appeals everything up all the way to the fucking Supreme Court.
As you should. Yeah, I think you should.
Bro.
Exactly. So if
That's
the
how
district, if
democracy
you don't
works.
like what the
So
district
if
court
he's a
says,
threat
if
to
you
our
don't like what
country,
the
why is he
district court
following all
says,
the
if
judicial
you don't
routes?
like what the district court says, you can appeal up to the appellate court. If you don't like what they say,
Yeah.
you can appeal up to the Supreme Court.
Sure. Agreed.
So you're just
Oh, so the
incorrect
problem
when you
is,
say that case could not
If
have been
Trump
brought
is a
back.
threat to this country,
You're
if
just
Trump is a
incorrect
threat to this
when you
country,
say
why
that
is he
case could
following
not
all
have
the
been
judicial
brought back.
routes? See, I could make fun of that, but I'm not going to. But with that being said, he won the case. It's dropped. You
He
just don't
didn't
like
win the case. That's not how a case works.
it. It is how it works. I mean, you could Google it right now.
As you
Trump
said,
wins the
judges can
documents
be
case in
partisan.
Florida.
A judge who Trump appointed,
Agreed.
a judge who Trump appointed, made an extremely strange ruling with no backing in case law that could have been brought back and would have been brought back had Trump not won the 2024 election.
So it sounds like we're right back to where we started, right? I
No, you were
disagree
saying
with
the case
judge
could
with
not have been
Garcia.
brought back.
You disagree.
You were saying the
disagree
case
with
could
judge
not have
here.
been brought back.
It can't be. It's over. It was dropped. When
Does
will
a
they bring
case
it back?
being
When he's out of
dropped mean it
office?
can't be appealed and brought back?
Well, yeah, the appeal was dismissed.
Is there only one appeal?
Are you saying that the next
Didn't
appeal
we
would
just
go to the
establish you
Supreme
can
Court?
appeal your way up?
Yeah. So I guess what you're implying is they're going to go to the Supreme Court for an appeal.
Hope so.
They should.
Okay, and
Lock him
and we
up.
talked about biased judges earlier, right? So you think that
Lock
bench is going
him
to vote
up.
in liberal favor?
Say it again.
Lock him up.
You think Clarence Thomas is going to vote affirmative on this? Or you think
Well,
he's going to
thankfully,
dissent?
Clarence Thomas does not unilaterally decide Supreme
Put
Court
his ass in
decisions.
jail too,
No,
brother.
I'm using that as an example as we have partisan judges on the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Which way does the court lean?
JC, I'm
Right?
curious. Would you be okay? Listen.
Right. So when the obvious thing
No,
happens
wait,
and it's
wait,
dismissed, will you admit the case
man.
is won?
Hey,
The
or-
court
hey,
doesn't
hey.
always rule in favor of Trump. You're just wrong.
No, but what I'm saying is, objectively speaking, we have more right-leaning judges than left.
Yeah,
right?
and Trump still loses
And we
plenty.
can agree that they're partisan.
And Trump still
maybe
loses
because
plenty.
Sure, but in this, are you saying in this specific situation?
Yeah, this
they're
was
gonna
a
vote,
dog shit legal
uh,
argument that special counsels can't exist.
How dare you?
There's
divide
no
the
case
next
law
way.
to
that's,
that.
That's not what it said at all. You're just
That's
now
what
you're
Eileen
strawmanning.
Cannon said.
Right. Well, that's your interpretation of what she said. That's not what she
Did
said.
you
Bro,
even
didn't
read
you
what the
say
fuck
you're
she
not
said? You read the
well-versed
AI
in any of these
overview.
cases?
Yes, I'm reading it right now.
Oh,
No,
nice,
I clicked into the sources. But with that being said, you and I are right back to square one. I disagree with what the judge with Garcia
never
said.
left
You
square
disagree
one.
with this judge, right?
Listen.
And what's the difference?
None. We just
Yeah,
disagree.
none.
But at the
Yeah,
end of the
Trump
day, we have to
doesn't
follow the real
comply
law.
with the judges he doesn't like, and we still believe in rule of law. That's the difference.
But he does comply. He does comply. You haven't given me a single instance when he hasn't.
We literally
Oh, yeah, for
have
sure.
his DOJ saying we have to tell the judge, "Fuck you."
I think that's fantastic. I think you should tell more judges, fuck you. Yes.
That's called
Yes, I
defying the courts.
No, I think that's
Congratulations.
freedom of speech. So Trump doesn't have
He's
freedom
just
of
stress
speech.
testing
my
Article
God.
3, bro. Lock
If the
in,
judge,
bro.
if the judge says you have to touch your toes, and I say fuck you, Your Honor,
That's not
but
the
then bend
context.
down and touch my
It's
toes.
not the context.
And then I bend. Okay, how about this? 2 months later, I
How
bend
about
down
instead
and
of
touch
giving
my
you
toes.
random hypotheticals, I actually explain the context to you?
Okay, go ahead.
Emile Beauvais, who was Trump's personal lawyer who became a senior official at the DOJ, when Trump was shipping people off to CCOT under the Alien Enemies Act, he told the DOJ, if the courts tell us stop, we might have to just tell them fuck you. Then what happens? Judge Boasberg issues a temporary restraining order. After that order is issued, the plane still took off.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you can't twist yourself into a pretzel here. DOJ said if the court stops us, we're going to say fuck you. The court says stop, and they say fuck you and still do it. How is
Well,
that not a court order being
district judge-
defined?
A district judge.
How
said
is
stop,
that
and the
not a
argument-
court
hang
order
on.
being defined?
I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
because a district judge was the one who said it, and their appeal was that judge has no authority.
Even if you
And they actually
appeal,
won that.
even if you appeal, you still have to comply with the judge's ruling.
That's not the point of appeal. No, when you appeal, everything goes into limbo, and unfortunately,
No.
the gentleman was deported.
No. If
Yes,
you
yes,
appeal
yes.
a temporary restraining order or a temporary injunction, then the higher court can rule on that. Until the higher court rules on whether or not to give you a stay, you have to comply.
Unless you
basic
don't have
rule
the
of law.
authority, unless you don't have the authority to make an injunction. With that being said,
Which
if a
would be
district
adjudicated
judge-
by the higher court, and
But-
until they adjudicate
right,
that,
so
you
what
have to
you're-
comply.
So what you're effectively saying is a district
You're so
judge
bad faith.
can
Holy
illegally
shit, bro.
create. You can think whatever you want. A district judge can create
All right,
any kind of injunction, whether it be constitutional or not. You got to let me finish, AG. Come on,
No,
you got to let me
I
finish.
want Joe Biden
got
to
to.
run, and he's gonna win, and he's gonna stress test, and he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
he's gonna really stretch out legal theory so you can throw all the justices in jail and replace them with Hunter Biden, Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, and Barack Obama. So we could throw Trump in jail. Amen.
Okay, I'm not too sure what you were talking about.
Also,
So what you're effectively,
what is the
what you're
claim?
effectively saying, is that a judge, you agree that a judge, a district judge, we can call it malicious, nefarious, whatever word you want to use, can create an
Boasberg
injunction.
malicious?
They know
Was
they're
Boasberg
not
malicious?
under authority. If I may finish, you know, a judge can create an injunction. They know they don't have the authority to write.
They could.
How the fuck
You'd have
did
to.
he not
The burden of
know?
proof is on you. That's what happened
they
here.
They could. Yeah, agreed. So
A judge
you're
could
okay
also
with
do a
district-
handstand in a cart. Like, where's your evidence for any
Is that
of
a
this?
violation? Is that a violation of the Constitution?
Is what a violation?
Is that them creating an injunction they know they don't have the authority to create?
It's not
Just
relevant
in
to
their
this
way.
case, unless you want
It
to
is.
claim that
It's
Boasberg did
literally-
that.
It's literally relevant. to
Okay,
this
so
case.
Boasberg acted in bad faith here, according to you. What's your evidence?
It's not about having evidence.
The
You're
same,
saying that
the same
injunction-
Boasberg,
that injunction
the same,
was
the same
overruled,
Judge
yes?
Boasberg, first appointed to federal courts by George Bush, the same Judge Boasberg who defended Donald Trump and said he did not have to release his tax returns, the same Boasberg who said that Hillary Clinton had to release her emails no matter what. This Boasberg, who previously had ruled in favor of Trump and against Hillary Clinton, is all of a sudden a bad faith judge just because you can you refuse to acknowledge that they purposefully violated a court order. Do you not see
So
how
if
insane
past
that is?
If past crimes don't excuse future crimes, then I'm
What are
thinking
you
that
insane?
his record of judgeship has nothing to do with this particular injunction.
It has to do with just the vibes you're feeling of how you think he is. You just think he's
no,
bad
no,
faith,
I'm
and
not.
therefore we
I'm
have
not.
to take
Listen,
it for
I'm
granted?
not the one using any of that to my argument. What I'm
You
saying
are.
is,
You're
bro,
poisoning
he
the
wrote
water.
An injunction.
You're poisoning
he
the
wrote
well.
An injunction, whether it be nefarious or not. I'm not arguing whether he did it on purpose or.
You're so bad
maliciously.
faith.
That's not what I'm
Anytime I
saying.
bring up a court,
What
you're
I'm
like,
saying
well,
is-
some judges can be bad. You know what
No,
you're doing when you say that.
You're the one telling me that this particular judge created an injunction that was overruled. Correct?
It was defied.
That he did not have. He did not.
No, it wasn't
have
an
the
injunction.
authority
It wasn't an injunction.
to
It was
stop
a
that
it was a
deportation.
temporary restraining order, not an injunction.
Okay, but he did not have the authority to do that. Do you agree?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No,
No, it doesn't.
It does matter.
No.
No, it does not.
Trump appealed, and that person shouldn't have
And
created that restraining
before
order.
Trump's appeal is heard, he has to comply with the court. That's basic
Okay,
constitutional law.
So,
I'm sorry.
so what if it happened in what if it happened in the opposite, right?
No, not a what if.
What
No,
if it
it's
said
no,
you
no,
have
address
to
what
deport
we're
them?
saying.
That's it.
I did, but you're just not liking my answer.
If a
So
judge
in order to
makes a
test your
ruling, if a
consistency, I wanna
judge
ask you
makes a
question.
ruling that later ends up being found to be incorrect, that doesn't change the fact that when the ruling was first made, it still had the binding power of law behind it.
So, while I don't disagree with what you're saying in a big picture of what America's supposed to be, I do disagree with how disingenuous you're being with this particular case. So, what was the time frame? So, when it comes to time frame, when this restraining order was sent, where was the plane? Wheels up, right?
2 planes had taken off. 1 plane was on the tarmac, and I believe 15
Last second, right?
15 or 20 minutes after the order was given, the plane took off. When the plane took off, the pilots in the plane and Kristi Noem knew about the order. And
Yeah.
again,
So what I feel you-
don't
what I-
forget the context
Yeah.
that
What
the
does he
prior
mean, yeah?
week. Don't forget the context that the prior week the DOJ had said on this specific case, if the judge tells us do not send off these planes, we are going to say fuck you. That's stated intent.
Okay, so it sounds to me like the common denominator here is you just don't like
Holy-
bureaucracy. You want things to happen quicker, right?
Holy shit.
Bro.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Holy shit.
Does it not hurt stretching yourself this thin to defend Trump? Holy fuck.
Dude, I'll be honest. When I'm outside of these echo chambers where it's just a bunch of people who refuse to have any kind of dialogue, dude, I'm great. I love these conversations.
No, you're an
I
extremely
truly
bad faith
believe-
person who
Bro, haven't
refuses
we
to
spoken
engage
to
with
you for
any
an
criticism of the
hour?
Trump administration.
What do you mean? I disagree with how much money Trump is spending. I disagree with Trump on
Fuck.
Bitcoin. I think that's a big scam. I think he needs to distance himself from
Talking
that.
about
I think Trump's
authoritarianism.
rhetoric is pathetic. I think the way
he
Trump
needs to
talks to the media is
distance himself
unpresidential.
from the fucking
I just
crypto coins
criticized
that he
him 4
created.
times.
God
You want,
damn it.
you want
What
4
the
more?
fuck?
Do you want 4 more?
I say Trump is breaking the law, and you say, yeah, but what if the law's kind of dumb, though? Like, what about that? That's pretty much
not
been
at
your
all.
argument.
I say Trump's not breaking the law. That's called a straw man. Trump is not breaking the law.
Who would decide that?
What law did Trump break?
Who would decide whether or not,
Well, judge.
whether you're right or...
A judge.
Oh, my goodness.
will
And then if he
force him.
violates what the judge is saying, he's breaking the law. Oh, my God.
No, that's not true. There's context to everything.
It's over.
You
This
can't
argument
just
is
say-
unbeatable.
Look, so I would be more willing to concede on the 2-month delay with the judge's order. I think that argument was stronger as far as saying he's violating a judge's order. We're saying 20 minutes before the plane took off, someone filed a restraining order.
Temporary restraining
That's
order.
bad faith. That's bad faith in anything, dude.
Do you know what the
You're
purpose of a
expecting you're
TRO
expecting
is?
them just to have rapid response.
Do you know what the purpose of a TRO is?
Tell me.
The reason TROs are issued so quickly is if one of the parties involved in the case is going to face irreparable harm. I think when you're being sent to a fucking prison camp, maybe we should have a little caution there.
Well, again, fundamentally, you're talking about Massachusetts man who wasn't bad. Again, you and I disagree. I believe
I
based
think
on
that's the only
evidence
person that was sent
provided,
to CCOT?
No, I think he was MS-13, and we're talking about this
No.
guy specifically. Don't
There-
pivot.
No.
Don't
We're
pivot.
talking
he was
about
a gang member. That's been
we're
proven.
talking about Boasberg's TRO, which applied to hundreds of people being sent to CCOT.
Right, but you're saying some innocent guy. We're not talking about everyone, right? We're talking about this particular
Anyone who is subject to
anecdotal
that temporary
situation where
restraining
you're
order
claiming
is
he
who I'm
violated
talking
the law.
about.
Right. So this particular situation where a TRO was signed and 20 minutes later the plane took off. We're talking about that particular situation, right?
After
That
the
gentleman
DOJ
shouldn't
said
have been
what?
sent to a prison
After
camp.
the
but he
DOJ
was a
said
gang
what?
member.
After the
He
DOJ
was a
said
gang
what?
member.
After the DOJ said what?
What do you mean?
You can't
Bro.
forget the context here. The DOJ said, hey, we're going to defy this court.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, rhetoric no good, but I've already criticized Trump for that.
It's
The
just
rhetoric's
rhetoric
atrocious.
when they say we're
It
not
is.
going
Are
to
you
obey the
fucking
courts
kidding me?
and then they don't obey the
It
courts.
is.
It's just a coincidence.
It is. Again, I think you have a stronger
Bro.
argument when it comes to the
Come
2-month
on.
delay.
I'm
Okay,
You're
wait,
opposed to
not
don't you
20
think?
minutes.
Don't you think like premeditation's like a really big fucking deal?
Just a coincidence, bro. He just said that.
Do
for
I
fun.
think what's a big deal?
Like let's say that I accidentally unalive somebody with a vehicle, right? They get Mike Pence, a huge tragedy. But it's later revealed that I decided I was going to do this. It wasn't actually an accident, and I knew that I was going to take out this person with my car. Don't you think
Sure.
that changes everything?
Sure. I think intentionality
What do you mean,
is
sure? You
very
can't
important.
say sure. You have
Hang
to
on,
say
dude. I had
like
a
yes or
7-year-old
fuck.
come up to me and ask me a question about Italian ice. Calm down. I think intentionality is very important. I agree.
Okay.
But unfortunately, intentionality is the hardest thing to prove in a criminal case.
What?
So,
Bro, it's,
yes.
what,
Yes, it
what
is.
more do they have to say?
How do you go about proving it, though? How do you
Yeah,
go about
great.
proving it, though?
Short of the defendant admitting their intention, it's very difficult to prove.
They said they were. What the fuck? What more?
Right.
Did you
But
not
what I'm-
hear
what-
what
Emile
they
what-
said?
Beauvais
you
said,
guys-
if the courts tell us no, we will tell the courts, fuck you. And then that's exactly
Well,
what they did.
That's not what was said. They said we might have to tell the courts, "Fuck you," right?
Bro, what?
You're not this dumb, bro.
No,
No,
You're
no,
not
it's
this
not about being
Come on.
dumb. It's-
Don't
it's-
don't
What?
pretend. Don't insult
Look,
your
it's
own
not about-
intelligence and everyone
It's
here
not about-
watching.
It's not about.
Come
listen,
on.
Listen.
Come on.
Listen, it's not about being dumb. What it is for me is I like to come into these and I like to talk to people. When Joe Biden stepped down, I made comments because I used to do this a long time ago. I'm back to it, but I made comments. You can snore all you want. If you want me to leave, I'll just dip. It's no big deal. But when I said is when Joe Biden stepped down, is I said I'm going to listen. All right, obviously no winning here.
I'm joking.
So
I'm joking.
hopefully you have more people to keep your
No,
guests.
it's, you've
entertained.
just been so good faith. I just want to return the favor. Like, bro, it's fine. He need to go tend to his kids, anyways. Whatever, bro.
Andrew
My
Wilson's
bad.
got competition. That might have been the bad faith
Dude,
final
for
boss.
real.
Holy shit.
For real.
Oh my god.
God,
That
dude,
was
these
just a
people cannot-
coincidence when they said they were going to do something and then they did it the next day.
No,
It
they
was a
said they
prank.
might, buddy. They said they
True.
might. That's
True.
not with the utmost certainty, bud. Jesus fuck. Oh my God.
That was painful.
Jesus Christ, man. You broke the toy? I guess I did. Very tragic.
You ready for Jack?
Fuck,
This is
you know, let's
MAGA's
go.
last soldier, the last man standing. It's
Let's
like
go.
when fucking
Amen.
Captain America was facing off against Thanos' army by himself.
I'll be here for another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go poke some iron,
Hell yeah.
brother. Oh well.
That was quick. He probably either he's a friendly or he requested before that debate, and then he watched that and he was like, "Fuck, I don't have any response to this.
Yeah, it's fucking
Abort mission."
bro. I don't know how, dude. That conversation was. Yes, I can't stop saying that these people are real. That guy's not even trolling.
And we only got to a couple examples. Like, bro, Trump has literally said, "He who saves his country does not violate any
Breaks
law."
the law. How the
Like-
fuck do I forget that shit, man?
Oh, Jack is back. Holy shit.
Oh shit, Jack. Is this the Jack Smith?
Hello?
Hey, how old are you?
18.
Do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen?
No, I just wanted to say something to JC because I was talking to him earlier today, and he said I was like lying in an earlier thing today, and I just wanted to like confront him about it, but he's been like running,
Yeah, fuck him, bro. Am I right?
and my audio is broken, so that's why I had to cancel.
Okay, that's fine.
I disconnected it from my car. Yeah, but nah, I just want to ask him a question. That's all.
Okay, bye.
That's a radical liberal. It might just
Yes.
be Jack Smith's son.
Radical leftist lunatic.
You think my girl, the GOAT, Ghislaine Maxwell, is going to be granted clemency?
Oh, I thought you're saying something about like your girlfriend or something when you started with that.
No, bro.
That really caught
No.
me off guard. What was the question?
She's calling for clemency, and then she'll speak out. Do you think they're going to get that quid pro quo? They're going to send it?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because the thing is, if Trump pardons her, then she's obviously just going to fucking lie. And then she can't even be charged with perjury afterwards because she has a fucking pardon. So
Exactly.
Trump could just pardon her and say, like, go tell them, like, Democrats are all evil. And that's what she'll do.
I feel like they would do it, right?
We need Bill Clinton to just snitch on himself and take Trump down with him. He's most likely
God.
cooked. He needs to. If Congress
How
won't
old
give
is
him a
Bill
public
Clinton?
hearing, bro, go live on Bill Clinton. If you're watching this, the guest box is open to you right now. I know he's a big fan of the
Please,
stream.
Bill.
Bill Clinton, join this, admit to your sex crimes, and then just tell us what Trump did as well, okay?
Please, Bill.
Take him down
I'll do
with you.
anything. He's 80, dude. You lived a great life. You were fucking president.
He lived a life. He did do some great things, some not so great things. It was a mixed bag.
Well, there's good people on both sides. There's good
True.
people on
Oh
both
my God,
sides of
so
the
true.
Epstein issue.
Stand back and stand by.
Oh, God. Fuck, dude. Honestly, if he's willing to go down and drag everybody else with him, I think he'll be the greatest president of all time just with
Martyr.
that. Amen.
Hey, how old are you?
23.
Do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen right now?
Yeah, I don't think he's a threat to the country. Most corrupt president in modern history, I would say. I'm not educated enough on that. Not really sure how he is corrupted.
Which one? did you
Immigration
want to debate?
policies are cruel and inefficient. I would say for the most part they are fantastic. And we shut down the border. Fantastic.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Which one did you want to debate then?
Why do you think he's a threat to the country?
Because he consistently undermines rule of law in our Constitution and attacks his political opponents with threats of death and imprisonment.
So he undermines our Constitution and attacks his political opponents. So I would say attacking political opponents, there's really just no way to
With threats
justify that
of
being a threat to the country.
death and imprisonment, not just attacks them in general. When you say like they should be hung, they should be locked up, it's not normal rhetoric for the leader of the free world to be using.
Okay. Yeah, that's a stretch to say it's a threat to the country. No?
When you're calling for the arrest of governors and like saying that the punishment for sedition is like a public hanging,
And when you're making up
response to
fake
a video-
charges with the DOJ to go after Letitia James and James Comey just because you're mad at them.
Okay, so he says hurtful things. Got it. Threat to the
No,
country.
he
Got it.
abuses
Big,
the
big
Department
reach
of
there, but
Justice to bring criminal
I
charges
understand
against
how
his
liberals
opponents.
work, so we'll let it
Wait,
slide. I
no,
understand how
no.
liberals
He
work,
He didn't
we'll let it
say.
slide.
He didn't say. No. He didn't say JB Pritzker. I don't like you. He said JB Pritzker. You should be in fucking jail. Do you think that's okay for the president to say?
But we're not talking about what's okay for a president. We're talking about what's a threat to the country.
Is it
and that
okay
is
for
a
him
threat
to?
to the
Is it
country.
okay for him to do that after he says it?
I don't think free speech is a threat to the
Is it
country. I
okay
think
for
it's
him
quite
to
literally.
act on it
Hold on,
after
hold
he
on.
says it?
I think your 2 points are very contradicting because
They're
your first
connected.
point said
Bro.
Please let me finish.
Please.
Their first point said
Sorry about that.
he undermines the Constitution.
I didn't mean to
and then
interrupt you, bro. My bad.
And then your second point said you don't want him speaking freely. So it's like you're kind of saying he undermines the Constitution,
did I
but
say
you
I
don't
don't
want
want
him to
him
have
speaking
free
freely?
speech. Yeah, but you don't want him to have free speech.
When did I say
but
that?
yet you get on him for undermining the
Is
Constitution.
there
So
a
it sounds
fourth
like
person here who said that?
that's like the
Am I
biggest
missing something?
contradiction in the world. That's the biggest contradiction in the world.
I never said that he can't have free speech. I don't know who you're talking to.
You
right
just
now.
said he can't call for like harm to political opponents, but that's
Call
quite literally
for
what
and
free
then
speech
act
is.
on.
I don't think he's killed any political opponents.
Has he tried to imprison them?
Has he got shot at himself?
Wait. To that point, wait. What happened to his vice president, Mike Pence? Why didn't he run with him again in 2024?
He didn't like the way he handled the 2020 election.
What happened to Mike?
Yeah, what did he not like about the handling?
You guys tell me, and then we'll just get straight to the point.
No. I think it's like really loud, right? It's like a bunch of people screaming almost in your ear. Just say it. You know what you want to say.
I have no idea.
What did they want to do to Mike Pence?
They wanted to hang him?
Yeah, so it looks like Donald Trump fucking tried. He failed, but he really tried.
What does Trump have to do with hanging Mike Pence? What did he say?
He called for them to go.
He said, go hang Mike Pence.
What was the tweet again, guys? What was the tweet again?
Mike Pence didn't have the courage to do the right thing for our country, which was tweeted after he was informed the Capitol grounds had been breached. So if Mike Pence is in the Capitol building and Trump now knows, hey man, people are breaking into the Capitol building, and the first thing he does is tweet talking shit at Mike Pence when he's in a building being invaded by his people, what do we think that is?
So you're kind of proving my point because nothing happened when he did that.
Oh, so attempting something bad means it didn't happen. As long as
I think
you fail.
No. Here's where you're misconstruing. I have faith and confidence in the United States of America. I don't think one man. I know that like hurts y'all to hear. That makes you cringe because like you don't. But I don't think one
that's
man.
just a damning non-answer.
I don't think one man. I don't think Joe Biden can take down the country. I don't think Donald Trump is a threat to the country.
They can't undermine the Constitution.
I think people like the three of us are fine, and as long as you guys keep bitching and crying on TikTok, then nothing will ever.
They can't undermine the Constitution?
You're like, what way, bro?
By violating people's constitutional rights?
In what way?
Arresting people for speech, violating the search and seizure clause of the Constitution, violating Articles 1 and 3 of the Constitution, defying court orders, defying congressional appropriations.
When did he arrest someone for speech?
Mahmoud Khalil?
You got to like explain things. Just stop saying 2 words at a time, buddy.
Okay, I didn't realize you don't know jack shit about what you're talking about. Mahmoud Khalil protested Israel, and he was arrested on that basis. And then a judge appointed by Ronald Reagan said, the Trump administration here is going after people based on their political beliefs. This is obviously protected by the First Amendment. Trump has to release this guy.
I feel like Akara was created from like an AI prompt that said, just make him a copycat liberal TikTok live streamer. And make him
This is what they always do.
Queen.
Make his number one life goal to be a
Give
best
us all
friend
of
of
it.
Dean
Say
Withers.
Hunter Biden laptop and whatever else you have to say. Give us the talking points.
Listen. Dean Withers. Dean Withers. Who even is
Here we
that
go.
guy? Who even is Dean Withers? Who is that guy?
Here we go. Yeah, dude, I don't know. There's no threat to the country, bro. You guys need to chill out.
Yeah,
dude.
because I gave you
Adam,
the
look at
threat
this
and you were
enormous
like,
example.
anyways, moving on from that.
Yeah, I just ignored that completely.
I'll have to look into the Khalil guy, but I feel like it'd be bigger news if it was just about speech. I feel like there's
It
probably
was
a little
massive
more to it.
news.
No, I never heard of that guy's name.
That might be a reflection of you rather than the severity of the news.
No, I'm pretty sure the news would be covering it still if that's actually what happened.
The news has
Is
I'm
there like
scared
a
of Trump
minimum
syndrome.
requirement? Like you have to cover this for at least 3 months or?
And I would say like I think the COVID restrictions that Joe Biden put in place were way more harmful to our country than like
What
than they would
Which
than an
COVID
arrest on it.
restrictions?
So yeah, sure, Trump
What
might not be
restrictions,
perfect.
sir?
Trump might not be perfect,
What
but I don't think
restrictions,
that's
sir?
a,
Answer
which-
my
which
question now.
restrictions?
how about private businesses not being able to open?
What was the restriction? Was that a law, an executive order?
There were plenty of state laws and
Oh,
Joe Biden's a governor?
on a state level. So Joe Biden mandated all federal employees to get a vaccine.
Oh, that's way different than what you just said, right?
Yeah, you just said private businesses, didn't you?
Yeah, you're right. It's worse. You're right. It's worse.
Oh, it's worse. Okay, so just like regulating
Why did you just
businesses
pivot
unilaterally
from
is
private
worse.
businesses to now federal employees?
Because you guys asked for a different example.
No, we asked for evidence
No.
of the same example.
You said,
that
"Oh, Joe Biden did that." What
You said
executive-
Biden cracked
you said-
down on private businesses because
Adam,
of
you
COVID. I
literally
asked you
said
for
what-
evidence.
Adam, you literally said what executive policy did Joe Biden pass? And I said, yeah, he required all
What
federal
executive
employees. And then
order
you said-
or law?
And then you said, pivot. Then you said pivot, but that's exactly what you just asked.
Slow down,
You
sir. Calm
said
down.
that Joe Biden implemented COVID laws that basically punished private businesses. I said, okay, what was the executive order or the law that did that? And you just shifted to federal employees. So yeah, pivot.
Yeah, so I would say blue states were the ones that were shutting down. What's it called? I say that's more of a threat, and then I would say mandating federal employees to get vaccines is a threat to our country.
More than
We should
violating the
never-
First Amendment.
Violating the First Amendment, but you just said you don't want him to be able to say
Because you
things
said
about
this
his
is a bigger
political
deal than
opponents.
what Trump did, right? You're saying, oh, Biden was actually worse or whatever. So I'm just trying to compare man being put in handcuffs for expressing his opinion, people who work for the government being told to be vaccinated when there's a pandemic happening. Those are on the same field for you?
Can we agree? Can we agree that both are terrible?
No.
No.
So you don't think mandating vaccines is bad?
For federal workers?
Yes.
No, I think an employer can tell their employees what they have to do. That's how like a job would work.
Yeah. See, this is the problem with liberals.
Shit, got me there. Fuck.
Got me, brother.
Damn. Don't you hate when maybe this guy's a fucking Marxist or something? Don't you hate when like the employers tell employees what to do? Ah, he left. Fuck.
Yeah, I left.
Man.
You will never make, hold on, you will never make money like Dean and Parker. I know you're trying very hard, Akara. That's right. I'll never make money like them. I'll make more, bitch. That's right.
Ooh.
That's right. Has Dean and Parker, have they accepted a check from the Big B? Exactly, liberal. They just got DNC money, motherfucker.
This guy is
Oh,
Big Ben
thank you
Yahoo
for
on
the
speed
radical
dial.
Galaxy. What the fuck are you doing? That's too many. That's two galaxies. What are you doing? Slow down. Slow down with the galaxies, please. Don't be doing all that, please.
Hey, Al, do you?
Yo, 28.
Do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen right now?
No, I just want to make a quick comment.
Go for it.
Do you think Democrats, hopefully, at least for the next presidential run, whoever they end up choosing, do you think that Democrats and myself as well, registered Democrat, we should embrace a little bit more of immigration enforcement? Not to the extreme, of course, of this.
We should
administration.
embrace the median American position, which is that if someone comes here undocumented and they commit a crime, punish them, get them out, put them in prison. And for the
Amen.
vast majority of everyone else who's just trying to live a life and work here, give them a pathway at least to some kind of work status, if not a green card or citizenship.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I
Banger position.
Yeah, and I guess we should, in a way, kind of like wear it as a badge of honor at the same time too, with like, you know how like Republicans tend to say like, well, you know, Obama deported more people. It's like, yeah, exactly.
And he actually deported the people that were more so criminals. And to the extent that he
Exactly.
did bad stuff, he actually faced pushback from the left, which Trump does not face any pushback from the right when he does stuff.
So we can use that as a leverage of like, yeah, exactly. Democrats are also good at
Amen.
Absolutely.
yeah, because I feel that of course there's going to be a lot of moderates, and hopefully through this first administration, people can see like, whoa, we were in favor of only the criminals. but
The
not just-
reality is that like 70 to 80% of Americans actually agree on immigration, which is the vast majority of undocumented people. If they're just trying to live a life, let them stay, let them work. If someone's a criminal, get them out. That's like broad-based consensus behind that. And then make it easier to come in legally.
Yeah, exactly.
Amen. Very high IQ.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, because I feel like sometimes like we can sometimes like and when I say we, usually the Democratic leadership tend to tap around the question of like no like they just don't really like to own up like, no, yeah, if you're here undocumented and you're still actively committing crimes, you will get deported. Like that's something that's relatively
We should lean in more to immigration and just say immigration is fucking sick. It's really fucking cool actually when other people come here and they bring their cultures, because then
Yes.
everyone loves multiculturalism. Even these fucking conservatives, bro, that they love multiculturalism. They love the music and the food and all this different stuff. It's what makes America so unique that people from all walks of life can come here and they can all be Americans.
But the usual Republican comeback is like, no. We want diversity too. We just also want it to be legal. That's usually the comeback. They'll tell you, like, no, of course.
Yeah, well, then you point to their track record and show that they've never actually tried
Yeah.
to make any changes to ensure legal immigration into America.
Yeah, exactly.
And that they
exactly.
punished people who, for example, this guy who needs to be talked about more, Luis Munoz Pinto, this man has no criminal record, no criminal accusations or charges. He came to a United States port of entry to lawfully seek asylum. When he got there to do his paperwork, DHS was like, hey man, you look fishy. And they sent him to a fucking slave labor camp. with no due process, and he was trying to follow the law. So next time they say, we just want them to follow the rules, well, one guy tried doing that. He ended up in a fucking almost a concentration camp of sorts. So,
Amen.
yeah.
Like, you think it's going to make much of a ripple effect to the midterms? The majority of will not.
Oh, I think if we have free and fair elections, we're winning the House and the Senate.
Base!
The question
Yes!
is, the question isn't how well do we do. It's just, does Trump interfere with the elections? That's the question.
There's another question. Is James Talarico going to win the Democratic primary in Texas?
He's going to win the general election in Texas. Okay.
Amen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very scary. I mean, obviously, I think kind of set off the alarms, at least for me. Tulsi was, of course, spotted in Georgia. I'm very curious to at least hear or see, is the warrant public knowledge of the judge that signed off on it?
There's some very fishy stuff happening there. So they actually moved aside the Atlanta U.S. attorney, and they brought in some random guy from Missouri who Pam Bondi appointed as like a special prosecutor here for some reason, and then he obtained a warrant from a judge. But the issue is there are over 60 cases as of last November of the Trump administration straight up lying to courts. So it's very possible they just lied about the probable cause for the warrant. And now they've completely broken the chain of custody on Georgia ballots. And Trump was saying in an interview, Tulsi Gabbard's going to tell us who really won Georgia in 2020, kind of admitting they're just going to say in a month or two, turns out Trump won Georgia. We have to declare a state of emergency.
But like, how would we see that like they're not going to overturn it? Like I think it's just more for like
It's going to be used for future justification to seize voting machines or have National Guard posted up at election points or to prevent people from being sworn in after they're elected. There's a whole host of ways in which they can interfere with elections, right? Beforehand, they can intimidate people by having ICE agents and guardsmen at polling places. During the election, they can have ICE go in and just start snatching up brown people and only release them after polls close, even if they're citizens. And then if all else fails and Democrats still win a big majority, then Mike Johnston and John Thune can just say, hey, we're not going to swear you in, actually.
Isn't Steve Bannon already talking about the ICE at polling places?
Yeah, he's been talking about that for months. Yeah.
Yeah.
this will like also like involve like at least some sort of coordination from the Secretary of State or whatever state they
Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, DNI, and the plans are all online. There's an executive order that Trump drafted at the end of his first term, which literally lays out that they're going to send in the National Guard to all these states. The National Guard are going to seize the voting machines, bring them back to D.C., and then Trump's going to tell us who really won.
That's yeah. I feel hopefully throughout all this and whatever much more comes out of the news, and if they do make some very aggressive claim of whatever BS thing that they end up with or claim to find in Georgia, I hope it doesn't deter the Democratic Party to go out there. And I know you can kind of already feel it in the air of like, well, I don't even feel like going out. Like, you're just going to rig it against us.
No, we have to turn out, as they always say, make it too big to rig. We have to turn out in droves. And if elections are closer, it's a lot easier to meddle with a 49-51 election, a lot harder to meddle with like a 65-35 election.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and if you ever feel unsafe, just give me a call and I'll be there, okay?
Appreciate it.
This is true.
I'll be at whoever. Well, listen, if you need me at a bowling place, guys, I will be there.
He'll be at
okay?
every polling place on election day.
Amen. Amen.
Taking on the Ice Ages with his Second Amendment rights.
I'm being dead ass. Oh, fuck. I was already registered for 2024. I'm probably going to work at a polling place. Like, that shit's a banger idea.
Bro, you're going to jail. Bro, that's a beautiful. This guy, AJ Okra, fucking radical left advocate, happens to be working counting votes. Isn't that suspicious? And they're going to find all the clips of you saying that you want Merrick Garland and fucking Jack Smith to be emperors of the world. You're cooked.
That's fucking true. Well, I don't think people clip my streams like that, low-key.
Someone here should do it. We need the probable cause. Actually, if you said it on my live, that's all on YouTube.
Fuck it up. Fuck.
You're cooked.
They only have one, and it was, quite frankly, it was a fraud. It was such a big fraud.
No, wait, but you said peacefully and patriotically at some point, right?
That's true.
You're
Stand
chilling.
back and stand by.
You're chilling.
Merrick Garland, Jack Smith, stand back and stand by.
As long
please.
as you at some point said peacefully and patriotically, you're immune from criminal prosecution for anything you said afterwards. So
That's very true.
Yeah.
And there's like an hour separating these two things. That's so true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's over.
It doesn't matter if it's an hour, a month, a year. They didn't actually put any limiting principle on that. So as long as you at some point in your life
long as
have
I said
said
it.
follow the law, then everything else is fine.
Amen. Hopefully people wake up this time, bro. If they don't, man, I'm gonna get real mad. You guys, you guys don't want to see me when I'm angry, okay? I'm gonna cry on
He's
stream.
gonna have to take matters into his own hands if something goes wrong.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pop the Vance guys in the morning, and then we're gonna have to head out, okay?
You know, we have to do if they do interfere with the elections, it's going to be time for blue states to say, you know what? If you're not going to abide by the Constitution, then bye-bye. We're not part of the United States anymore.
Yes. No, I mean, again, like that it'll just be over.
Yeah, the
here's
states
the
will
thing.
lose that war, which kind of sucks. But
No, they will lose. But JC was like, oh, well, why aren't they just denying these? If Donald Trump defied the Supreme Court's ruling with regards to the National Guard, for example, that shit would have been over. Like, that's so significant that the country collapses. So obviously he's not going to defy an order like that.
they're just going to
prior
keep the courts out of it.
Exactly. Prior to like fully entrenching himself in power indefinitely, why would he ever defy an order like that? It makes no sense.
I'm calling it right now. Someone clip this. The way they're going to keep the courts from touching their election meddling is they're going to say this is a matter of national security and foreign policy, and the courts cannot impede on the president's ability to enact national
Amen.
security policies. So now they're going to use Article 2, as they already use as justification for full criminal immunity. It's also going to be used to interfere with elections. And it might work, actually. SCOTUS will probably say, yeah, this is immune from judicial review.
Jesus fuck.
They fucked over Al Gore in 2000, right? When some people say he may have actually won Florida. We don't know yet. We don't know for sure. But it's not like they're... and now we have even more crazy people in the courts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if... here's the thing. Trump is so butthurt about 2020 still. You can tell it bothers him so fucking much. The idea that now it's been... By the time this happens, it'll have been over 5 years or 6 years since the last attempted coup. As if these people haven't had years to plan, okay, here's what went wrong last time. Here's all the choke points where we were stopped on the state level, the federal level. Now they've had over a year to plan and like eliminate all those obstacles. I'm very hard pressed to think they're not going to succeed this time.
It's just a logical conclusion to everything that's been going on.
Our saving grace is that Trump is just so uniquely stupid and incompetent that
And he's way older.
even if he's had a fucking lead and he's had all this time to plan, there's going to be some issue with coordination or some issue with putting up a united front and he backs off. But like what happened in Minnesota. But if there's anything they're going to go all the way on, it's going to be this.
That's so true. Like, if there was any time for him to fucking destroy America, it would have been in 2021. But I mean, bro, he's what would a speech look like before J6? Like, oh, sorry. Well, yeah. When did they? For the midterms, when's the inauguration for all these people, or where do they get sworn in?
Is it in January as well for midterms? I don't know. Maybe it's December.
I feel like it's quicker.
I have no. It might be December.
Okay,
I
well,
don't know.
he's gonna be like outside of the Capitol. He's gonna be like, "This is such a rigged election, but inflation is way down," and he's gonna say dumb shit. We were hard on the water. We were very hard on the water.
His entire plan in 2020 is he wanted his national security people and his DOJ people to send letters to state governments saying like, hey man, we're the DOJ. We did some investigating. Turns out like the ghost of Hugo Chavez has possessed all the voting machines. The issue is Pam Bondi will say that. Kristi Noem will say that. Kash Patel will say that. Tulsi Gabbard will say that. So
And that's a huge point. Like, well, I don't know if he's managed to get his little grubby hands on the military leadership, but
that's the real end game here. Is my honest prediction of like the not the worst case scenario, but like the most likely worst case scenario is that if Trump tries to do all of this, I feel like the military is going to split into like a pro-Trump faction and an anti-Trump faction.
Yeah.
Which is that's fun, yeah.
because like agency heads, like defense people with a lot of influence, played a huge role in deploying the National Guard on J6, and I mean with a lot of the plans, like the
XF
executive order that went
especially,
unsigned. Yeah, the fucking executive order that went unsigned. Like, a lot of these things happened only because Donald Trump didn't have sycophants in his cabinet, and now all of that's changed. Like, all of them are fucking loyalists.
And it's
every single
crazy
one.
because these positions are just people just assume there's this presumption of like good faith and like people, even if they're self-interested, they're not going to maliciously lie to break the law. The issue is like under reasonable circumstances, if a DNI or a DOJ told me, hey man, we have actual evidence that like a foreign country hacked our voting machines, first of all, they'd probably release evidence and third parties would verify it, but I'd be more inclined to believe them. But the issue here is courts might still be inclined to believe this. Congress might give them some deference here, especially if it's a red Congress. And it's like, if Tulsi Gabbard just comes out and says, hey guys, I checked the voting machines, turns out Republicans won everything. How do I know? It's classified. I can't tell you. What the fuck are we supposed to do then?
The classified information was a phone call with fucking Vladimir Putin and Tenet Media.
Yeah,
she's
having conversation with someone.
I wonder what that fucking report
The
says.
whistleblower report, yeah. And I don't know if you saw the Puerto Rico thing. So it's not only the Fulton County, Georgia thing. They went and fucking investigated voting machines in Puerto Rico a few months ago.
What the fuck?
So they're doing
They're
it in
arming
front
it
of
up.
our
They
eyes.
have a plan. They have a fucking plan.
Yep. And the thing is, they expect everyone to think that, as usual, they're not going to plan in advance. This is the one area where if they plan for anything, it's fucking losing an election because they've been through that before.
Yeah. They got a lot of experience. Fuck, Oh, well, fuck. His whole cabinet's just a bunch of fucking losers. Holy Marco Rubio.
The fact that Rubio is quote unquote like the best of the cabinet just shows us how cooked we are because Rubio fucking sucks.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great guy. Let's think about his policy, guys. He fucking invaded Venezuela. Wow. Incredible. That's my president. I don't know about you guys.
Super based when he said that Donald Trump is like a swindler and a con man who would destroy our country if he ever became president. Where's that guy?
Their debate was fire too. Fucking hell.
He said, my hands, if they're small, something else must be small. I assure you there's no problem. How the fuck did this guy even win the primary, bro?
Jesus Christ, man. I just want to drive my truck, drink my beer, catch my fish. Why can't we have a normal fucking America, dude?
Can't we just have an America where everyone kisses their fish and watches Kid Rock and then we can just live happily ever after?
Exactly.
Man.
Fucking hell. Trump was really disappointed with both halftime shows, man.
The TPUSA one was like, did you see even Nick Fuentes was like, if this is what the right has to offer, I'm switching teams.
Bro, it's like, how the fuck did they let the Kiss My Fish guy sing that stupid ass song? Every single time Democrats make fun of Southerners, it's for like driving big ass trucks and hunting and shit. Bro, that guy literally sung a song saying, I just want to cut my grass.
Bad Bunny's performance was not, it was extremely unifying. That was not a politically partisan message at all. He said, God bless America. Like, I love everyone. Let's all like love each other and be friends. How the fuck is that like political attacks? These people are such snowflakes.
His song that he made Ricky Martin sing, that one got swept under the rug because he's fucking singing in Spanish, but that shit's fire.
I will say, if Tom McDonald was performing with Ben Shapiro on the TPUSA halftime event, I unironically would have watched that one.
I would have watched the fuck out of that shit, bro. Devil is a Democrat live would be fucking fire, bro.
Yeah. We need to hear Ben Shapiro's verse on Facts.
Oh, God.
Or maybe his cover of WAP. That was a banger.
He needs to go back. Jesus, bro. Fucking hell. If they find out what Ricky Martin sung, oh, it's fucking over.
It's cooked.
Well, Ricky
now
Martin
that I
sung
think
it,
about it, the
stupid?
right has better people. They have Nicki Minaj. They have Lil Pump. They have fucking...
Oh, yeah, a little better people, bro. Oh, yeah, they do.
I think they have Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. They could have done something good.
It could have been fucking amazing.
If they had
but
Wayne
Lord
and
knows.
Nicki Minaj, I'd be like, you know what? Fucking fair enough. I'll watch that shit too. Who the fuck is Kid Rock, bro? I don't know a single Kid Rock song. If someone put a gun to my head right now and said you and everyone you love is gonna be destroyed unless you name a Kid Rock song, I'm done. I'm gone.
The fucking bop, beat it up bop song, dude. That's just like main fucking banger. What the fuck? The title's so stupid. My name is Kid, bro. Donnie was like, "Where are the children? What is he talking about? These Kids Rock? Is that like Kids Pop? That's so great.
That's why he was
That's
interested.
amazing, bro. For real." And then he turned that shit off.
Where are the kids? I was promised kids.
He got intel that Bad Bunny was gonna have a child in his. I'm sorry. That should have been Liam Ramos, bro. That would have been a fucking banger.
Man,
that's so stupid.
So
Imagine.
Today's debates have been especially just.
Might have been
wow.
fucking terrible. Holy crap.
What the fuck is happening in this country, bro? This is the one thing where it's like, okay, let's say we have free and fair elections, which, by the way, is still fully possible. Everyone should turn out and vote. I'm not saying it's guaranteed that this happens, but if it does happen, the only way we can overcome it is if every single fucking person votes for Democrats straight down the ticket, no matter fucking what, unless you're in a place where there's like an independent versus Republican, no Democrat. But that's how we have to win. And the issue there, though, is like, let's say we win the House and the Senate. Let's say we win in 2028. The people that we just debated still exist in society. They're still out there. And now fucking AI is getting more prevalent. I don't know how we address those issues, bro. That just seems like we're cooked.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just gonna get kirked. Like, we win, we're gonna do our victory tour, and then we're gonna go to like Utah Valley University. It's gonna be fucking fraud. I've accepted it now. That's why I keep on making the fucking jokes, but it's over. It's fucking over. We're gonna get fried.
No,
we
only
are
ever
gonna
do
get
indoor
kirked, guys.
events.
That's true. That's true. God damn it, man. The day I get recognized in public is fucking over. I feel like I made so many enemies with this shit. I'm so fucking mean to these people, man.
You could also get recognized by someone that doesn't hate you.
Well, fuck it up. That'd be absolutely great. That'd be
The
so
little
good.
moment of bro, I was on the plane once. This is the only time I've been recognized. Someone's like, "Hey, are you Adam Khan?" And for half a second, I'm like, "Am I about to fucking die?" Thankfully, it was a guy who liked my stuff, but I was like, "Holy fuck, bro! What am I gonna? I'm on an airplane right now. Like, is this guy about to fucking open up his vest and?"
Oh my god, that would have been fucking tragic, dude.
It would have.
Who would you have given the rights to your account to?
That's a great question, man. I would have asked them to create like an AI version of me to keep doing this. Train it
Amen.
on my YouTube.
Hey man, hologram.
Hell yeah.
We would they would have made 10 million cons that day.
Literally, they just created a million Adam Khans, and it's all AI.
That's so true, quite frankly. So true. Jesus Christ, man. Fuck. What's the point of going to school, guys? What's the point of doing anything, bro? Fucking hell, a day off fancy is the
This
worst
is such
thing
a
that's
good
ever happened to me.
excuse for not submitting your homework. Excuse
I'm
me,
saying-
teacher. There's a fascist takeover happening right now.
Bro,
I can't do my work.
Listen. And I think I'm fucking crazy. I have no motivation to think about anything but politics at the
That's
current
valid. Everything else seems so like trivial in relation
Exactly. Like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, I have a political and economics, political science and econ degree. When they show up to my door because they see my content and they get fucking mad after the fascist takeover. Like, bro, what the fuck?
to it. There might be
Stupid.
National Guard at our polling places, but at least I submitted my essay on time.
Exactly. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Tomorrow we have a freaking accounting exam, yo. It's gonna be tragic. But quite frankly, listen, we're gonna wake up early. We're gonna pop events. That's what they call
It's
it.
going to be Trump's business records. You have
The
to account
radical
properly.
van. Fuck, that's gonna be tragic.
Don't mark it down as a
Debit SQL
retainer.
credits. Debit SQL credit. Do you remember any accounting shit?
I hated that shit so much.
It's fucking ass,
It's
bro.
so
It's so
annoying.
it's just like it's like putting it's a more complex version of putting like shapes in the right fucking hole.
Are they making you go through like the whole thing with Excel and all these formulas of like fixed cost and variable
No, I
cost
think it's gonna
and
be on paper. I
calculating
think it's gonna be
gross
on
and
paper.
huh?
That's probably later on in the
Okay.
course.
That's the
This
part
is
where you're
like
really
this
going to
early
want to
shit.
just kirk yourself.
Fucking hell, man. I'm gonna send them an email. Man, my attendance has been absolutely terrible this semester because fucking I just want to kiss my bitch.
If Trump
Grab
can
my
defy the
throat.
courts, why can't you defy your professor? What the fuck is this?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
thought we had rights in this country.
Exactly. That's so fucking true. Holding me to a higher standard than the fucking president is ridiculous.
And just say we might have to tell the professor fuck you, and then you have some plausible deniability.
Oh, when I go through like the internal fucking judgment, Jesus
Or
Christ.
just submit your final in a couple of years. Be like, I complied eventually. You got the assignment. What's the issue?
Do all the work at the end of the semester.
Hell yeah.
I got to it at some point. They said I have to facilitate the completion of all these assignments. They didn't say when.
Didn't say you have to effectuate, just facilitate. So
Exactly.
that just means you
exactly.
have to be
Fuck
logged
it
into
up.
turnitin.com. You don't have to actually attach any files.
So fucking holy shit, bro. I've never thought about this legal fucking
You have to do it.
academic theory. I might just have to. Fucking hell, brother. Listen, y'all, I want y'all in honor of me to order Chipotle steak quesadilla, everybody.
No, Qdoba's better.
With fajita veg. What the fuck is that?
You don't know what Qdoba is?
Is that a central thing? It don't sound like a central thing to me.
I feel like it's a national. It's like a Chipotle's biggest competitor. It's basically the same thing, but it's better.
What is it called?
Qdoba. They have shrimp. Does
Qdoba?
Chipotle have
Like-
shrimp? I don't think so.
Like Q,
QD.
like
B-O-
no, like
OBA.
Q, like QAnon. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's the offshoot of QAnon.
Hey man, that's so true. It doesn't
Qdoba is
sound
one of the
American.
smaller militia groups. It's like an offshoot of QAnon.
Mexican eats. Ew, man.
You don't like Mexicans or eats? Which one?
The first one, I'm joking. Quesadillas and nachos, but these are probably unhealthy
They
as
have
frick,
spicy
guys.
queso. They have citrus lime shrimp. It's so fucking good. And also, they don't skimp on your fucking portions like Chipotle, where you have to fucking excavate through all the dry rice to find one piece of chicken.
That's why you ordered double, bro. What the
Yeah,
fuck is going on with your...
let me just take
You
out a
don't do that.
mortgage. Let me just take out a mortgage to get some double meat in my Chipotle bowl. That'll be $45.
But no, you don't do the thing. Like you give them the little smirk and you like nod your head and they put a little bit more on your plate. You know what I'm talking about?
I just say, hey man, can I have double chicken? And they always fuck me over.
A Sofrito bowl, bro. Get the that's so woke. Holy
I've
shit.
never tried. Yeah, honestly, that's
Vegan.
why the left has lost the middle, is because of fucking
Exactly.
Sofritas. What the fuck
What
is
the
that?
fuck is that, bro? That's a fucking Jewish
The
concoction.
way the left starts winning people back is get rid of Sofritas, bring some shrimp into the equation.
Exactly, bro. Shrimp is good as fuck. Pause. Donald Trump's shrimp is amazing, everybody.
Stormy Daniels had other things to say about it, but
Jesus
each
Christ.
their own.
Well, it doesn't matter what she says, okay? Because that's just that's one person. She could just be lying about the president, guys.
So true.
Lord knows everybody likes
Yeah,
to do
we
that.
should look at the Epstein files to find out other accounts of it.
Amen. What's this about him being fucking vindicated? I had so many people on my
Bro,
stream saying that he was.
It actually makes him look a million times worse. It's so fucking funny. So, you know how there are these, like, I think they're called, like, FBI 302 interviews, and it's, like, all these
Yeah.
little tips they've gotten? So one of these tips, which, by the way, all the ones that accuse Trump of wrongdoing, they say are fake. Apparently this one is real to them, which is convenient how that works. A police officer said that after they announced the investigation into Trump, and this was all public, Trump called the police in like Miami Beach, and he said, "Thank God you're doing this. Epstein and Maxwell are evil, and everyone has known they've been doing this." And the question is, why are you now
What?
admitting that you had knowledge of their trafficking only after the investigation is publicly out there? All this proves is that Trump fucking knew the whole time and only came out once it became expedient publicly.
I knew you guys were gonna do this. Thank you so much, guys. That's actually so fucking smart of you guys, dude. Has anyone seen that meme where they catch like the fucking guy talking to a radically young individual at Walmart, and he's like, "Oh, I knew you guys were gonna do this.
EDP?
I know what this is." No, it was some little. I'm not gonna
Didn't he
describe
get,
him.
you know, you watch EDP Watch ever? They need to get Gideon on the Epstein files, bro. He'd solve that shit in a day.
Shit, for real. What the fuck ever happened? Didn't he go like super religious?
He does like pred
Is he-
catching videos now, pretty much.
Oh, based. Okay.
Although he's
I
one of
thought he
the
was
ones
gonna
that
be on-
actually gets them prosecutors and just beat them up and go home.
Based. No, you guys got to feel for those prads. Am I right, guys? I'm joking.
I do not endorse this message.
Bro, Adam Kahn told me in private that he feels so bad for them guys. That's the only DM he's ever sent me.
The
Just out of
only
nowhere.
DM I've ever sent you. Hey man, what's up? Just wanted to let you
Out
know.
of nowhere.
I know you don't know who
Out of
I am.
nowhere.
Like, let me just introduce myself.
Do you guys want, bro? I've never seen heated rivalry in my entire life, except for that one time when I was in Spain. I saw it the entire week. I saw every single
Oh
episode.
my! Who the fuck is this, bro? In my chat, that
I
is
did.
not
So you guys
me.
see what I'm saying?
That is not me, bro.
I just see that, bro. He's always in the fucking chat.
Bro, whoever this is, the thing they sent to Dan, I think you were there, where they said like, "Come debate me on whether slavery should have been abolished," and Dan thought that shit was real. This person's causing problems for me.
Bro, fucking hell, that picture he has of me, like a group photo with all my guys, bro.
That's
I don't know, I
real.
fucking found
That's
out.
real.
That's it's not
That's
real.
fucking real, bro. That was literally the first page
It's
of the
real.
Epstein files they released.
That's real. If fuck, I don't know if he comes out. He might have cropped the picture because Andrew Tate's at the on the very right side, and then Nick's on the very left. That
Andrew
picture.
Tate, that's the guy who got his ass beat by Chase Demore.
I mean, he tried to be great. He dared to be great. He fought the
He
champion,
said
the best
that
of the best.
the reason he lost is because God didn't want him to have good cardio. Typical. You know, when you train,
was
you're
so-
super skilled, but then God's like, nah, man.
I was so disappointed with that fucking. I wanted him to win so he could fight like
Bro,
a huge name.
He's so ass.
He's dog
He
shit.
doesn't even know how to throw a fucking jab properly. How the fuck was this man a champion of anything?
A champion in fucking, I don't know, like Bundesliga, random dog shit,
The
irrelevant.
fact that
kickboxing
Andrew Tate
organization.
versus Jake Paul was ever a conversation, or like Andrew Tate versus KSI was ever a conversation, is in hindsight fucking
Would've been so
hilarious.
fire.
We've
I
been
wanted to
knocked out in
see
the
that
first
shit.
round by both of them.
Yeah, flatlined, which is why I would have liked to see it.
True.
I just love how he refers to Chase Damore like fucking as if Kamaru Usman moved up to fight Adesanya or some shit. Like it's so fucking. It's like you fought Alex Pereira or Francis Ngannou. It makes
When he
no sense.
specifically picked Chase Damore as an easy fight. That's why
Yeah.
he picked him.
And he got fucking whooped.
He's a
That's
fucking
so
star off
stupid.
of Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. Acting like he's a fucking world champion.
Jesus Christ, man. Would you move to Europe if things go haywire in America? Honestly, listen. I listen. I will pick jail over having to eat European food another time ever again. I shit you not.
Same thing with Canada. Not their food, but if you go to Canada, I mean, maybe this is fucking anti-woke of me. Every fucking restaurant, they give you a wooden fork and a paper straw, and I have fucking particles dissolving into my mouth as I'm eating. I'd rather go to jail as a political prisoner than use a fucking wooden
I'm being
fork.
so serious. Is it Europe? What do you mean Europe? Spain is in Europe. Liberal, is it not?
It is, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. I was at the UK. I get what they're saying now. It was so diverse. Holy crap.
Bro, the UK, they have a poppin', they have the beans on potatoes. Have you seen those food trucks? Where they
Yes,
have a
bro, the
fucking
Spud
potato
Bros.
and they're like, oh, we're going to
The
give you
Spud
some
Bros.
fucking black beans, kidney beans, and some fucking pig blood. Enjoy.
I force feed plastic utensils into the throat. Bro. Oh, screenshot that shit right now, chat.
I only
England,
did
I'd
it to the
rather die.
clownfish. I would never do that to a turtle. Fucking
Jesus
liar.
Christ.
Wow.
At my Tia's house, there was a turtle, and I was so nice to it, guys, and then it disappeared. So there you go, guys. There you go. The cartel probably got that shit.
Man. At this point, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Don't be scared. Come on, bro.
No.
I make unhinged jokes all the time.
Yeah,
One day it's
you're
gonna
going,
fucking-
to
yes,
fucking
come on,
jail. As soon as they steal that election and NSPM 7 goes into effect, bro, you're at the front of the line.
Fuck it all.
Maybe
yeah,
playing
it's
My
so-
Lives, the fucking Ben Shapiro WAP breakdown in court. Mr. Okra, when you said you voted for Biden 10,000 times and you do it again, what does that mean?
Well, here's the thing. What is it? What do you mean? Wait, no, I have a bet. What do you mean by vote? What do you mean by Biden? What do you mean by 10,000?
Oh, the Jordan Peterson skills, yeah.
What do you mean by? Well, first you have to understand the question. Where even are we right now? What do you mean by
you?
court? What do you mean me? What do you mean by God? Who do you believe in
What
God?
do
How
I
can you
mean
ask-
what? There's so many questions here.
There's always tons of questions. Bro, I loved it when what's his name? What is his name? Phil, bro? Something like that?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. Danny.
Bro,
right?
we're literally following each other, fucking mutuals on this shit.
Yeah.
Bro, when he shit on
Peterson?
him and he said you're nothing. Oh my god, that was such a banger.
That was really good.
What do you mean
Peterson
by
thought he
me?
was eating. Oh, you're really quite something, aren't you? Okay, bro.
And you're really quite
fucking
nothing.
nothing.
I'm done with this actually. Is that what caused this
Bro
like downward
dismissed him
health
like he
spiral?
was a fucking emperor. I'm done with this one. Send him off. That's how this fucking works, bro.
I didn't even know you had the ability to do that.
They don't. You have to get voted out. Bro just rage quit and they said, okay, fine.
You know? Hey, he who saves his country violates no law.
Jacob, you want to debate? Is that what you want?
He's a liberal.
Is he a liberal?
He's a liberal. He's a radical left lunatic.
Are you a radical left lunatic?
Quite frankly.
I don't know. I'm kind of a radical left lunatic.
Base.
No, but I am not. I don't think I'm not opposition.
Okay.
But I'm a mutual with Akara, so just
Are
figured
you
it
a
would come up.
Marxist Leninist?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, no, you're a disgusting
Far right.
liberal, but get off. Yeah, get off the screen.
Wow.
I've actually read Lenin and Marx, so unlike a lot of Marxist Leninists.
Democrats can only win if they run on Leninism, obviously.
Oh God.
When's the party going to learn that simple lesson?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm at the point where I'm just thinking we put all the candidates in a boxing ring and just whoever leaves conscience is the president. That's where I'm at.
We should unironically do that for political creators, like a whole card of left versus
Dude,
right.
wait, that's such a good idea.
And do
That'd
it all
be
for
such a good
charity or
idea.
some shit. It'd be a banger.
Jubilee could host it.
They
You
could.
just get like
They
a
could.
bunch, like
Bro,
Jubilee
you have
people.
your fucking connects, liberal. You better exercise that social
You're
capital,
right.
bro.
You're right. Main card is fucking. I've been saying this, bro. Steven Crowder versus Hassan Piker is a banger.
Oh, Hassan would
That is a
Hassan
fucking
would crush
banger.
it.
Probably.
Hassan would crush it so
Probably, yeah.
much. Oh my.
I
I
hope.
know.
I fucking hope so.
Listen. We've seen Steven Crowder. He's fought once with his wife. I'm joking.
Destiny
Sorry.
versus Nick Fuentes, another banger.
That's
fight.
a banger. I don't know. I feel like
Ooh.
Destiny probably lose that shit.
I
I
don't
feel like Nick
see
Fuentes is
Destiny
kinda
as a
soft.
fighter.
That's
I
true.
think, I think they're both kind of soft, honestly,
True.
from what I've
It's a
seen.
battle of the softness. Yeah.
But
Who the hell's
yeah.
Ray?
Who else? Dana Withers versus Ray J.
Ray.
I don't know if there's anybody I'd like to fight, it's Ben Shapiro or Jordan Peterson. Those
Oh
are the
my
two ones that
God.
I.
Can
I'd
we
love
all
to.
just fight Ben Shapiro on that card?
Surrounded
Ben Shapiro versus everyone.
I would just be in the corner.
It's
And I would,
20v1.
it will- no,
Surrounded
it
in
would just-
boxing.
everybody just beating on Ben Shapiro, and I said hypothetically,
One person in each
if-
corner of the ring and Shapiro in the middle.
Exactly.
Banger. No ref.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean that should be a thing. There's so many people on this app who are just way too unqualified to be talking about politics. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the amount of times where I've gone into one of these lives, because I host my own lives, but the amount of times that I've gone and seen people like who are hosting lives who don't even know what the Constitution is wild. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. I feel like that needs to be a baseline to have any sort of like political.
Yeah. What do we think about our current democracy, guys? Should we make some changes?
I mean, I wouldn't even call it a democracy.
Yeah. There's no such thing. And the worst thing is the people that know the Constitution and just actively do not give a fuck about it. They're like, nah, Trump's better than the
Yeah.
Constitution. Those are the
Destiny
honest
to do
ones.
a round 2 on Jubilee.
Bro, round 1 was a hard watch. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't understand what anyone was saying in the Destiny video.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
Honestly, one of the best ones they've done thus far is the Luke Beasley one. That one was really funny.
I thought my favorite was fucking Mehdi Hassan. He did a fucking incredible
He
job.
did
shitting
too,
on
but
the
those people
Clippers.
were fucking unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him that like debating fascists is kind of like a lost cause. So that's something I really liked about that episode. I'm probably going to be going on Jubilee within the next few months.
Based.
Yeah, I'm on like their like they have like a list of people that they
For the
get for
casting emails,
casting.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping I get on it, but at the same time, like it is kind of concerning that I'm like, because Jubilee I do feel is a little bit contributing to the problems that we have like with debate to
True.
an extent. But I feel like it's a necessary evil
I
to get
agree,
my
yeah.
platform larger, and yeah,
It's kind of like fast food politics, but the thing is, if only the right is competing in those spaces, and they have like a monopoly on that messaging. At least if we can send left-wing people to those spaces, because a lot of people's only interaction with politics is low-key Jubilee videos. So that's like a very big platform to get some new eyes for sure.
Yeah, I am pretty upset because about 3 months ago they opened casting for a pro-Palestinian people versus
yeah.
pro-Israel people, and I applied for that because I'm Jewish and anti-Israel. So yeah, so
I
like,
applied for that one as well. I'm accused to be Jewish and I love Israel.
what?
I'm joking.
Accused to be Jewish?
All people accuse me of being Jewish all the time.
That seriously? Oh, it's the hair. It's the hair, 100%.
He knows everything.
I don't know. I feel like if you look at my profile picture, I completely fit what people think Judaism looks like.
Hey, did they not give you the spot? I haven't even seen. Did they release that video? I never saw it.
I have no clue. They never got back to me. So because I was pretty late, like it was already filmed on the 27th, and I applied at the beginning of January. So I was like really late to the announcement.
If either of y'all apply for another one, let me know, and I can put in a good word with the casting director if you guys want.
Base.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow me, I can like
Sure.
DM you and stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, that would be absolutely incredible.
I got you.
Like dude, that would be insane.
All right, we need to get all the
But
liberals possible on Jubilee.
do you
Blood
do
and
you really
zone.
think that there is like a what's it called? I forget what it's called. A monopoly on like of right-leaning people on Jubilee? Do you feel that they have like an overrepresentation?
It's not just
on there?
Jubilee. A lot of like
Social media in
fast
general.
food, simplified like pop culture politics. The left like looks down and scoffs at it, not for bad reason, but if we don't engage with it, then only the right does. And then people who have like
Right.
mainstream like normie beliefs, who only watch clips of Jubilee, they never really see the other side represented anywhere. That's my issue with it.
Yeah,
I
well, I
agree.
also
I
feel
agree
like
with you.
sorry, it's just an add-on to the messaging problem that the left has, honestly.
Yeah, more broadly speaking. Speaking of messaging, I don't know if you guys saw, Jon Stewart is now like not ruling out that he's running for president, which is interesting.
I know, I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
If that guy's the first Jewish president, I'm literally gonna I can't, I'm speechless. If he runs, I'm gonna be so happy. Oh my god.
I think he'd win.
I don't even care if he wins. I just want him to like be out there a little bit more.
He would for sure
Wait,
bet
I
the
just
house
wanna
on
be
the,
sure
winning the
I know.
primary.
I want to be sure I know who the fuck we're talking. Jon Stewart's the guy who runs that
Daily
late
Show.
night talk show, right?
Yeah.
Daily Show, yeah.
Yeah, what year?
Holy shit.
Make Jubilee boring. That's probably what I would do. I would just bring up too many sources and it would just be like a really boring
And,
section.
You have to prepare the ad homs so you're ready to go when you get there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Honestly, I don't think I'd prepare for that shit.
I mean, it's not like the right wingers prepare for shit, so you might as well not.
it's
Yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah,
Bro,
Jon
clips
Stewart
of people just saying the most unhinged shit, like
Yeah.
if Jon Stewart runs, I am campaigning the fuck for him. And I really if he does run as a Democrat, like on a Democratic ticket, which might be likely, I could see him running. Yeah, so essentially Loud Liberal, he had a thing with Andy Bashir last night, and him and Andy Bashir was like pushing at him like you should run, and he was very visually not ruling it out at
He
all.
kept dodging the question and trying to change the subject.
Yeah.
It was really obvious, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's sing this.
Gavin
Stuart
Newsom
Bashir
ass fucking
ticket.
tactics, bro.
If it was a Stuart Bashir ticket, dude.
Stewart would run away with it just because any media figure is going to be seen as like so much more. They're going to resonate so much more with the average person than like anyone with a background in politics. He's going to have like the Trump effect in that way.
Yeah, that's
He's gonna be
cute.
the left leaning Trump.
That's cute and all, but I'm still on Joe Biden, guys. I think he's capable and able.
Unironically, bro, I don't know what Hunter Biden thinks about Gaza and all that stuff, but imagine if Hunter Biden ran. That'd be so
I think
the
so in a heartbeat.
meltdown they would have on the right would be beautiful.
I think he should just do it
Just for the fuck of
without
it.
actually having any expectation of.
But then
fucking
what if
win.
he
Just
actually just
run.
ends up winning? He runs as a meme.
Yeah,
and he's a
see
nominee.
that's the problem. That's the scary part. If he ends up winning,
Fucking hell. Well, that'd be a banger. That'd be a dream come true.
That'd be in the history books. Biden wins, and then Trump wins, and then Biden's son comes back and takes it all. Imagine that
Incredible.
Oval
Trump
Office
Jr.?
meeting where Trump is helping him with the transition.
well, they're both criminals, so that's at least something they'll have in common.
True.
Excuse me?
And they'll both have been pardoned by then.
Amen.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Do we think that Trump, when he gets out of office, is going to be pardoned by whoever, like, by, I don't know. I'm just curious about.
I think
do you think we're
first
gonna
he'll
have, like,
try to pardon himself, and I think the
Yeah.
court hasn't yet figured out whether or not that's allowed. I think it probably is allowed, but if it's not, then yeah, next guy will just do it for him.
my hope is that whoever we get in the next few years is a moderate leftist, somebody who's willing to put in a lot of reforms instead of like bringing us back to the status quo.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that we get a lot of change
Yeah.
and the pendulum does swing far. As much as I'm like not a fan of like literal like communists and socialists, because the words themselves I don't think is really what they believe, like belief wise. We need some real serious reform fast. And I'm really hoping that whoever we get in the next.
That's why we can't have
next
Gavin Newsom.
years, yeah. Exactly.
Because Gavin Newsom is running because he's like a political animal. Like he just wants to increase his status in the world of politics. We need someone to run who actually cares about getting certain shit done. Because if they actually have conviction, they'll do whatever they have to get it done. That's what Stephen Miller does, what Trump does. If they want to see something happen, they will push through the courts, through the Congress, whatever they have to get it implemented.
And that's what I've heard from belief-wise from people. I think there's enough. Everybody knows too much about him already before, like all this Trump stuff. That like people already know that he cheated on his wife twice. Like there's a lot of like.
Sorry.
Honestly, yeah, never stop Trump.
Yeah, that's true. But again, like we do need to get back to normalized politics, but we also cannot go back to whatever the status quo was with Obama. And we cannot go back, honestly. Like, we just cannot go backwards.
A litmus test in the primary has to be, will you politically persecute every single person in the Trump administration and lock them the fuck up?
Banger.
Tell all the blue states and red states, if you want federal funding, send your state attorney general after Trump. You have to go all the way.
Yeah, but that's, to me, like, as much as I'd want that, I am kind of worried about the fascism allegations. I feel like we can't go... well, granted, like there's obviously a legal reason to go ahead and arrest a bunch like Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem because they've actually committed crimes. But I do believe like there are a lot of staffers with Trump that are probably innocent and haven't actually committed crimes, even though they're horrible. Like,
yeah, if it's a guy who posts Twitter things for him, then yeah. But if it's someone who's like giving orders to ICE, then lock him up.
Yeah, because I'm still like, this is an unpopular opinion. I think. So don't yell at me for this. I do think the convictions of Donald Trump, like in 2021, they were definitely politically motivated, not in the way that what he did was wrong. Well, hold on, let's just think of this, right? Okay. There's so many billionaires out there who did what Donald Trump. Away. No, there are so many.
If you're talking about New York, there's maybe a case there. The federal charges were super unbiased, in my opinion.
Well, I believe that he's 100% guilty of them. It's just my issue is like if he wasn't president, I don't think that he would have ever been convicted of those things.
Here's the counter argument. If he was president, he wouldn't have been able to try to do a coup with the U.S. government because he wouldn't have been in that position to try to do the fake elector scheme.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 34 felonies. That's the only thing.
Oh, the New York case. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know that I disagree. I think that it's good that he was indicted on those charges. The New York one probably has the most quote-unquote bias, but like even there's always going to be prosecutorial discretion where like a prosecutor can decide why or why not to bring a case. So I think it's still a fully legitimate conviction. But to me,
I completely agree. I guess this is a simplistic version. If he never was president, if he was never in a political position, he would have never had that trial against him at all. Because that's kind of what I'm saying.
Here's how I see it is like if someone's in politics, then we should hold them to like, I think all politicians should be treated in the harshest way possible by our DOJ. So like, for example, the New York stuff, I think is still serious because ultimately it was a campaign finance violation where like he was spending money on his campaign and marking it down as like a retainer fee on his receipts. And that's another thing where it's like, if he never got into politics, then he wouldn't have been able to do that kind of law violation in the first place.
Yeah,
or would have just been a misdemeanor.
I think, and granted, I do take that position lightly because it's not that big of a deal. Like he was convicted of 34 felonies, and I think that's the important part.
Agreed.
But I guess it's just as simple as like I try to see. I don't want to say like I try to see both sides, but I do try to make sure that I'm staying practical. And in my mind, considering that he's a billionaire and he had all that systemic power, I would think it'd be people would be hard pressed to just like out of nowhere convict him of all these things if he hadn't been the president or any like sort of political position, because he committed those crimes like decades ago too. Like some of those felonies, like tax evasion.
The 34, I believe, were all in relation to 2016 campaign spending. Maybe there were some charges in there that weren't, but
I thought there was only one of the charges.
My understanding is this was about a retainer
falsifying
payment.
Business records was one of them.
Yeah, so the falsifying business records charge, my understanding is he said that he was paying Michael Cohen a retainer, but it was a reimbursement for campaign spending.
Oh,
and it didn't comply with like FEC reporting rules, basically. But that was the underlying felony that was used to upgrade the misdemeanors to felony charges.
So then, technically, I am right if that he never ran for president.
Yeah, literally, he wouldn't have been able to do the crime.
But he would never commit. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like he's committed so many crimes that haven't been prosecuted yet. Like this is just what happens. Billionaires do not get charged with
White
those
collar
kind of
crime
crimes.
is like severely underpoliced. And the thing also with Trump is people on the right always say, "Oh, there's never been an indictment like this." Well, there's also never been a crime like this where like someone tries to steal an election or like lie to the FBI for the federal charges. And then for the state charges, it was kind of a quote unquote like novel legal theory where they used a federal felony charge to upgrade a state level misdemeanor charge. So like there was some bias there, but even there, it's like I think it's good ultimately because the president, if they're spending money on campaign stuff, they should have to report all of that to the public fully.
Yeah, I'm completely in agreement there.
All right, liberals, listen. Listen, we delayed the gym thing. I'm gonna be going late as shit now, but it's been
You're
an
late to your
absolutely.
Antifa super soldier training.
That's true. That's very true. It's been an absolutely incredible time,
It has.
everybody. Very nice to talk to you, Jacob. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know if you want
good
to
to talk to you, Akara.
hop
You
on
know,
stream for the millionth time and keep the streak fucking going,
Let's
liberal.
go.
When tomorrow we hop on,
Akara,
it's gonna be lit.
I wanted to mention this to you before you left. I know that we're mutuals now, but back I started streaming about, I think it was in September, and I came onto your live when I was beginning streaming.
And I thought you had a picture of Joe Biden, right?
I had a picture of Eisenhower on my.
Yeah, I thought
on
it
my
was Joe
profile
Biden because I couldn't.
Yeah,
like,
and I
fucking-
asked you for suggestions on how to kind of like get
My advice
further
is
into
so bad.
space.
My advice
Yeah,
is so
and
bad.
now and now I'm here, man. I've gained like 2,000 followers, dude. So
Yeah,
I just
attribute
wanted
that
to tell
me,
you
bro.
that.
Don't attribute that to me, bro.
Oh,
That's
I'm
all
not.
you
I'm
can.
I'm just letting you know it's like full circle.
Oh, okay.
It's
Fuck you then, bro. What the hell?
Well, I'm just saying that if I think that had a played a
hell yeah,
part.
man.
So thank you, man.
Hell yeah. Of course.
Liberals.
That's
helping
all you,
liberals.
though. Amen. All right. Well, peace out, liberal.
All right,
See you
take
tomorrow.
care.
See everybody tomorrow. Have a good one. I don't know if
Don't
you're
OD on
gonna get live
creatine.
tomorrow. Amen. Are you gonna get on live tomorrow or what?
Who fucking knows? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace out, everybody. Have an incredible night.
All right, man.
Bye,
Stay safe,
Gara.
peaceful, and patriotic, guys. Peace out.
This is something that actually kind of reminds me. Do we really think that the right is still patriotic? Do we really think that?
I think they're not just un-American. I think they're anti-American. Like they actively fight against like basically all American values.
It's something that I've interpreted a lot with the right recently is that they kind of just don't really care about like the same things that Democrats do, like just like straight up morally.
Yeah.
Like for me, they pretended with the Tea Party movement to care about small government. I like, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like conservative intellectuals are a completely different breed than conservative voters. That's what I think people need to. All they do is kiss fish and drink beer. I just want to kiss my fish, drink my beer.
And the thing ultimately is like it's even worse than that in the sense that like I don't think that they have beliefs in general. A lot of the current American right is just motivated by a hate for the American left. Like some of these people got so fucking triggered when Obama won 2 terms and they've never let go of that rage. That motivates like a lot of MAGA, honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so this is an interesting thing, Rebecca. I feel like the whole AB stuff should be a pretty 100% position because if you're complaining about small government, the government shouldn't be able to tell anybody what to do with their body.
True.
That's a very small government ideal. Like these guys were all complaining about the COVID vaccines and shit. But then when it comes to like literally not allowing a medical procedure, that's like a significantly larger violation of somebody's bodily autonomy. Like it really like there's so many people out there that should be saying like maybe I don't agree with them morally, but when it comes to what the government should do, it's a whole separate
And
situation.
it is ultimately like an 80-20 issue. Like the numbers are only quote unquote better for Republicans when they ask super leading questions like should you be allowed to get an abortion in the 9th month or whatever, which doesn't even fucking happen. But if you're talking about the vast majority of abortions, those are overwhelmingly popular in America. It's like not even controversial, honestly.
Yeah, I wish if those kind of normal, it seemed that after, 8 months ago, all the normal people that just like voted for Trump but are like long hard Republicans, they just left. And now for me, what I'm experiencing is just like the worst of the worst of the MAGA following.
Yeah, it makes sense that as Trump does worse and worse stuff, the people that are left defending him are going to be the craziest, most unhinged, hateful people possible. I really think that the Alex Preddy thing is a good differentiating threshold between a Trump voter and a Trump supporter. I feel like most normal people see the Alex Preddy video and they're like, oh, this is like really fucking horrible. And then there's like 15% of the American public who are like, hell yeah, shoot him more.
Well, I think it's this phenomenon that we saw, and I'm not in all saying that Trump is the same thing as Hitler, but it's the same phenomenon that even when Berlin was falling, even when the Red Army was coming in, there was still millions of people that supported Schmittler. And still, even when he was dead in his bunker, like there's always going to be that last holding. And my concern is that in 2028, are we going to have a J6 that's significantly more violent because of the fact that those loyalists are going to do whatever they can to get to DC?
Yeah, and whether or not it's more violent, I think it'll be more successful because they've had 5-6 years to plan how to do it correct this time.
Yeah. The good thing is that essentially if that ever happened, if there ever was that kind of like coup, there's way too many Americans that would hate Donald Trump at that point to, to hold power. That's something that I've really, really, really been proud of as an American, is watching the recognition of the fascism that's going on.
Yeah.
And how fast people have realized the fact that our government is not doing what it normally should. And that isn't just because we're liberals. I mean, I know plenty of conservatives that have hated Donald Trump since, 2020. And even, all these, like half of the current Republican House, used to criticize Donald Trump during J6.
Marco Rubio used to criticize Trump. Pete Hegseth used to criticize Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the clip of him and Marco Rubio debating in 2016?
Yeah, I've seen all the clips from that primary.
It's
Rubio
so
tore
funny.
into him with all extremely valid criticisms, which he just forgot since then, apparently. Yeah, Rubio's a scumbag. Same with Ted Cruz was the same. He literally said that Ted Cruz's dad killed JFK, and Ted Cruz was like, okay, I'll endorse you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is Lindsey Graham. I don't know if Lindsey Graham actually ever went away from Donald Trump. I think that he always kind of stuck with him.
In 2016, he tweeted, "If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed and we will deserve it," which is aging
Holy
like
shit,
fine
really?
wine,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, a lot of these Republicans are more interested in power than like the U.S. Constitution. And a lot of them also think they can keep him in check, which is a big if. This is another thing that happened again in Germany, which is when he was appointed as chancellor, a lot of the German government at the time was like, oh, if we just placate him, he'll play ball with us. We can appease him, he'll be nice to us. And then Hitler's like, fuck you, Enabling Act. So the worry here is that Republicans right now in the House and Senate think that they have Trump on a leash. And then when the rubber hits the road for the election, he's like, just kidding. National Guard seized voting machines and we're kind of cooked.
Well, as of right now, we don't have an Enabling Act. The Big Beautiful Bill is luckily, I don't think, that level of documentation.
I don't think we need it in America. I think our constitutional system has been proven to be way weaker than at least I thought it was prior.
Yeah, it really is crazy to me. I mean, at this point, Donald Trump should be removed from office, impeached 3 times over. And I think a lesson that we've kind of learned here is the fact that the ability to remove elected officials needs to be significantly easier. Now, we need to be like the fact, George Santos, like we need to be able to remove officials that fast.
Yeah.
That's that simple.
And more than that, we need to have a judicial branch. What the hell? Am I still frozen? Hear me?
Nope, I got you.
Okay. We need to be able to have a judicial branch and a legislative branch that can actually do stuff to stop the president, because how many court orders has Trump just said, I don't really care about that court order? Or how many congressional appropriations these other branches have to actually be able to check the executive branch rather than just give them basically a strongly worded letter that they ignore?
Yeah, exactly. There's the question of like, I would say almost every single Republican besides Thomas Massie deserves to get impeached. But
True.
The fact is we know that isn't going to happen. We know that if that did happen, they would just get their their base to scream, they're taking over
probably,
us. Yeah, like they would just, because all these fucking MAGA lunatics would probably like lose their mind when they see all their guys getting impeached. Not completely forgetting the fact that they could just vote another person in.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
because they've
but
created this
it's
narrative where anytime a Republican is facing charges, it must be because there's like political persecution or like unfair treatment. It couldn't possibly be they committed a crime.
yeah, it's really, really, really sad,
Yeah.
honestly, and I hope that again. I know people are saying your stream is glitching. I haven't been glitching at all. I've not seen any of
Yeah,
that.
it
So I don't
froze
know
for
what
me
you're talking about.
temporarily, but I'm probably gonna hop off in 5 minutes anyway, so it's not a big deal.
All right. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do definitely
Yeah.
after this. I
Yeah.
think,
That's where
what
most of the
I
work is after you win. What do you actually do with that?
yeah, my hope is a few things. One, abolishing the electoral college. That's one thing that I really want to be done. Some sort of policy that gets us closer to a universal healthcare program. Some sort of policy that audits the Pentagon, that and bans congressional stock trading. I think all those things are moderate policies
Yeah.
that everybody can agree on. And the only ones that don't are the elites.
The electoral college one, some people in red states might say like, "Oh, I don't like this because I want to have outsized representation." Another solution on the electoral college, which is still not perfect, is getting rid of winner take all. So like, if someone wins 50% of the vote in Michigan, they should get half of Michigan's electoral votes, not all of them, because the other guy got 48. So I think that might be easier to implement. But ideally, we shouldn't even have the electoral college. I agree.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to me. And it's just in my mind, it decreases the amount of democracy we have.
Yes.
And like that, it's that simple. There's a lot of, I think people forget on how much the founding fathers had to cater to southern states
Yeah.
in order to create the nation. And
Yeah.
we're seeing that right now. We're seeing us have to cater to Republicans because they're so unwilling to compromise that in the event that we actually uphold the law and actually do the things we should, there's going to be a revolution and a second civil war because all
Yeah.
these MAGA people are going to just start going crazy.
Yeah, we're teetering on the edge of some kind of civil conflict, which hopefully doesn't boil over. But one of the things that I'm worried about is like if Trump really starts doing this crazy shit with seizing voting machines and maybe disenfranchising voters, and you see an actual full-fledged coup attempt, the military will probably start splitting into factions, pro-Trump versus anti-Trump. I could see so many territorial factional wars happening, things about withholding funding both to and from the federal government. So there's definitely some scary stuff on the horizon. But the only way to avoid that is for everyone to turn out and vote. Too big to rig. That's the solution.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I do think it is going to be too big to rig.
I hope so.
And this is something I'll say to people in the chat. Yes, guys, what we are going through is unprecedented. Yes, it is scary. Do not get super involved in like all the internet social media hype. You don't see me posting often on my TikTok because a lot of the things that Trump does are just like repeats of scandals that he already has done.
Mhm.
I feel that a lot of times social media creators will report on every single tiny little thing that happens in order to gain money, which is not really, I guess, like I don't have like a gripe against that, but I feel like a lot of people do need to realize that like we do have stamina on how much we can take from this. It is stressful, guys.
I think the
but
solution is you
it
have
is
to pick
definitely
which things are worth emphasizing. Like there's limited time, there's limited attention from the public. You have to pick like what are the issues that we can win the biggest margins on and run on those issues.
Yes.
So like you said, healthcare
Exactly.
is a big one, voting reform is a big one. There's massive consensus on like expanding healthcare, making the US more democratic, not just reforming the electoral college, but maybe putting term limits on the Supreme Court or expanding the size of the Congress. A bunch of
Yes.
stuff
Oh
like
my
that.
God, that too.
Yeah.
Term limits on the Supreme Court is another one. That's another one.
And I
feel
think the
like
big
there's all these
slept on one
things.
is expanding the size of the Congress so that we have more representation. And also
and
Puerto
making
Rico and
and
DC
making
statehood.
voting a national holiday
True. Yeah, based.
where people can get their day off work.
Yep. Totally.
But all
agree.
these things, ironically, have been shut down by Republicans because it just seems that a lot of Republicans don't want more democracy.
Yeah.
And here's why, guys. It's because Republicans literally do not want more democracy because
Yeah.
they know that the people, en masse, like they've done studies and shit. Most people do not like Republicans. They're not well liked by people.
People hate
and
their
that's
agenda.
not-
That's why they hid Project 2025. And the second they won, they're like, yeah, we're doing it. Yeah. We were just hiding that because no
and
one liked it.
I'll completely admit, like I never really I never supported Trump. Just so you know, I'm 18, so I'm pretty young.
Mhm.
And I never supported Trump, but like I didn't when I heard about Project 2025, I was teetering on the border of like brainwashed that I did think that Donald Trump wouldn't go super duper far with Project 2028. But I
Mhm.
guess the word I used was Trump optimistic. I was hoping that he'd at least do a few things good.
Yeah.
Dude, there's literally nothing that he's done that's good. There's
Yeah.
nothing. Not one thing. Even with the worst presidents in American history, Andrew Johnson, Buchanan, they've all had a major success.
Yeah.
None of them. They have done nothing. And
Because
yeah,
he's not
it's
even
crazy.
trying to make America. He's genuinely just trying to enrich himself and punish his enemies and like consolidate power. That's all he's doing.
Yep. And it's definitely a problem, especially with your young men. Because if somebody like me, who's been a lifelong liberal, can be that kind of optimistic with Trump,
Yeah.
just think of how like all the young men who,
He
didn't
warned
have
Gen Z
family
men.
members. Yeah, well, because also like my entire family is liberal. I'm around them all the time. I live in Boston.
Yeah.
I have all of. There's literally no safe space for conservatives or people that support Trump here. So like, for me to even be on the border of like saying like, oh, there might be a few things that Trump does that are good is a concern to me.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that I never went that far and never voted for Trump. Thank God. But
And I think a lot of
really
people are
bad.
in that boat. Even some people that voted for Trump who are watching this and they're like, wait, what the fuck is going on? And a lot of it is because I think, like, for example, I don't know if you saw Andrew Schultz, who like endorsed Trump and now he says like, oh, this is too far. A lot of people just took like the Constitution for granted and they took checks and balances for granted. And they just assumed that no one could ever be an authoritarian in America. And now they're seeing it in action and they're like, oh shit, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I can agree, but I think it's almost accidental. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a huge problem with our young men these days, and luckily, I went to an all boys boarding school, so it's just probably the reason why I got manipulated that way, because everybody there was kind of in the same boat that I was.
It is starting to shift, though. From the polling I've seen, like the special elections last year, young men are starting to move a little bit back more to the left. So even if it's a slow process, I think they're definitely winnable.
Here's essentially what I've seen. So when I went, there's a faction of about 3 students. My school was relatively small. There's about 3 kids who are hella Republicans, still support Trump, super homophobic, super bad people. And they attempted to create a Turning Point USA chapter. Every single time they put up a sign, it would get taken down by the other boys. Every single time they tried to have an event, it would get boycotted by the other boys.
Mm-hmm.
They were not allowed to host that kind of event because there are these guys out there who do realize that Trump is not the savior. Andrew Tate and all these people are not like real men, right? So like there's a lot of guys out there. You just either don't see them or they're not in the mainstream.
Yeah, and that's another example of like what I was saying earlier with Jubilee is like the reason and Andrew Tate was able to get as big as he did is because I feel like there weren't many progressive alternatives for like what masculinity can be. Like that entire cultural space of like being a masculine man, I feel like progressives and people on the left, they weren't offering up a vision for what a progressive masculine person is like. And because there was that void there, people like Andrew Tate and Sneeko and Nick Fuentes can fill the void.
Yeah, that's the concern. And I think a lot of guys are not there. That's the good part. Again, like the only people that I know that have ever been, I went to a school about 40, 50 students. There's only one kid out of those that ever is enjoying Nick Fuentes. Every other one of them hates him.
Yeah.
So again, like it's clavicular too, but he's on our side. He's on our side. So I don't care about him. He can
Kind of.
He can, kind of.
In a way. If it's Newsom versus Vance, then he's on our side, I guess.
I don't know. It's yeah. But I will say, I do think that the Democrats do have more moggers. So
true. I mean, just look at this. I mean, we're not competing with much here.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, this is something that I've said before. There's literally nobody winning from this radicalization of young men besides the elites. The young men aren't winning. Women aren't winning.
Especially tech elites.
Well, actually, well, hold on. And the only guys that are also winning are like normal dudes like you and me, because we're the ones that are like the normal people. So when you go out to a party, when women figure out you're liberal It's much more easier to get into that conversation because the supply of unradicalized young men is so low.
This is true. It's a dwindling number of people. Yeah.
As I said, I went to an all-boys boarding school, and at my college, I've been so confused why I've been able to create friendships and connections so much easier than when I was at that school. And I think I know the reason why, and it's because I'm liberal. So I'm a political science student, so like that's also kind of
A lot of people, when they think of Gen Z men, they think of some kind of weird Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes freak. Like they don't think of like a normal, socially adjusted person who's not an asshole.
Yeah, which is weird because for me, that's not how I experienced any of like the guys that I grew up with. Most of them were pretty chill.
Yeah.
But again, I grew up literally in suburban Boston, the most liberal place on earth. So, but listen, man, I'll let you go. I know you've been trying to end the live for a bit.
No, you're good. It was an interesting conversation, and you're free to hop on again anytime for sure.
Dude, I definitely will. 100%. I'll be back. I followed you. If you ever want to come on my live, I'm smaller than all you guys, but
I'll hop on any live. If you're a radical leftist, I'll hop on.
Yeah, I'm not a leftist. I don't classify myself as a leftist, but
I'm not either.
Okay.
I say radical left lunatic a lot because Trump always says it in his Truth Social posts. I'm like,
The
you know
radical
what?
left
I am a
lunatics.
radical left lunatic at this point. Sure.
Sure, whatever. I want free healthcare.
Base.
I'm a radical left lunatic.
Exactly.
It's crazy. But it's been a pleasure talking to you.
For
Chat,
sure.
thank you guys. You guys have been really nice asking questions.
And if you end up
I call
applying for
myself-
Jubilee again, shoot me a text
Yeah.
about which one you applied for, and I'll text the casting manager for you.
Dude, 100%. Bridget, I think progressive is the best way to describe myself. But then that would be like, yeah, I think I definitely am more progressive on things. But I do believe in a restricted government, which is kind of where like the problem lies.
I totally
because-
agree.
Yeah,
You need
that's the
proper
problem.
checks and balances, but still a robust like welfare state in a public sector. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the way we can have a welfare state and not be overreach is have extreme legal limits.
Yeah.
On
and like
what the government
oversight
can
from
do.
Congress and courts, all that stuff
Yep.
is super important.
So, like, if we ever had a universal healthcare program, I don't think it would be it could not be regulated by any other branch unless Congress. It can only be regulated by Congress.
I agree.
There needs to be an amendment made to where the healthcare can never be revoked from any individual for any reason whatsoever.
Based.
That's I think a way to do it because the problem is like we have a universal healthcare program and people are relying on the government.
Yeah.
What if we get a second Donald Trump and he like says that we should remove it from all Hispanic people?
Or one thing you could do is like all trans people, all gay people, all Hispanic people, whatever it may be. Yeah.
Or but saying like, well, they have like higher cost trans people because they have these like procedures. Like they could make that argument 100%, and enough people would follow them
For sure.
So that's the thing that I think we need to be wary of. And
I
I
agree.
honestly do not trust Congress as of right now to make that policy.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, I
But-
think once we win back the majorities, hopefully, I think as long as we have a free and fair election this midterm, I think we're going to win the House and the Senate. I'm pretty confident in that.
And the Senate? Wow. Okay.
I think so, yeah.
That's all right. Well, I hope so. But dude, thank you. Your name is Adam, right?
Mhm.
All right. Well, Adam, it's been great talking to you.
Likewise.
And I'll definitely see you around.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thanks for hopping on. All right. If you guys weren't following him or our friend AJ Okra already, make sure you guys do that. We are going to wrap up the live now. This was a good live. We got a solid 3.5-ish hours done. And not once did the audio share on YouTube lag. I do want to quickly say thank you to Illusions the Creator 2451 for the $4.99 super chat on YouTube. Last guest was Canadian, it said in his bio. I don't know who that's referring to, but I'm not surprised. A lot of MAGA people are not even fucking Americans. And then there's one more person I want to thank. Hold on. What am I looking for here? There we go. I also want to thank, one second, Jason Zog. Thank you for the $50 on PayPal. W. Jason, $50 on PayPal. He said, no need to thank me. We're already friends on TikTok. Thanks for what you do, Jason Z. Well, thank you, Jason. And this was sent to me, I think, yesterday, but I missed it. So, thank you for that. All right, every live restricted for some audiences. Well, too fucking late. I'm logging off anyways, TikTok, so who cares? Consuming substances featured in this live could harm your health. The only substance I've consumed is water. What? It's fine. I'm ending the live anyways. Who cares? If you're still here, make sure you guys are joining the Discord. Go to my profile on TikTok. Go to the link tree in my bio. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord. Those are the 2 calls to action, okay? If you enjoyed the live today, TikTok algorithm is acting up. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing and see more long-form content, including these lives, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and make sure you join the Discord. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you go to the link in the description and you follow me on TikTok and you join the Discord. Everyone has to join the Discord peacefully and patriotically. We have open borders. Anyone can enter the Discord. Unless you do some weird shit, you're going to get kicked. With that being said, everyone have a great night. I'm working on a few things. I know I haven't been going live as much recently because right now my main focus is not live. I'm trying to post more long-form YouTube videos. Podcast coming soon, actually unironically coming soon with some very, very good guests, by the way. Since now I'm in chorus, I'm able to get connections with people that I normally wouldn't be. So good guests coming up, podcast coming up, more YouTube videos coming up, more TikTok stuff coming up as well. Lives maybe less often, but I'll feed you guys with other stuff. So hope you all enjoyed, and everyone have a good night. Stay safe. Stand back and stand by and stay peaceful and patriotic, okay? Fight like hell. You're not going to have a country anymore. Okay. Have a good night, y'all. Okay, that's it for the TikTok live. To the YouTube audience, you guys get to hear me for another 30 seconds as I find my live thing and end the live. For the first time, I know every time I go live on YouTube, I notice afterwards people are like, we couldn't even hear the guest half the time because your audio share from your desktop stopped coming through. Thankfully this time, and someone can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, I don't think that happened, right? You guys heard all of those debates fully, I believe. So, success in that regard. I think I just had to clear some space on my laptop, honestly. Because I did that and it seems to be working just fine. Okay, to the YouTube audience, to the 5 of you watching, the YouTube audience is a special place in my heart, okay, because I put in a lot more effort into my YouTube layout with the color and the fucking prompt and the little chat box thingy. My TikTok thing is just me and my prompts above me, so more effort coming on YouTube in general. I know a lot of people say, like, I wish you posted more on YouTube. A lot more YouTube content coming, clips from my lives, standalone YouTube videos, and podcast as well. All that stuff. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you are. With that being said, thank you guys for watching and have a good night.